This young man was born with a special talent, a passion for raising the strangest creatures on the planet. And it was precisely because of that foolish hobby. Yai, that he was sent to his next life reincarnated in the world of Murim. And now with just a single blood-curdling scream, tiny insects swarmed all over his body, leaving the leader of the monster horde gasping for breath after that last attack. Let's rewind to some time before that. Is the master of this place here? I beg your pardon for the intrusion. Standing in the pouring rain, the figure of a man appeared before the group just as a sudden bolt of lightning lit up the sky. The mysterious man's face was slowly revealed. He thought to himself, in a desolate place like this temple, yeah, there's actually someone here, young master. Would it be possible for us to take shelter here for one night to escape the rain? Xiaolong wondered, who in the world are these people? Even though I'm young, they're bowing respectfully and speaking so formally. Do they think I'm some young Taoist priest in charge of this abandoned temple? They don't seem like bad people. Pushing the thought aside, Xiaolong replied respectfully, I'm just someone who took shelter in this abandoned temple a few years ago myself. That's all. You may all rest wherever you like. However, that main hall is where I'm staying, so please don't disturb me. I'd appreciate it if you chose another place to rest. Thank you, young master. You are quite polite for your age. We will do as you ask. Did you all hear that? Get a move on? No, don't go near the young master's hall. Find another place to take shelter. Understand? Yes, master. Just like that, they split up to find shelter. The boy thought to himself, so it seems they're all from the same clan. I'm a little curious about what kind of people they are, but I have more important things to do right now. Xiaolong quickly headed to another room. It was time for the kids' dinner. His expression immediately lit up with excitement as he stepped into the room. Oh, my loves, it's dinner time. Looking at the jars neatly arranged on the table, he cheerfully opened one and gazed at the tiny creatures inside. I was almost late. You're all hungry, aren't you? This one is a Chinese black earth tiger, a tarantula species native to Hainan, China. It's a large spider that can grow up to 20 centimeters with a distinctive color that reminds you of a black tiger. Eat up now. I don't know what your big brother would do without you all. Oh, what a great reaction. You were only the size of a fingernail at first, and now you've already molted twice and grown this big. Big brother is so happy he's all full now. All right, next up. Xiaolong opened another container revealing a Chinese water dragon. This species is also native to this area. This species is characterized by the stripes on its body and tail. In my past life, it was so hard to find you guys for sale since there was no way to import them. But here, I can find you everywhere, just by stepping outside. Your big brother truly lives for the joy of watching you all. As soon as the words left his mouth, the little lizard chomped down on his finger without hesitation, making Xiaolong flail in pain. He thought, should I call it a past life? I mean the life I had before this body. I was a streamer basking in the glory of having 1 million followers. My handle was Fierce Xiaolong, and I specialized in, well, creatures. My main theme was venomous insects and animals. The problem was that it was the live stream celebrating 1 million followers. The theme, the world's 10 most dangerous venomous snakes. The comments started rolling in. Where's the black mamba? I don't see it. He's probably not even in Africa. Fierce Xiaolong scammed us. Hurry up and show us the snake. Just get bitten once. Just once. Just get bitten once. Just get bitten once. User BLG fly back home has been blocked. That black mamba, one bite, and you're dead right. Xiaolong continued. Among them, this one is known as the most dangerous species. Because of its aggressive nature. Coming all the way to Africa to find a black mamba has been a total disaster. There's nothing here. Seriously, no black mambas. It's not like they're stray cats you can find on any street corner. I'm going to rest for a bit, then I'll start searching again. The comments replied, go ahead and rest. We'll be here waiting. For real, haha. Ugh, just get back to searching already. The suspense is killing me. Why won't it show up? There's a snake. It's coiled up on top of the fridge. I was bitten in a flash. A commenter asked, huh, you got bit. What's the emergency number in Africa instead of 911? Xiaolong thought, I died instantly. When I was searching, there wasn't a single trace of it, and it was hiding on top of the fridge the whole time. Meanwhile, another voice called from outside, young man, are you in there? Is everything all right? We're very grateful for the shelter from the rain. We were wondering if you would like to join us for dinner. We just hunted a deer. Xiaolong asked again, a deer, a deer. Xiaolong thought meat. Finally, all this time, I've only been eating snakes and lizards. He replied, if you'd share, I would be very grateful. To have a meal? Haha, then let's go. The scene changes to the deer slowly roasting over the fire. Xiaolong couldn't help but drool with hunger. Seeing this, the old man beside him smiled to himself. Oh, the meat needs a little more time to cook. While we wait, may I ask you a few things? Xiaolong thought, oh, I was so busy staring that I completely forgot myself. He replied, yes, senior, please go ahead and ask. Do you live alone in these mountains in Hainan? How old are you this year? I think I'm about 14 or 15 years old. About that age, you say, ever since a head injury when I was a child, I can't clearly remember my earlier memories. He thought, I'll just have to keep making things up as I go. The man continued, oh, what a misfortune. So have you been living here alone all this time? Yes. Since I don't have any particular skills, I live here. I catch snakes, skin them, and then sell the skins to make a living. Oh my. A young man like you risking your life to catch snakes. Ah, I'm used to it, so it's no problem. The person next to them cut in, I brought my cooked portion over first. Here, take this first. I'm saying this because you look very hungry, young man. Thank you, senior. It's been so long since I've had meat. Taking a bite, Xiaolong thought happily to himself. This is true happiness. The young man is eating with great relish. Listen while you eat, young man. We are searching for something. Have you seen anything strange around here? Strange, you mean, I'm not sure if we should say this. Master, this young man has shown us a small kindness. Can we not tell him? It would be dangerous if he ran into it without knowing. Besides, he lives alone, so he probably won't tell anyone. Indeed, what my father says is right. We are looking for a centipede with green spots on its body. A green-spotted centipede. He thought, Ngokong is a centipede, huh? The person next to him continued, yes, people call it the green-spotted centipede. But its size is quite large, so perhaps you've seen it before. He thought, large, you say? Xiaolong asked again, how large is large? If it's a fully grown one, it's probably big enough to swallow you whole. With ease, young man. He thought, I thought I had just gone back a few hundred years. Who would have guessed there would be a centipede that big? This young man seems terrified. Oh, so this was another world from the very beginning. Don't worry, we came here to capture it. Xiaolong asked again, oh, you're planning to capture it to raise it as a pet. Raise it. Ha, 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 ha. Raise a green-spotted centipede. Now that's an interesting thought. This young man is quite amusing. How could anyone possibly raise a creature like that? We plan to use it to make medicine. Hearing this, he wore a confused expression and replied, to what? I thought they were business partners, but it turns out they're medicine makers. Xiaolong asked again, are you sure you want to do that? That is our intention. My granddaughter is currently bedridden with a serious illness, but only the inner core of the centipede's inner core, can save her life, so I'm desperately searching for it. Oh, if it's for your granddaughter then? Explanation. An inner core is a crystalline substance formed from the accumulation of life force or ki in the body of an animal that has become a spiritual beast. A mystical creature. Yes, that's right, it's for my daughter. He thought, the child is on the verge of death, so they'll try anything. Even if a centipede isn't a medicine, a parent's love is the same everywhere. Poor purebred centipede. But since they treated me to meat, I'll help them. Xiaolong continued. About that centipede. Oh, have you ever seen it before? No, I've never seen it. I see. However, even though I don't know what a green-spotted centipede is, I can probably guess where it is. He thought, Xiaolong may have died after being bitten by a snake, but I am more confident in my knowledge of poisons than anyone else. Among the approximately 8.7 million living species, about 20,000 are known to be venomous. I have committed all knowledge of them to memory. Every single one. And centipedes are no exception. When it comes to the encyclopedia of centipede venom, it's all right here in the palm of my hand. At that moment, Xiaolong closed his eyes and recalled from his memory the image of a book he had once read. Found it! So, if it's a large centipede, I think I know where it is. What, really? If that's true, where could it be? Could you tell me which areas you've searched, and at what times? Could you please let me know? Hearing this, the two men looked thoughtful for a moment, then replied to Uncle Hung. We've searched to the north and east of here. We mainly searched during the day. To the north, we focused along the riverbank. I see. Xiaolong thought to himself, of course. That's why you couldn't find it. Xiaolong continued, well then it's only natural you couldn't have found it. What natural? Can you tell us the reason? All right, about centipedes. They belong to the class of arthropods, subphylum Myriapoda, order Chilopoda. They have a wide range of activity and are cold-blooded, so they need a place to hide. A place to maintain a stable temperature and humidity? The interesting thing is, unlike most insects that have a waterproof membrane, centipedes have a weak one with spiracles on their shell surface, so they actually don't like places with too much water. Although they need a high humidity environment, they dislike areas with a lot of water. On the other hand, they can't survive for long without humidity either. This is a unique characteristic of centipedes. Therefore, a large-bodied Chinese red-headed centipede would most likely not live in a dense forest or along a riverbank. I can't believe it. So you're saying centipedes don't like crevices and rotten wood? Some smaller species of centipedes can be found in places like that. But you're talking about a large centipede, aren't you? If its body is that large fallen trees in the forest or rocks by the river, wouldn't be suitable because there's nowhere for it to hide. After hearing what Xiaolong said, the two men immediately gestured to each other. If we find it where you say, we will definitely reward you. With a faint smile, Xiaolong pointed forward, the west. You should try searching the Rocky Mountain to the west. I believe that during the day, the centipede rests under sun-warmed rocks and only comes out at night. The scene changes. At this time, everyone had gathered in one place, preparing for the ambush. An old man stood on high ground observing the situation. At the same time, another person addressed the clan head. Is it possible that the young hero is wrong? Is that so? We'll rest here for today. Fire a signal arrow to call the search parties together. Yes, clan head. Explanation. A signal arrow is a type of whistling arrow used in warfare, or to transmit signals to distant places. Oh god, I'm dead tired. I hope the young hero was right. Where the hell is this damn centipede? It's true though. That young hero seemed pretty smart. Sitting not far away, he tormented himself. Tang She's considered the most outstanding prodigy in the history of the Tang sect. Have the heavens truly abandoned me? Yes, the Grandmaster has returned. You're back. You didn't find anything today either, no, Father. Father, you didn't find anything either. All right, Tang can only hold on for another 3 months at most. I wonder if we can find it within the next 10 days. Father, what if we try searching to the south tomorrow? Since we still haven't found any traces. All right, Suddenly he seemed to realize something. He quickly spoke up. No, there's nothing that's right, so that's it. Why didn't I realize it sooner? That's right, this is the place. It seems you've discovered something. Is that right, Father? No. Just as you said, I don't see a single trace or feel anything at all, right? Because there's nothing. That's precisely why I feel it's here. In the past 3 days, have you found any traces on this rocky mountain? No, sir. We haven't found any traces at all. No animal droppings or territorial markings. We haven't found any traces. Could it be? That's right. How could it be that on this vast rocky mountain, still not a single trace of any animals? This is its territory, that's right. So all the animals around have either fled or become prey for the centipede. The azure striped centipede is definitely here. Now we can finally save Nganyi. Finally, at that very moment, the ground suddenly began to shake violently, and everyone's faces filled with worry and fear. Huh, what's this? What in the world is this? From beneath the ground, objects slowly began to float up into the air. What is that? As they squinted to get a better look, a giant centipede leg gradually struggled its way out. That's the azure-striped centipede elsewhere chaos erupted. Just how big is that centipede to make everyone panic like that? They said they were just going to find it, but they ended up turning the whole mountain upside down. Is it a centipede big enough to swallow me whole? But I'm so curious. In another area, the centipede was now completely subdued by a group of people. This is the inner core of the azure-striped centipede. Now Nganyi can be saved. Father, please take the uninjured martial artist and head to Sichuan first. Father replied, Hung, what do you mean by that? A debt of gratitude must be repaid, and a grudge must be avenged. Hatred is carved in blood, kindness is carved in stone. Don't we still have things to do here? Oh, I almost made a huge mistake because I was only thinking of Nganyi. That's right, we should treat that young hero as an honored guest. If there is anything the young hero desires. Yes, we must grant it, yes. Let the injured martial artist stay in the village to recuperate. In the meantime, I will go see the young hero. Perhaps the young hero is also... I think the young hero must be anxious to hear news from us. Scene change. Hung, what should I do about this? In just one night, I've become the father of the azure-striped centipede. Hung arrives home. I wiped the egg clean and placed it right beside my pillow. When I woke up in the morning, I suddenly saw that the little darlings had already hatched. Hey, I expected this, but I didn't think they'd hatch so quickly. Hey, you little guys, move aside a bit, will you? The problem is, I don't know if these little guys see me as their mother or what. They just cling to me and won't leave my side for a second. The night before, is this divine insect species really big enough to swallow me whole? If I can't even handle this, then I wouldn't be the mighty Xiaolong anymore. At the secret lair of the azure-striped centipede that I found... what the heck is this? What kind of beetle is as big as a person's fist? As soon as he finished speaking, Xiaolong kicked the beetle hard, sending it flying into a corner. Phew! That was close. Anyway, there are still 3 safe eggs. It's a good thing the rain stopped. I almost couldn't save any of them. This is no time to hesitate. I have to get back quickly and wipe the eggs clean. All right, my little centipedes, just wait a moment. Big Brother will give you all a nice bath right away. Back to the present. Even though I never got to see the azure-striped centipede alive, saving these eggs is still pretty lucky. Hey, you guys, don't you plan on leaving me? I know you don't need to eat until your second molting, so I don't have to worry about food, but having you cling to me like this is really awkward. If I get in the water, maybe you'll let go on your own. At this moment, Xiaolong smiled to himself, making the little centipede look up in confusion. Well, then I guess I'll have to take a bath. Outside, the old man was already waiting. Man, slowly he stepped inside. Young hero, are you in there? Young hero, I'm coming in. Herbs, various bottles, and even a medicine box. Could it be that this young hero is skilled in the art of medicine? What are these things? He thought this won't do. For me to just enter an empty room like this, isn't this rude? I'll come back later. At that moment, a sound echoed through the air. Turning to look at the jars on the table, he froze for a second, then, without a word, opened one. What is this? A spider. No way. He continued opening other drawers to inspect them. Lizards. He broke into a cold sweat as countless insects, all lovingly cared for by Xiaolong, were revealed before his eyes. Unbelievable. Is he actually raising these venomous creatures and breeding them? Even the renowned Tang clan masters of poisons and venomous creatures only go as far as managing them and extracting their toxins. And that's it. They could never figure out how to harvest the eggs to breed them like this. I thought it was a small twist of fate that saved my beloved daughter's life. But it turns out the real fateful encounter was you, young hero. Old senior. Young hero, what happened to your arm? Are you injured anywhere else? It's nothing serious. In fact, what I should be saying is, he thought to himself, what is this? From behind Xiaolong, a purple light gradually appeared. As the two of them squinted to get a better look, a demonic figure slowly stepped inside. Young hero, get out of here. Senior. The next moment, the human-shaped monster attacked. With a single leap, it closed the distance to where the old man was standing. The creature raised its hand, deliberately slashing the old man's arm, causing him to cough up a mouthful of fresh blood. Then the monster used a palm technique to send him flying. He thought, a master on par with my father. Young hero, run. From within the black smoke, Xiaolong was lifted high into the air by the demon. Send senior. I heard those wretched Tang clan members had entered Hainan, so I came to have a look. But to think the son of the myriad venom divine lord is injured and all alone like this. Who are you, senior? Why are you bullying that young hero? And me as well, ha ha ha. You'll recognize something. If you look at this face and my red fist, your father did this to me. I am the blood hand Asura Jia Yunxiang. He thought Jia Yunxiang. I heard he was poisoned in the head and fell off a seaside cliff. It seems he survived. Snapping out of his thoughts, he shouted, that young hero has nothing to do with us. Let him go. I'll trade my life for the kids. I don't like it. You touched me. Even the slightest touch means you must die. He thought, that demon? It seems you have no intention of letting the young hero go after all. Watching Xiaolong struggle, he laughed triumphantly. Ha 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 ha. Die with his remaining strength. Xiaolong managed to force out a few words. Master, please, save me. As soon as the words left his mouth, a pair of eyes glowed from the darkness. Small centipedes quickly crawled out from Xiaolong's body, then swarmed around the old monster, biting him relentlessly. What centipedes? Still, these centipedes seem like they could be dangerous to me. At that moment, the poisons began to take effect on Jia Yunxiang. He collapsed to the ground. Damn it. As Xiaolong looked on, his body began to deform, melting into a gooey liquid. He thought, oh my god, is he dead? Xiaolong asked, was he a bad person? Startled, the old man gave a small secret smile. This young hero is no ordinary guest. Is he really dead? A few days after Jia Yunxiang's fall, the old man lay quietly in a physician's bed. Thank you, young hero. We can't delay any longer. If you tell me where your people are, senior, I'll go check on them. No, I can't leave you here alone, senior. But I can't call a physician either. I'm fine, don't worry. A few days of rest and I'll be all right. He thought, this old man, he's lost so much blood, and yet he's still speaking so calmly. A memory flashed through his mind. I'm fine. Guff. Please don't say that. Your condition is critical right now. Huff. It's fine. I'm a man of the martial arts world, after all. What a martial artist. You mean the martial arts world? The kind with people who can fly around and use palm techniques. Not everyone can do that. But you could say that's basically correct. He thought, amazing. This world really is different. Otherwise, a centipede the size of a house wouldn't make any sense. In any case, thanks to you, young hero, my life was saved. It's a great debt. It may be a bit rude of me, but allow me to formally introduce myself. I'm Tang San, head of the Sichuan Tang clan. I'm Wei Xiaolong. Xiaolong. It means little dragon, a fine name. Furthermore, I have many things I'd like to ask if I may. Yes. Please go ahead. The venomous creature you carry with you. It's a centipede. Is that? Yes, it's a centipede. That's the larva of an azure-striped centipede. Are you saying you tamed the larva of an azure-striped centipede? Oh, Elder, please lie down first. Where did you find it? How could you possibly tame it? I saw it while I was waiting for you. Could it be that the venomous creatures in here were also raised by you? Well, it's a bit of a long story. Would you like to hear it? It's fine. Go on, speak. Then I'll start from the egg of the azure-striped centipede. Yes, it was like this. Wait, you mean you took the egg yourself and raised it? Yes, that's right. I can estimate the day the egg will hatch. He thought to himself. He says he can tell when the egg will hatch. How is that possible? Xiaolong continued. Please wait a moment, Elder. Would you like to see this? This is a common cave lizard. It has yellow stripes on its body and a white stripe on its tail. And here, the ones with large white stripes on their tails were selected for breeding. And the result shows these two distinct colors? Don't tell me. Are you saying you created this coloration? That's right. Isn't it beautiful? Taking a breath to calm himself, Chietsun asked again, then, does that mean if you only pair the ones with strong venom, you could create a species with even stronger venom? He thought, in theory, that's possible. Xiaolong continued, if you know which one's venom is stronger, then of course it's possible. That would be difficult, but it's possible. Hearing this, Xiaolong looked a bit surprised. Join my family. If you join our Tang clan, all of our ultimate martial arts techniques will be passed down to you without reservation. Rare medicinal herbs, spirit herbs, and any kind of poison you desire will all be within your reach. A man like you could probably capture or raise one of the 10 great venomous creatures of the Central Plains, famous throughout the martial world. If that's still not enough to sway you, I don't mean to brag, but one of the 3 treasures of the Central Plains is... she's my daughter. Wait, what did you just say? You're young, but you're still a man, so... your daughter, one of the 3 treasures of the Central Plains. No, that's not the kind of condition you should be offering. The 10 great venomous creatures of the Central Plains. Are they as formidable as the azure-striped centipede? Yes, of course they are. The azure-striped centipede is very dangerous, but it's still a low-level venomous creature. It can't compare to the 10 great venomous creatures of the Central Plains. From a centipede as large as a house to a golden frog that glitters like pure gold. Whatever you can imagine, the reality is far beyond it. It's truly a strange world. It seems my persuasion was successful. 2 days later, you're saying that the bloodhound Asura Tak Unyang has appeared. Chitsun replied, Indeed, we were almost in big trouble. I never expected him to go into seclusion to practice his martial arts. He's now reached a level nearly equal to my father's. Then did the family head kill him? Could it be that you've reached the myriad poisons realm? Oh, congratulations, Master Hoo. No, that's not it. The one who killed him wasn't me, but this young hero here. It was this young hero, the young hero. Thank you, young hero, for saving the life of our Sichuan Tang clan's master. Could it be that you are an enlightened master who has achieved eternal youth? Hearing this, Xiaolong looked flustered and cut in. What eternal What explanation, Fan Lao Huandong? Returning to youth from old age is a term in martial arts and cultivation meaning an old person returning to a youthful state. Specifically, it's a state where a master or an elder, and after achieving enlightenment or undergoing a process of bone shedding and rebirth, regains a young and healthy body. Young hero, it seems there's been a misunderstanding. Can you just show me directly? Come on out, little ones. As soon as he finished speaking, something stirred inside Xiaolong's clothes. Gradually, mischievous centipedes crawled out. Oh, aren't those centipedes? Chietsun added. They're the larvae of the azure-striped centipede. These are the very things that took down Tak Van Duong. Wait, is their venom safe? You managed to tame the azure-striped centipede. A young hero with such talent, Chitsun, who was beside him, continued. But I've decided to accept the young hero into our clan. The young hero said he wanted to think it over. Oh, young hero, this is truly a great opportunity. After that, perhaps I should get up. It seems we shouldn't delay any longer. Elder, is there anything else you wish to look for? Bloodhand Asura, Thak Van Duong. The martial art he practices is the Bloodhand Poison Claw. It's a terrifying evil art that requires human blood and marrow to advance his cultivation. This is insane. What kind of crazy martial art is this? If he left behind a manual or has a successor, we must deal with them to prevent future disasters. We can't let that kind of evil and cruel art reappear in the martial world. And if anyone has been captured, shouldn't we help them? Of course, clan head. Young hero. Young hero, could you lend us a hand? After all, you're familiar with the terrain of Hainan Island. Hearing this, Xiaolong's expression grew thoughtful. He thought to himself, perhaps becoming a member of the Tang clan means a lifetime commitment. Usually when you're an intern, is to observe the company's atmosphere, and while you're at it, check out the boss's personality, right? Right. Xiaolong then said, I understand. When you've recovered your strength, sir, I will give you my full support. The young hero is right. It's about saving people. Of course we have to help. He thought, during this trip, I need to find out what the Sichuan Tang clan is really like. Talented people often conduct a reverse interview after all. 3 days have passed since the old man Chietsun recovered. In our search for the hiding place of the bloodhand Asura Tak Van Duong, we stopped by a village near the abandoned Taoist temple. We're asking if anyone has gone missing. You're asking about missing people. Village chief in the past year. There have been 1 or 2 people who went missing in the forest, but it's not a regular occurrence. Thank you for telling us, village chief. Not at all. To be able to help the famous clan head of the Sichuan Tang clan is a great honor for me. Then we'll take our leave. May your journey be safe. It's a shame we couldn't get any more information. Looking at the situation, Xiaolong looked confused and asked, so there's nothing unusual about this village either? Considering he found us and revealed himself, I thought he'd surely be somewhere around here. Searching for him is truly not easy. He thought, this is really strange. How could he not have left a single trace? What did he say? Recalling the memory, Xiaolong seemed to realize something. Then he suddenly blurted out, Elder, do you remember what he said when he appeared? I don't remember it clearly. What about you? Xiaolong thought, he got hit and was sent flying back then. Xiaolong continued aloud. Right, so. He said that the Tang clan people had entered Hainan Island, didn't he? Is that so? In other words, that means someone knew the Tang clan had entered Hainan Island and reported it to Tak Van Duong. Right, perhaps. Well, then it's simple. We just need to confirm the places the Tang clan members passed through on Hainan Island. Based on their appearance? No. If we use a portrait description to ask around, we'll find them. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Brilliant. If the bloodhand Asura Tak Van Duong said that Tak Van Duong, he must have heard the news from someone who saw us. Then it's easy. Let's move out immediately. And so the group moved on to another location. Clan head, yes. According to what we heard at the port on Hainan Island, it's likely that village over there. It seems to be a village where only women live. Let's go to the village and see. According to the young hero, the women here probably won't be too hostile towards us. Yes, clan head. The deeper they went into the village, the more they saw people with gloomy, tired faces. Huddled in corners, Xiaolong's group called out, Is anyone here? Hearing this, a villager interjected, Han men have come to the women's village. What do you want? I am the head of the Tang clan of Sichuan. My name is Tang Zeshan. The reason we have come to this place is... Looking around, Xiaolong thought to himself, this village seems so lifeless. The children look drained of energy too. Wait a minute, what's wrong with these people? Could it be that they've all been drugged? The village chief continued, I know nothing of any disappearances. There's nothing wrong with our village. Go back. Zeshan interrupted. But it seems there are fewer people in the houses. The village chief replied, this is none of your Han people's concern. Go back. Stunned and speechless, Zeshan turned and whispered to Xiaolong. Young hero, I clearly heard that the women here were very friendly towards the Han people. So, at the same time, the girl in front of him slowly collapsed to the ground. Jen, Xiaolong thought. She collapsed. Oh God, Jen, no. This can't be happening. You're the only family I have left. How could you also catch this wretched disease? Elder, I know a little about medicine. Perhaps I can help. Medicine, is it the medicine of the Central Plains? Zeshan replied, yes. Although I'm not a physician, I have some knowledge of medicine. May I examine the child's condition? I'm counting on you. Actually, a strange plague started spreading through the village some time ago. The children began to die off one by one, and the adults fell ill with weakness. I see. Let me take a look. Thank you. Thank you so much. Please come inside quickly. What are you all waiting for? Bring the doctor and his group inside. So, senior, you know medicine too. Ah, that's right. The martial arts of our Tang clan involve handling toxins, so we are also well-versed in pharmaceutics. Furthermore, martial arts begin with understanding the body, so a bit of medical knowledge is necessary. I thought they were just an assassination group that specialized in poison. If I joined the Sichuan Tang clan learning medicine, in addition to their fearsome poison techniques, wouldn't be so bad. The person next to him continued, of course. Sometimes we also capture bad guys and inject them with poison to observe their reactions. He thought human experimentation, that's a bit much, as I thought these people are terrifying. A moment later in another room, first I've transferred some of my internal energy into her to stop her breathing from failing. Oh, thank you, sir. This is my only remaining granddaughter. Please, you must save her. By the way, her pulse is unstable. It's very strange. Was this child born with a weak heart? No, her condition only started getting worse about half a year ago. It's not just my granddaughter. Many others have also fallen ill with this weakness. We call it the wretched disease. That's why I told you to turn back at the village gate earlier. That was the very reason. So that's why. Elder first, I will prescribe a medicine that is good for the heart. Could I trouble you to gather everyone in the village for me? I want to see how they respond to the medicine. Cough, cough. Thank you, sir. I am so grateful. Nearby, Xiaolong watched Zeshan's every move intently. The scene changes. Clanhead, you must be tired after examining everyone. Thank you, Jubai. What is the condition of the patients? It's truly strange. The symptoms are weakness swelling around the eyes, an unstable pulse, and a low-grade fever. The symptoms vary, but all the severe cases have heart problems. By the way, what about the young hero? The man replies, The young hero seemed exhausted after helping everyone, so he's fallen asleep. I've put him in a room to rest. A body not trained in martial arts would naturally get tired following us. An image from memory. Young hero, are you all right? The young hero has done his best. Speaking of which, I should go check on the young hero's condition. Let me show you the way, Clanhead. Just then the door opened. Xiaolong was dozing off, but his eyes were filled with killing intent. The man walked softly step by step towards Xiaolong. At that moment, Zeshan raised his hand high and without a word, slapped him hard across the face. Senior, why would you suddenly... What is this? What's going on, senior? Ow, that hurts. My apologies. I was just trying to catch a bug that was crawling on your cheek. What a bug. You just listen to me. I was just planning to check on the young hero for a moment before resting, you know. Suddenly a bug flew over and landed on your face, you see. Here on Hainan Island, there are many poisonous insects I'm not familiar with, so it can be quite dangerous. So I instinctively swatted it. Look at this. The bug was this big. Hung this. Wait a minute. Why is this bug here? As if realizing something, Xiaolong interjected. Senior, the patients have many different symptoms, but they all have an abnormal pulse, right? That's right. The cause of this terrible disease spreading through the village is this thing. Well, let me explain. This is a kissing bug. It's a type of true bug, and it gets its name because it usually sucks blood from around the eyes or lips of sleeping people. This species is so fast and elusive that it sucks blood even faster than a mosquito. That's why it's also called the vampire bug or assassin bug. These bugs aren't venomous, but their bellies are full of harmful parasites. So when they bite someone, the person gets infected through their waste. It's called trypanosomiasis or Chagas disease. It's the 7th most deadly species to humans. Village chief, have the dogs in the village been experiencing shortness of breath or showing symptoms similar to the people? Yes, they have. Could it really be because of this bug? Yes. It's not just a possibility, it's a certainty. If that's the case, can my granddaughter be saved? Well, if we have the right medicine, it's possible, but... Jobai, what do you think of my judge of character? Indeed, I now see the true worth of this young hero. Xiaolong thinks, why are these people acting like this? Zeshan continued, young hero, please join our Tang family of Sichuan. Join our Tang family of Sichuan. He thinks, why there's something called a goo insect. It's also known as voodoo goo or goo poison. This type of insect is raised by wicked people in the Central Plains. Those evil people make people swallow these insects to periodically inflict pain or to control them at will. Control people. That's horrifying. It's a powerful technique, but countless people in the martial world have lost their lives because of that goo. People have killed their own children and then themselves or betrayed their families and clans to become slaves for those villains. Hearing this, the elder behind him screamed in terror. Oh my god, heavens above. That's why for a long time, people in the martial world have strived to create an antidote for that goo. An antidote that forces the goo out of the body or dissolves it entirely. You bet it's been done. If the martial world created such an antidote, but where would they make it? Naturally at our Tang family of Sichuan. We have medicines that can dissolve a fist-sized tumor inside the body. So what's a tiny little parasite to us? The goo-dissolving pill. Just a small piece of this pill is enough. Oh, the goo-dissolving pill. He thinks that's a badass name for a parasite killer. So don't worry, old sir. Your granddaughter can be saved. Narrator. As a result, starting with the village chief's granddaughter, the villagers gradually recovered their health. Oh heavens, what a relief. What a stroke of luck. The warm welcome from the villagers was an added bonus. Looking at their bright faces, it seems the information about the new tribe's optimistic nature is true. If the young hero hadn't found the cause, it would have been truly difficult. So their benefactor isn't me, but this young hero. Thank you, young hero. Thank you so much, young hero. The young hero is our village's savior. Xiaolong thinks even though they were treated with the Tang family's medicine, Mr. Zheshan gave all the credit to me. Seeing everyone thank me, he looks as happy as if it were his own accomplishment. It's actually quite touching. Sometime later, that thing you mentioned back at the village gate, what was that about? The old man continued, everyone is looking for that village where people went missing. Zheshan asked, is that so? But why do you ask? I wanted to repay your kindness, so I did a little digging and heard a strange story. There's a girl in our village who married in from another village. A few years ago, a strange phenomenon occurred in her parents' village. The people in the village started disappearing one by one. He thinks, a clue. So where is this place? There's a small village to the west. And so Xiaolong's group headed towards another region. The bodies. It seems this is the place. Manor Lord. Daughter. What is this? It sends a chill down my spine. And there's corpse poison too. Explanation: corpse poison. A toxin generated by decomposing bodies. A chill down my spine. Don't let the young hero see this. I've already seen everything. Hung, there's something over there. Following his gaze, a foot twitched slightly. It then grabbed a snake's head and just like that swallowed it. A bird? No way. That bird. We can't let the dead be desecrated any further. Shoo. Get out of here. Hey, wait. With a rock flying towards it, the bird saw it and looked at Xiaolong's group with a furious expression. No, that damn thing. Stop. Something's not right. At that moment, the bird flapped its wings and took flight, leaving Xiaolong speechless on the spot. It can't be. It's melting. Everyone get back. That's a gen bird. The camera angle changes to another location. When its wings are spread, they can reach up to 5 chi long. Its beak is the color of bright bronze and as sharp as a spearhead. Its body is covered in dark purple feathers. When enraged, it spreads its wings and everything around it is stained black dyes and turns to poison. On its head, it wears a brilliant golden crown. A majestic demeanor worthy of an emperor. People call this species the jin or the gen bird. Could it be that what we just saw was that one of the 10 great poisonous fiends? Chietson replied. That is the one that leads the 10 great poisonous fiends, hailed as the emperor of all venomous creatures. The gen bird, emperor of the 10 great poisonous fiends, he thought, how terrifying. It's unbelievably powerful. Compared to it, the poisonous insects and snakes on Earth just look cute. This place is full of flying biological weapons. Chietson continued. It seems to have been lured here by the swarm of deathly venomous snakes. I've heard the gem bird only eats the heads of the most venomous snakes. Is that an omen? It must be. You might not get a chance to see a gen bird with your own eyes in your entire lifetime. It's so rare that someone might see one only once in 100 years. Whoa, what is it, young hero? Surely you're not planning to catch it. You want to try and catch it, young hero. Haha. That's right. But with a poison that strong, this little guy, you seem very interested in the 10 great poisonous fiends, don't you? If so, there is a way. There really is a way. If you master the poison arts of the Tang family, your body will become immune to all poisons, able to resist even the gen bird's venom. But in this world, only the martial arts of our Tang family can stop that poison. But what can be done? Because our Tang family does not teach its secret techniques to outsiders. No matter how much I want to help you, young hero, as the family head, I cannot break our clan's rules. If this junior were to become a member of the Tang family, would it be possible to learn? And if I reach the state of being immune to all poisons, can I truly resist the gen bird's venom? Yes, of course. If you make a firm decision now, young hero, I will not hesitate to teach you everything I know. Of course, the initiation ceremony will be properly arranged, but if you hesitate for too long, then I will have to reconsider. Right? Damn it, I agreed to become a member of the Tang family. I hope to receive your guidance. Senior, no family head. Really, excellent. From this day forward, you are forever a member of the Tang family. At the residence of the blood hand, Asura, Thak Van Duong, another person next to him continued, family head deep inside the cave. These words written in blood. It's definitely the secret manual of the Bloodhand Poison Ancestor. Written in blood. Let's head back. Are you heading to Sichuan? We've obtained the inner core of the azure striped centipede and the secret manual. Then can we stop by the Taoist temple for a bit? I want to let my friends out. All right. I'll also prepare your travel supplies. Then let's set off. After taking just a few steps, Xiaolong froze and pointed towards a gleam of light, saying, "There's something over there." What do you mean? This is a feather from the Genbird. With that, Chietson walked over and picked it up. Consider this a gift to celebrate you becoming a member of the Tang family. You seemed very interested in it after all. Thank you, senior. No family head. Everything's fine, but I'm not too fond of that title. How about we wait until after the bonding ceremony? I'll change how I address you then. Xiaolong thought a ceremony like an initiation ceremony, at the same time at the Tang family estate in Sichuan. Grandmaster Duang Voting, who left earlier, has finally arrived. Quick, how is Ngan Yi? Sir, she's still holding onto life. Quickly, let's get to Ngan Yi. Ngan Yi. Grandmaster. Father. Daughter-in-law. I've brought back the medicine. This is the inner core of the azure striped centipede. You succeeded. With that, he took out the spirit pill and looked at the girl lying faintly on the ground. Ngan Yi thought was too close. Luckily, I made it back in time. Father, hurry. Give her the medicine. At that moment, he placed the spirit pill in the girl's mouth, and an immediate green light shone outwards. And he used his hand to feel her pulse. He thought to himself, wake up, Ngan Yi. But elsewhere, Xiaolong thought to himself, I've heard the Central Plains are vast, but I never imagined they were this immense. From Hainan, we took a boat to Hongzhou, passed through Nanning, and after a journey of 1.5 months, we finally arrived in Sichuan. This is the Tang family of Sichuan Young Hero. This entire mountain belongs to the Tang family of Sichuan, which is why it's called Tang Family Mountain. At the same time, a group of people rushed out from inside the Tang estate cheering, startling Xiaolong. He thought, whoa, are all these people members of the Tang family of Sichuan? Whoa, what a huge crowd. From within the crowd, a girl in red robes rushed forward, calling out from a distance, Father, Ngan Yi, you're well again. Father, I'm sorry. Ngan Yi, your body, are you all right? Xiaolong thought to himself, oh my god, is this beauty for real? In my past life, I worked with celebrities before. But this is honestly the first time I've ever seen someone with such a radiant aura. I have someone I want to introduce to you. Xiaolong, this is my daughter Tang Yin'er. I remember. What was it? You said something about the smell of grass. Yin'er thought to herself, grass. Oh right, he meant weeds. This is the weed he was talking about. As he looked at the girl, an image from Xiaolong's memory resurfaced. My daughter, one of the 3 treasures of the Central Plains. No, not some weed, narrator poison flower. Tang Yin'er, the sole heiress of the Tang clan of Sichuan. Ever since she was a child, she carried a hidden sorrow. Her talent was not yet apparent, but wasn't her beauty so exceptional that she was hailed as one of the 3 great beauties of the martial arts world? We just need to pick a suitable son-in-law in name, and that will be that. I said we should take more concubines, but I don't understand why the clan head is against it. That's not it, she thought. Mother and father aren't wrong. Narrator Tang Yin'er. She wanted to prove her worth to the clan elders by mastering the family's martial arts, showing that, even as a woman, she could still contribute greatly to the clan. As the saying goes, more haste, less speed. Her impatience only caused her to lose her way. That impatience gave rise to an inner demon which became an obstacle that led to demonic possession. Flashback to an earlier time. You survived Yin'er. My child, what am I going to do? Sob. I'm sorry, mother. Yin'er thought to herself, so this is the end. I wanted to be useful to the clan, but now I've lost all my internal energy. This little girl. Are you feeling guilty for troubling your father and grandfather? You've reached the 100 poisons realm you always longed for. Stop crying and cheer up. The 100 poisons. As she spoke, she raised her arm, generating a spiritual aura. Grandfather, this is... Yin'er, I had something to tell you earlier. He didn't just save your life. He also helped you attain the heavenly poison internal energy, a state beyond even the 100 poisons. That was the story of the mysterious young hero. Back in the present. Weeds, he thought, facing the girl. An image from the past resurfaced in Xiaolong's memory. I'm screwed. I was so obsessed with the 10 great poisonous assassins that I dared to call the young lady of a great clan a weed. Get a grip past me, Wei Xiaolong continued. Ha, clan head, you're quite the joker. It's an honor to meet you, young lady. My name is Wei Xiaolong. I heard you were ill, so it's a great relief to see you in good health. Yes, it is an honor to meet you as well. I am Poison Flower Tang Yin'er. Thank you for saving my life, young hero. I, Poison Flower, will never forget this kindness as long as I live. He thought, she's beautiful. Beside him, Sashan turned and whispered, so what do you think? Xiaolong thought, what? There's a voice in my head. Is this telepathy? Sashan's voice continued in his mind. Even for a weed, she's quite beautiful, isn't she? A spider lily. Do you want to try picking it? The scene changes. I'm gonna die. You guys are usually clinging to me all day. This hot water isn't good for your bodies. Do you want to get in this bucket of water for a while? As soon as he finished speaking, it crawled right in as if it understood his words. How strange. It seems to understand some of what I say. According to old Sichuan, it apparently reacts to lustful energy. Staring at a naked body like that is enough to make anyone embarrassed. Haha, you guys are something else. Old Jubai once said these centipedes are spirit creatures. I'll have to ask him later what exactly a spirit creature is. Old Cheshan's words keep echoing in my head, making it impossible for me to calm down. The spider lily is so beautiful. Do you want to try picking it? I have to get out of here fast. The next morning. Therefore, we will arrange for the young hero to stay in the East Wing room. Explanation? The East Wing room in traditional Chinese culture and architecture. Room located to the east of the main building in a Sichuan, a common architectural style. Staying in the East Wing room signifies that one is an honored guest. For such a young hero to have so much talent, yes, we thought we had a stroke of good fortune, but that fortune wasn't just from the young hero's help. It's the young hero himself. His knowledge of poisonous creatures is extraordinary. Not to mention, he even killed Tuo Yunyang and encountered a legendary spirit creature like the Chen. Bonfire bird? And I heard he even personally hatched the eggs of the blue-spotted centipede. I can't believe I overlooked such a treasure. That is correct, father. Yener, I want to make this young hero my son-in-law. What are your thoughts? You mean, you want the young hero to be your son-in-law? If he becomes the son-in-law... At that, all eyes turned to Yener, waiting for her answer. She thought, now that I've surpassed the 100 poisons and entered the heavenly poison realm, I want to prove that I can be even more useful to the clan. Yener spoke up. I am a member of the Tang clan. I understand your intentions, father. However, regarding the young hero, whether or not he is truly worthy of you, you must verify it for yourself. And with that, she ignored the people behind her and quietly left the room. He thought, be careful, young hero. No matter how beautiful the spider lily is, it also carries sharp thorns. She thought, now I can finally aim for the heavenly poison body. If I stop here, I'll never be acknowledged by the clan elders. I will thoroughly examine everything from his aptitude to his character. What am I going to do? I think I've made a bad impression on the young lady of the great clan. Well, what are you all going to do now? Just as he arrived, Yener spoke up. Young hero, Miss Yener, please excuse me for a moment, young hero. I'm in a bit of a hurry. Could you lend me your hand for a moment? Yes, miss. How about that? I don't know what you're in a hurry for, miss, but perhaps for things like this, it would be better to wait until we're more familiar with each other, don't you think? This, requires certain procedures after all. What do you mean, young hero? As if realizing something. Yener stammered and quickly explained, No, it's not like that. What are you talking about? You've got it all wrong. Looking at Xiaolong with an embarrassed expression, Yener let out a long sigh and continued, Phew. No, it's not what you think. I just want to check your pulse. Perhaps because I suddenly asked you to give me your hand, you misunderstood. So that's what it was. Haha. I didn't realize. First of all, I want to apologize for appearing so suddenly and acting so rudely. You look very young. Not even of age yet, but you seem to be a thoughtful person. So I will explain what's happening. Okay. And so Xiaolong sat and listened intently. He thought about what he heard afterwards. It's just like the plot of a typical historical drama. As the only direct descendant, she constantly has to endure the cunning schemes from the branch families. Therefore, to ensure the continuation of the main family line, the elders have decided to recruit a talented son-in-law. They even considered how their own positions in the clan would change. If I go there, Yener continued, so I want to apologize in advance, but there's something I need to confirm with you. Even if things don't turn out as we hope, I have no intention of treating you poorly. You are my savior after all. So, of course, we will treat you as an honored guest. No, how about as sworn brothers? I understand what you mean. Feel free to confirm whatever you need to. Hearing this, Yener pondered for a moment, then continued. All right then, let's begin. The martial arts of the Tang clan are not something that just anyone can master. Some people can absorb poisons into their bodies and grasp the ultimate techniques of the Tang clan, while others are completely unable to do so. Therefore, the Tang clan's poison techniques require a person to gradually adapt to various poisons as their internal energy increases. The ranks are from the top 10,000 poisons, heavenly poison, 100 poisons, 10 poisons, and 5 poisons. One must be able to accept them all to reach the realm of mastery. Fortunately, your body can learn poison techniques, but it's only a 10 poison body. This means your body can only withstand 10 types of poison. For someone not from the Tang clan, having a 10 poison body is already very impressive. But hearing this, he looked stunned. Yener continued. Actually, in terms of overall strength, you can only be considered a first-class martial artist. That's the highest level someone with no innate talent can achieve. Truly, my apologies. Well then, I'll be going. Xiaolong replied, Okay, take care. And so Yener's figure gradually disappeared, leaving Xiaolong behind, lost in thought. I have a 10 poison body. Does that mean I can't catch the sinking bird? This is a very serious problem for fire. The scene changes to another place. Ever since I absorbed the inner core of the green-spotted centipede, why does my body keep emitting this strange fragrance? I even bathe several times a day. Could it be that I'm being punished for speaking so ungratefully to my savior? In another corner, Xiaolong was dozing off. As he slowly opened his eyes, a voice spoke beside him. Hoo. I am very grateful for your endless kindness. Miss Yiner. The girl continued, thank you, my savior. He thought, am I dreaming? No, perhaps you feel like this is a dream. But it's not. I am merely borrowing this girl's appearance. I am the one whose core you swallowed. To avoid frightening you, I am the mother of those children. The azure striped centipede, huh? The azure striped centipede. Oh, you kids scared me. When did you guys get here? So, are these little ones her children? Are they all girls? Xiaolong continued, but... The girl interrupted. How did you all appear in my dream? I was brutally murdered, leaving my children behind. My thirst for vengeance reached the heavens, and my soul remained within my core as I laid down a curse. While inside the body of the girl who absorbed my core, the chance to settle this score has finally come. The reason I can appear in your dream is all thanks to you bringing my children here. My benefactor, I understand now. In the end, I was the one who revealed her location to others. It wasn't on purpose, but I'm still connected to her death. The azure-striped centipede smiled faintly. The girl continued, my benefactor, if it's not too much trouble, would you grant me one wish? Of course, I'll grant any wish you have. Could you care for my children until they mature? Huh? But aren't toads no centipedes able to live independently? And after molting twice from their mother's body, for lesser creatures perhaps that is so. But we are different. Before the children of my clan molt twice, they are heavily dependent on the flow of energy from their mother's core. Only then can they continue to grow, by absorbing the life force of other living beings. Wait a minute. Miss Yiner has already absorbed the core. Does that mean they'll have to stay near her? You must understand our situation, my benefactor. A moment ago, I said, I cursed this girl. Did I not? Xiaolong replied, yes, that's right. The girl continued, because of my core, that girl's body is now emitting a foul odor. Xiaolong asked, a foul odor. I will not allow any man to get near this girl, and I will make it so she can never bear children. My God, if you wish to break this curse, then let my children absorb the energy from the core, and you can also use this opportunity to win her heart. Hearing this, his expression turns thoughtful, then he smiles to himself. I don't think that's a very good idea. I don't want to take advantage of Miss Yiner's difficult situation. You truly are an admirable person, my benefactor. But if that's the case, how do you plan to overcome this challenge? It seems that girl is looking for a man of great power. Yes, and I cannot possibly retrieve the cores of the 10 great venomous evils for you. My core has already been absorbed into that girl's body. Huh? The 10 great venomous evils. I have an idea. Can you trust me? What do you mean, just leave this to me? I think it'll work out. The next day. I see. So the scent coming from my body is because of the azure-striped centipede's core. That's right, and if you let these centipedes stay near you every few days to absorb the energy from the core, the scent will disappear on its own. I feel a bit embarrassed to ask this, but you're telling me all this without asking for anything in return. Is that really okay, model? You can ask for something in return, you know? Well, I couldn't be so heartless as to take advantage of a lady in her time of need. I don't want to become that kind of shameless person. If that's the case, then I can't just keep accepting your kindness without repaying you. I will seriously consider my father's words. Brother Xiaolong, seeing you like this, well, it makes me realize that some things are more important than talent or martial arts. Well, that being said, I've actually given this some thought myself. What have you been thinking? You said I have the 10 poison body and can only absorb 10 types of poisons, correct? Ah, yes, that's right, which is why I have an idea. If I can only absorb 10 types of poisons, then could I absorb the 10 poisons of the 10 great poison masters of the Central Plains? The 10 poisons of the 10 great poison masters. So he wants to become the strongest person in the world. For me, how could this be? For Tang Yiner, one of the 3 flowers of the martial arts world, this was the first time a man had ever made such a bold confession to her. After a moment of hesitation, Yiner replied, Young master, do you realize what you're saying? I know that path will be incredibly arduous and difficult. It could take 15, 25, or even an entire lifetime to pursue. Is it that serious? With a shy expression, a flustered Yiner replied, all right. Young Master Xiaolong, I hear you are only 15. You have 3 years until you come of age and are old enough for marriage. Within those 3 years, if you succeed in subduing one of the 10 great poisonous creatures, you will likely earn everyone's absolute trust. So if you succeed, the chances of achieving your goal will be very high. The marriage, I mean... Anyway, I will support you with all my heart. All right, I'll be going now. Miss Yiner, is there still something you wish to say, young master? It's just about your treatment. Even if it's just for a little while, please try to stay for it before you leave. Hearing this, Yiner stopped and shyly returned to her seat. Don't worry, my little ones would never bite anyone. Now, my darlings, are you not listening to your daddy? Do you want to go talk to your mommy instead? Daddy, mommy. No, that's not it. That's not what I meant. Elsewhere. It seems the young master's talents have yet to move our daughter's heart. This morning did you see? It looked like there was something strange going on between them. It seems the young master has been rejected by Lady Yiner. Father. All right. Cough, cough. Forcing the marriage seems inappropriate. It would be better to let their feelings develop naturally. Why don't we have Yiner guide the young master's martial arts training? Seeing each other often might allow feelings to grow. That's not a bad idea at all. In that case, I'll ask Dr. Yi to see if we can grant him the marrow cleansing boon. If it gives them a chance to grow closer, but Yenner has never shown much interest. Father, I fear we shouldn't expect too much. We'll just have to try. It's settled. At that moment, Yenner was standing outside the door. Father, your daughter Yenner requests an audience. Yenner, why is she here at this hour? Her father spoke again. Come in. Freezing for a moment, Yenner continued with a flustered look. Everyone, you're all here. I came because I have something to discuss. Something to discuss. I will follow your instructions, Father. Oh, my instructions. What do you mean? Is it that young Master Xiaolong has caught your fancy? Without a word, Yenner's cheeks flushed bright red. The man beside her father interjected, Oh, why the sudden change of heart? You were so clear before that you weren't interested. Young Master Xiaolong, for me, he promised he would become the number one under the heavens. He made such a vow, what the strongest in the world. Could you explain that a bit more clearly? What do you mean? Even with his innate constitution of the 10 poison body for my sake, he has sworn to master all 10 great poisons and become a 10 great poisonous creature himself. Yes, he promised me. Ha 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 ha. What the 10 great poisonous creatures? That boy is truly arrogant, completely unaware of his own limits. Good heavens, to think someone like that actually exists. While I have agreed in my heart with his say, if he can subdue one of the 10 great poisonous creatures before he comes of age, then I will approve of the marriage. Does everyone understand me clearly? Haha. It's just a few of them. You can't even handle that. If you're my daughter, that's the least you should be able to do. But men aren't very perceptive, are they? So do you need me to spell it out for them again? That's not it, young hero. Haven't you realized that it's already been approved? Can't you try just a little harder for my sake? So for now, let's treat him like a son-in-law. It seems we'll have to pretend we don't know anything about this. If we keep this up, soon enough that boy will become a part of our family. Truly admirable benefactor. Haven't you completely captured her heart? Well now, Xiaolong replies, ha 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 ha. It was just courage and determination. Benefactor, this will likely be our last meeting. My grudge has been resolved, so my spirit will soon pass on. Yes, I understand. Is there anything I can do for you? If it's possible, we will do anything for you. In that case, if it's not too much trouble, could you let me see your body for a moment? She thinks I knew it. The benefactor is a true man after all. She says, yes, all right. She thinks it seems the benefactor has a weakness for beauty. She says, wait, do I really have to take it all off? She thinks, The girl continues, maybe I won't take them off then. Xiaolong interrupts, if that makes you more comfortable. The spirit interrupts. No, that's not what I meant. I just wanted to see the form of the azure striped centipede. If that's all it is. As soon as the words were spoken, there was a loud bang and the form of a centipede appeared, like this. Will this do, benefactor? Whoa. Oh, it's real. It's so huge. Hey, can I touch it for a bit? You're already touching it. Can I keep a piece? Wow, it's this big. How do the joints even support it? It's true that when it walks, and after the front leg passes, that spot glows brightly, right? The front leg. Oh, can I try touching a leg? You're already touching it. How potent is its venom? What about the eyes? Does it see with its eyes? Or does it still use its antennae to sense things? The girl replies, Of course it does. I see. In that case, just let me touch the poison fang once. The centipede replies, That might be a little dangerous. You said you'd grant any request, benefactor. What are you talking about? Narrator, the azure-striped centipede, thought to itself, are my daughters really going to be okay? His 3 hands reached out. This kittiness shell is so sparkly, because everything was so unusual. Scene change to another place. That's right, young hero. No. Xiaolong, I've heard the story from Huang Anyi. From now on, you are my son-in-law. Yes, but what about the 3-year trial? Yes, the wedding will be held when you come of age. That's a given. Yeah, no, that's not what I meant. Oh my, a son-in-law. Xiaolong, welcome once again. I am your mother-in-law. Now Huang Anyi has found her intended. From now on, our Tang family will only encounter good fortune. Nganyi is beside them. Nganyi is silent, smiling to herself. Xiaolong thinks, what is going on? Big sister clearly set conditions for the marriage. Yes. So why are they talking as if it's already been accepted? He thinks, for now, I'll just play along with her. Xiaolong says, yes, I'll be in your care. Right, let's begin. Let's get right to it. Before you learn the Tang family's poison arts, I have something I want to show you. Yes, what is it? Check this out. The 2 old men chuckle. The whole of 10,000 poisons. I guarantee you'll like it. Scene change. We have all been waiting for this moment. The moment you officially step into the whole of 10,000 poisons as a member of the Tang family. This is our family's tradition. The whole family comes here together. I'm looking forward to it too, grandfather. He thinks the whole of 10,000 poisons must be where they store 10,000 types of poisons. In that case, at the same time, Xiaolong glances sideways at Nganyi. Good heavens. A true beauty looks as pretty as a picture even from the side. The grandparents happen to catch this sight. The 2 of them chuckle to themselves. Hey, young man, staring like that. We'll make my daughter shy? Yes, you're one of the family now. Why are you still spacing out like that? It seems our son-in-law has already cultivated the Nganyi flowers. Xiaolong, darling, you should watch where you're going. Yes, a moment later, from a distance, 2 muscular guards. You've arrived. Great elder head. Yes, yes. I want to show my grandson-in-law the Hall of Myriad Poisons. Open the gate. Yes, great elder head. He thinks the security here is stricter than in the Middle Ages. Open the gate. As soon as the order was given, 2 immense forces strained with all their might to push the gate open. Opening so early today. Please come in. Looking at the scene before him, Xiaolong was stunned, speechless. The family head continued, "This is an iron gate, made from the Kunwu steel of the Nanman. To be able to open this gate is a great honor." Xiaolong replied, "Is that so? We've arrived. This is the treasure trove that contains all the poisons of the Sichuan Tang clan. The chamber of myriad poisons. Be careful not to touch anything." "I understand. So this is the chamber of myriad poisons? Are they kept in jars and medicine pouches?" The family head replied, "That's right. There are many different types of poisons here, like numbing poison, sleeping poison. Ganyi, my dear, why don't you explain them to Xiaolong? I'm sure our son-in-law would prefer that." "Oh my, you're right, aren't you?" "Yes, father. Come here. I'll show you the most potent poisons of the Tang sect, starting with Little Golden." "Yes," Xiaolong replied. "Ah, yes. You mean the most potent poison, right? This is energy-scattering poison, a poison that martial artists must be especially careful of. If you inhale it, you won't be able to use your internal energy, so be careful. They're both so cute." "That's right, ho ho ho. Gut-wrenching poison, soul-annihilating poison, blood-melting poison, and 7 steps, soul-severing poison. They're all powerful poisons, but the strongest poison of the Tang sect is something else entirely. Take this, Xiaolong. Xiaolong thinks a bean. It looks like a hyacinth bean. Not counting the venoms of the 10 great vicious creatures, this is currently the most potent poison. The herb that symbolizes the Tang sect, the castor bean. He thinks a castor bean is this ricin is a toxalbumin. Just 2 milligrams is enough to kill an adult. It's famous for the umbrella assassination of a Bulgarian dissident. During the Cold War, it's hundreds of thousands of times more potent than cyanide. This is the poison that comes closest to the Tang sect's goal of being colorless, tasteless, and formless. That's why we call this poison the golden poison, the most precious of all poisons. And we call the act of killing with this poison the golden kill. He thinks, the golden kill. Remember this, Xiaolong. The most potent poison isn't the one that causes the most pain or is the most gruesome. It's the one that kills silently and surely. The poison arts of the Sichuan Tang clan also strive for that. Silently and surely. Xiaolong thinks a family of assassins. At that moment, another person interjected from behind. Hey, that's enough. Next, let's go see the venomous creatures that Xiaolong has been waiting for. Oh, you mean the venomous creatures? If you like them, you can manage them. What do you think? The family will provide you with everything you need. Really? He thinks support my hobby. Then let's go right now. Just then, a frantic shout echoed family head. There is an urgent matter to report. What is it? What's wrong? You must come to the Xuanwu Pavilion immediately. The family head replied. The Xuanwu Pavilion? Why there? He continued, the family elders. What them again? Xiaolong thinks the family elders? Does he mean the people from the branch family she mentioned? There are 2 matters. First, the medicine we sent to the Lord of Sichuan had no effect, and he has sent a letter of complaint. The other matter is about what happened at the Hall of Myriad Poisons. Hearing this, Xiaolong let out a long sigh. News travels fast. Let's go. Son-in-law, you come with me as well. Yes, sir. At the Xuanwu Pavilion, seeing Xiaolong's group enter, an old man shouted, "How could you unilaterally decide on such an important matter?" That's right. How could you marry our precious granddaughter Ganyi to an orphan of unknown origin? What an orphan of unknown origin? Are you insulting my son-in-law? They continued, No, that's not it. It's the truth. The family head cut in. I was the one who made the decision. Do any of you have a problem with that? Great elder head, please advise the family head. How can we entrust the management of the Hall of Myriad Poisons to an outsider whose abilities have not been proven? I just agreed to it myself. Beside him, Ganyi turned and whispered, "I'm sorry, my love." Xiaolong thinks, oh man, I've made her worry again. The one who needs to apologize isn't her. Xiaolong spoke up. Forgive me for interrupting the elders' conversation. This matter seems to have arisen due to my own lack of ability. Model, but if I prove my abilities, will the elders accept me? What? Like solving the Sichuan city. Lord's difficult problem. Ganyi whispered, Xiaolong, what are you planning to do? Xiaolong thought to himself, I'm not one to show off, but if anyone dares to disturb the peaceful life I have with my pets, I won't let it slide. After hearing this, his face contorted with rage. How dare you? The elders are speaking. A brat like you dares to interrupt. The old man next to him chimed in, that's right. Besides, do you even know what's in the Sichuan City Lord's letter? How dare you speak up, head of the family? Look at him, a nobody with no background daring to meddle in our affairs. These people, that's why we nominated a young man from a prestigious family to be the son-in-law. He thinks I've had enough of these old geezers. This stinks. Image from a memory. Hello everyone in the comments. Oh, isn't that a king cobra? Who's the girl next to him? Explain yourself. Fabre. He betrayed us. I heard he married a venomous creature. Explain yourself. Explain. Let me get a bite. Let me get a bite. Just one bite? banned from the channel. Over 1 million subscribers, average of over 3,000 live viewers. Back to the present. I hear the elders still haven't acknowledged me as the Tang family's son-in-law. In that case, I'm still a guest. He thinks, of course, with that many fans, getting attacked for no reason is just a normal day for me. Xiaolong continued, furthermore, not only did I help the Tang family's treasure Hua Nganyi, but I also saved the family head's life by eliminating the blood hand Asura. Tuo Wunyang, and yet you elders dare to insult a benefactor and an honored guest right to his face. Is this the etiquette and rules of the Tang family? He thinks for a streamer getting mobbed is so common, it's almost cute, sweating bullets. The two old men stammered, interrupting. That's not it. We were just a bit hasty and misspoke. He thinks useless. They continued. But the blood and Asura Tua Wunyang killing him is just too unbelievable. Well, I'm not lying. Take a look at this. What is that the Blood Hand Poison Claw manual? A manual written in blood. It really is from the blood cult. Xiaolong, show us the centipede. Yes, father-in-law, the centipede. My little darlings. As soon as Xiaolong finished speaking, something stirred inside his clothes, and his playful little darlings slowly crawled out. They shouted in shock, "Huh! A golden centipede. Is the offspring of an azure-striped centipede. My son-in-law is raising it. If I told you they bit Tua Wunyang to death, would you believe me? An azure-striped centipede. This young man can control an azure-striped centipede. If I can't even acknowledge a son-in-law like this, and what should I be called? Hey, my little darlings, don't bite people, or else you'll die and turn black just like Tua Wunyang." Flustered and stunned, they awkwardly looked away and said in unison, "We never said we didn't acknowledge him. It's just that there are procedures that must be followed. And because you skipped them, the family head got angry, that's all." Fine. Let's drop the matter of the son-in-law. Then why not agree about the Hall of 10,000 Poisons? Well, he's not officially part of the family yet. And how can we entrust the Hall of 10,000 Poisons to a teenager who's not even of age? That's right. How can we hand over something as important as the Hall of 10,000 Poisons? Then it's simple. Can you prove your abilities? Of course. To prove I'm worthy of the Tang family, I will resolve this the Tang family's way by using poison. What do you want to poison the Sichuan city lord? Hey, we're talking about sending medicine, not killing him. Family head, what do you think? Hearing this from them, Xiaolong thought to himself, as expected, they're too soft. No, we are the Tang family. We use poison. The next day, final challenge is a challenge, but starting today, I will begin learning the Tang family's 5 poisons origin technique. Oh, it's still physical training. Your body will adapt to the martial arts as you train. The Tang clan emphasizes practicality, so you will learn things that can be immediately applied in real combat hidden weapons, like needles, coins, and darts, as well as swords and knives. Although there are many other types of hidden weapons, these 5 are the main ones. Do you know which hidden weapon is the easiest to use? Probably throwing knives or daggers. The old man continued. Correct. Then which type is the most difficult to use? Xiaolong replied, probably powder since you have to sprinkle it. Wrong. The most difficult to use are needles. Needles. Is it because they're small and thin, making them hard to throw? It's because you have to remember the exact position where you threw it. I should probably demonstrate while I explain. He thought, a calligraphy brush? Just then he pulled the head off the calligraphy brush and threw it straight into the air, just as the bristles were hovering in the air. They suddenly oriented vertically and quickly fell right in front of Xiaolong. He thought, the bristles are piercing my skin, just like needles. Seeing Xiaolong's bewildered expression, the old man explained, the Tang clan has a hidden weapon technique called the sky-covering flower rain. It's a secret art of the Tang clan that covers the entire surrounding area with hundreds, maybe or thousands of needles. Xiaolong thought, you mean I have to fight an enemy while surrounded by needles like this? Xiaolong continued, if there are needles everywhere, wouldn't there be no place to step? That's why you must remember carefully so you don't harm yourself. He thought, oh my god, so do I even have to remember the positions of the needles that are knocked away by the opponent or fall to the ground? Of course, if you were from the 5 poison sect, you'd have to remember at least 100 positions. Hoangan Yi could remember about 1,000 positions when she was the poison god. Hearing this, Xiaolong broke out in a cold, fearful sweat. The scene changes to another place. Someone else approaches and speaks. Will this do, Xiaolong? Miss Hoangan Yi, I heard you were planning to go catch some Hongfeng, so I prepared this. If you don't need it, then explanation, Hongfeng is a hornet. I know, it's fine. I was planning to wait, but if I have this, I can catch them myself. Wait, you were planning to wait for the Hongfeng. You'll understand when we get there. Oh, is that so? Do you know where a Hongfeng nest is? Ganyi replied, I've already found a nest. It's nearby. We can go there right now, but you've read the letter from the Sichuan city lord, right? Yes, of course, Miss Hoanganyi. Xiaolong is still young, so I'm a little worried whether you fully understood the letter's contents. Xiaolong continued, of course, miss. It's about something very important for a man's yang energy. Ganyi said, that's enough. You seem to understand the problem quite well. Xiaolong thought, that's right. The big problem the Sichuan city lord is facing is impotence. With a suspicious look, Ganyi asked again, You really are knowledgeable for your age, aren't you, Xiaolong? Well, it's because I live alone, so we should get going. Miss Hoa. Huang Anyi went deeper into the forest. Xiaolong was dazed, looking at the insects with fascination. We're here, Xiaolong. This is it. This is definitely the place. But Xiaolong, what was that about finding a beehive that's missing its bees? Although we're looking for Hongfeng, we're not going to catch them. Hearing this, Ganyi was a little confused. The poisonous insect we need is often found in small beehives. Ganyi continued, a poisonous insect that lives in a beehive. Luckily, it looks like this hive has one. Gotcha, you little rascal. Xiaolong, that insect, don't tell me. We came here not to catch Hongfeng, but to catch this insect. This creature that will solve the Sichuan city lord's problem. Yes, Xiaolong, is this insect a diadem? Yes, that's right. Xiaolong thought, so they call it diadem here. This insect's found in the nest of Hongfeng. In the Central Plains, it's called diadem. In Korea, it's called a leafcutter bee, and this insect belongs to the Meloidae family. Ganyi continued, but a diadem is found inside a Hongfeng nest. I did not know this. Their life cycle is quite special. The reproductive method of the Meloidae family is quite strange, Xiaolong thought. Usually when they lay eggs, they either protect them or create a safe environment for them to hatch. But this species, they just lay them anywhere. The blister beetle, that's right. Pardon me, just gonna lay an egg right here. Anywhere is fine. They just lay them like that. They lay all their eggs in one place without a care in the world. Anyway, by some miracle, the blister beetle larvae will hatch and start crawling to the highest nearby place. And when they reach the top, they form a strange shape, which is they will cling to each other and pretend to be a flower. What a dramatic script. Never search for blister beetle larvae online. And oh my, this little lady is a bumblebee from the Bombinae subfamily. The bumblebee will fly over thinking it's a real flower. When did a flower bloom here? As soon as it gets close, they will quickly swarm and cling onto the bumblebee, and then it's game over. The bumblebee's nest is done for. Back to the present. I don't know why they choose bumblebees, but I've heard it's the best environment for the diadem larvae to develop. Is that so, poor cute bumblebees? There's no other way. But isn't this the type of poison that causes skin burns? It's known that eating too much of it is fatal. That's right, it can cause skin burns. The orange liquid secreted from the blister beetle's body contains a toxin called cantharidin, Xiaolong thought. If this substance comes into contact with the skin, it'll cause blisters just like a burn. But it has those effects too. Yes. Until the toxin is flushed from the body, it can arouse a man. Okay, that's enough. Let's head back to the Myriad Poisons Hall. Wait, let me catch a few more. Diadem blister beetle caught. After that, we returned to the Myriad Poisons Hall, and I instructed the warriors on how to prepare the medicine. Now listen carefully. First dry the diadem, then grind it into a powder. Assume 1/10 of it is poison. In that case, ingesting 3 fen, 11.75 milligrams of the poison will certainly be life-threatening. And for every gallon, 3.75 kilograms of body weight. If 3/10 of a fen, 1.25 milligrams of the poison is ingested, half of those who take it will die. Therefore, prepare the medicine with a dosage of 1/10 of a fen, 0.375 milligrams, which is equivalent to about 10 drops of water, or 0.351 milliliters. Do you all understand? My head is about to explode, they thought. Yes, such a detailed explanation. Your mathematics skills are brilliant, sir. We will definitely succeed. Yes. Haha. I'm counting on all of you. That night, I never expected the diadem to have such an effect. It seems I should also reevaluate the poisons the Tang sect possesses. Yes, I think so too, grandfather. He's good at math too. Yes. He divided 1 fen into 10 parts and said it was equivalent to the weight of 10 drops of water. To think, I thought I knew a lot about poisons, but he's even more than I imagined. The more I learn, the more I see he's a treasure to the Tang sect. So you like him more than you did at first, granddaughter? Grandfather. I just feel that I was too rash at the beginning, so I feel guilty. That's all. All right. Just be sure to treat him well from now on. So how will we test the medicine's effectiveness? The thing is, the elders of the branch family have become too arrogant, so the main family will punish them. What? What an interesting fellow. The scene changes to another location. At this moment, all the elders' eyes were fixed on the person who had just entered, scrutinizing him. Xiaolong, here is your medicine. Oh, this is... Yes, we mixed in licorice powder and honey to add sweetness and make it easier for you to drink. You're very thoughtful. You prepared it exactly as I instructed, right? Of course, Lord Xiaolong. We followed the dosage you specified precisely. Making such a big deal out of it? Yeah, acting like they created something incredible. Everyone be quiet. All right, the medicine has been prepared. So how will you prove its effectiveness? Prove it? From the crowd, a hand slammed on the table as someone shouted, "Of course you have to prove it. How can we send a poison whose effects haven't been verified to the city, Lord of Sichuan? That's right, if something goes wrong, it will be very dangerous." In that case, there's no other way. Warrior. Yes, sir. Listen to this. The warrior walked step by step towards the crowd and held out the pill. You want us to test the medicine? Who knows what's in it? This brat. He's not only an outsider, but he also has a dark heart. Smiling faintly to himself, Xiaolong interrupted. Grandfather, what's going on? Didn't you tell me that those who practice the martial arts of the Tang clan fear no poison? Is that so? Yes, it is, but look, is he scared? Hearing what our grandson-in-law said, it seems he's right. Oh, come on now. You are all elders of the family who have reached the state of immunity to 100 poisons. Are you really afraid of a little earth gull poison huff? Who would be afraid of such a low-grade poison? That's right, you've misjudged us. If this pill has no effect, you'll face the consequences. We will restore discipline to this family. He downed it in one gulp, swallowing the pill. Below, everyone waited in silence for the result. After waiting for a moment, he smirked, pointed directly at Xiaolong and yelled, "There, see." Nothing happened. However, just as he finished speaking, his manhood suddenly stood straight up. That day, the family's discipline was vigorously restored. Send the medicine to the city lord of Sichuan. It's very effective. A moment later, Xiaolong continued. Just as Grandpa said, all I had to do was provoke them about poison, and they'd fall right into the trap. The old man interjected, "Heh. Those men have nothing left but their pride, so they had no other choice. But don't hate them. They do it for the sake of the family." Is that so? Well, we're all one family after all. I understand. Xiaolong, it's an emergency. What is it, miss? Our pets. There's something wrong with them. Meanwhile, the old man beside him grabbed Xiaolong by the shirt, lifting him up and cooing, "Grandson-in-law? What do you mean by that?" Our? What? You two have a child. It seems I haven't disciplined you two properly. It's not a child. It's the centipedes. The centipedes. Xiaolong is raising. He froze for a moment. Xiaolong cried out in alarm. Huh? You mean the centipedes? Xiaolong thought, lately I've seen you training more, so I asked my sister to take care of the baby centipedes. Something's happened to my precious babies, Xiaolong asked again. Let me see, Xiaolong isn't here. A moment later, she said, they suddenly started moving. They were fine all morning. I hope they're not hurt anywhere. Their color is also translucent, and their shells look strange. This is... my lady, it seems you don't need to worry. They're just molting. Just like snakes, when their bodies grow, they shed their skin. It's probably that time. Molting. That's right. Xiaolong looked ahead. Slowly, the centipede is gradually crawling out of its old skin. Oh, it's amazing. Xiaolong, the other two are about to molt. They've all molted. It looks like they're bigger than before. What are their names? Names, I haven't thought of any. With a thoughtful expression, Xiaolong continued. Wu 1, Wu 2, Wu 3. No, that won't do. If a centipede lives for 1,000 years, it becomes a dragon. They need more majestic names, names that suit a dragon's form. Haha. My lady, there's no way these centipedes will turn into dragons after 1,000 years. But oh well, a 1,000-year-old centipede is still called a dragon. Let's call them the heavenly dragons. Xiaolong thought, so he's the one who taught her that, let's name them Se, Hung, and Ban. Se, Hung, Ban. The one that came out first is Se. The second is Hung, as in fragrance. The third one has a glossy sheen, so we'll call it Ban. Se, Hung, Ban. A child's name is usually given by their father, right? Xiaolong thought, and so the baby centipedes have new names. After a day passed, the centipedes were clinging tightly to him again. It seemed their bodies weren't completely dry yet, but they could move. I'm still not used to this. You guys have gotten a lot heavier. XXX. The biggest change is their size. Originally, they were only as big as a large sausage, but now they're as big as my arm. Sorry for being so heavy. XXX. The baby centipedes must find my chest too cramped now. Now they just cling to my arms and waist all the time. Just then, another voice cut in. Ha 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 ha. Look there. What did we tell you? It really is the Sichuan Tang clan. Let's go, Jilu. Let's go. Making money is so easy. Ha 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 ha. What's going on? The scene changes. This is great news. Wasn't it just a short while ago that you sent your self-made medicine to Sichuan? To the city lord, you mean? That's right, the old man continued. I heard that he found the medicine to be very effective. Therefore, the city lord has sent a large reward along with his thanks. Is that so? You've only just become my son-in-law, and I'm already benefiting so quickly. You've helped me a great deal. Haha, it was nothing. Therefore, I will give you a spirit medicine. Though even if I offer it, you'll probably just humbly refuse, won't you? Hey, a spirit medicine. You mean? He thought. He said before that a spirit medicine would increase my internal energy, father. If it's a spirit medicine, what is it? Oh, it's nothing too grand. It's the honey of a golden-haired bee king. Xiaolong thought, bee, honey, just honey. I've heard that internal energy is crucial to becoming a master. In that case, I'll accept it. Thank you, father-in-law. Beside him, Yeno cut in. Father, you said it was a reward, so why is it just honey? About that. What Xiaolong did this time was no small matter. Although the golden-haired bee king is a mid-level poisonous creature, its honey is the lowest grade of pill among all spirit medicines. You can't skimp on his reward. He performed a great service. The pill should at least be a spirit medicine that increases internal energy by 1 year, that one only provides 2 months' worth. Even if it's a spirit medicine and the preparation cost is high, it's still cheap compared to what Xiaolong did model. The old man muttered to himself, a grown daughter is as good as gone. Father-in-law, what's a golden-haired bee king? Regaining his composure, he answered, the golden-haired bee king is a mid-level poisonous insect often found in the forest. It's a large bee, but it's about the size of a small dog. If you eat its honey, you can gain 2 months of internal energy, as big as a puppy. How interesting, Brother Xiaolong. Wait a minute, I'm so mad. Hua Yun, that's not what your father meant. I thought Xiaolong would want to go find the golden-haired bee king himself, so that's why I chose this. That's right. Xiaolong thinks directly, father-in-law. You want me to go find the golden-haired bee king myself. That's right. You think I should go get the honey myself. When I was a YouTuber, I went honey harvesting many times. Let's go, father-in-law. I'm an expert at getting honey, the old man replied. Ha ha ha. I knew you'd like it. What does the golden-haired bee king look like? Well, of course it looks like a bee. Behind them, Hua Yin sighed in resignation. Xiaolong thought, the honey-gathering trip has begun. Since this is valuable information from my father-in-law, I thought there wouldn't be any other rivals. Voices rose up. We got here first, so the golden-haired bee king's honey is ours. What? We legally bought the information, so it's ours. You bought the info. We bought it too. Don't tell me you bought it from a shaggy-haired guy with a big mole on his face. How did you know that? Either way, we're not backing down. Xiaolong thought, a shaggy-haired guy with a big mole on his face? Could it be them? They sold the information to anyone and everyone. Beside him, the bodyguard shouted in a low voice, those bastards. How dare they humiliate the Tang clan of Sichuan right here in Sichuan? What the Tang clan of Sichuan? He thought, my honey-gathering plan. Meanwhile, in the main hall of the Tang clan of Sichuan, the father-in-law was giving Xiaolong instructions. Yes, Xiaolong. Since this is your first time venturing out, you must be extremely careful. And you must never forget that you are a member of the Tang family. Xiaolong replied, yes, sir. Just then a sound was heard. It turned out to be a group of Taoists. The father-in-law continued, take them with you. You need to start learning how to lead people. Yes. Xiaolong was a little confused. Yes. You're telling me to take them with me. But Lady Hua Un, the father-in-law laughed loudly and replied, haha, this kid, Hua Un, is your companion. You are Hua Yun's life partner. You're the best. Xiaolong's eyes widened. Life partner. Behind him, Hua Yun happily added, you'll do great, Xiaolong. I'll help you too. Xiaolong could only reply, I'll do my best. The scene changes to a forest the site of Xiaolong's first venture out. Xiaolong's group had come face to face with another group of Taoists. The situation seemed tense. Xiaolong turned to the person next to him and asked, what do we do? What should we do about this? Should we share the prize with them? The person next to him, known as Captain Wolkang of the Poison Blood Squad, replied, share who are they to demand that we, the Tang clan of Sichuan, share anything with them? Wai Yun also said, annoyed, I don't know who they are, but these guys have some nerve. Daring to sell information that the Tang clan of Sichuan already bought, the Taoists on the other side were terrified, sniffing the air. Sniff, sniff. The poisonous moon lily, the signature poison of the Tang clan, is here. Then that man clasped his hands together and hurriedly said, we of the Wind and Cloud sect did not know this was related to the Tang clan of Sichuan. We will withdraw. Seeing this, the others around him also clasped their hands. Obediently, we of the Cloud Lake sect will also take our leave. We'll be going too. Damn it, I'm going to catch that guy and skin him alive. We of the White Jade Ghost Slaying sect won't be participating either. With that, the entire group of Taoists turned and fled, leaving Xiaolong surprised. Huh, they're just leaving like that. Is the Tang clan of Sichuan that big of a deal? After Xiaolong asked, is it over? Wolkang continued, probably not. Those 4 sects wouldn't just retreat like that. Yes, first they'll find a good spot nearby. They're clearly hiding nearby, waiting for an opportunity. Then he said to the person beside him, Gubai, locate them. Gubai replied, yes, Captain. As Xiaolong looked into the distance, wondering, Hua Yun quickly comforted him, it's okay, Xiaolong. Just then, amidst the vast mountain forest, Xiaolong suddenly noticed something. My bees! They hid behind a large rock and observed a colony of bees appearing. Several cute bees were happily flapping their wings and flying around. Xiaolong realized with joy, that's the golden-haired bee king? Hua Yun also replied, it's my first time seeing it too. It's huge. They watched the bees, seemingly mesmerized. But aren't they really cute? Xiaolong said. Hua Yun replied, their fur looks so fluffy. Captain Wolkang explained, that's why it's called the golden-haired bee king. Xiaolong commented, even so, this colony is a bit small. Only about a few hundred of them, huh? And bees can even get this big. Hua Yun asked, a colony? Xiaolong replied, that's what you call a whole swarm of bees. Normally a hive has about 5,000 to 7,000 bees. Hua Yun's eyes widened in surprise. You can tell that without even going inside. Xiaolong replied, you can get a rough idea just by looking at the number going in and out of the hive entrance. Just then, footsteps appeared behind them. It was Gubai, having finished his task, returning to report. Captain, I've found the 4 sects. Weijiang asked again. Is that so? Where are they? Gubai replied. That's right. Those damn things are on the opposite side. I can't see what they're doing, but I'm sure they're about to make a move. Weijiang continued her observation. I see. They must be waiting for nightfall to get the honey using Dongra's method. Xiaolong asked, Dongra's method? Weijiang continued, if you burn mugwort leaves and let the smoke drift into the hive, the wasps will become calmer. Then we can go in and get the honey. Xiaolong found this very interesting. Oh, what a great method. Cowboy wondered, but But the wind is blowing towards us right now. Suddenly, Xiaolong let out a loud, "Ah, I've got it." Kobai asked Xiaolong, "Sir, have you thought of a method?" Xiaolong answered, "If the wind is blowing towards us, doesn't that mean we can hide our scent?" Huang An replied dazedly, "That's right." Xiaolong shot to his feet. "I'll be right back." Huang An worriedly tried to stop him. Xiaolong, don't. The golden-haired wasp king is a dangerous mid-level creature. But by now, Xiaolong's eyes were shining with excitement as he said, "Just once. I'll just touch it once and come right back, guys." But Xiaolong accidentally kicked a small pebble, crying out, "Ah!" The pebble rolled away and landed in front of the hive. Xiaolong could only say, "Huh." Behind him, Huang An was terrified. The swarm of wasps, disturbed, flew straight towards them. Huang An had no choice but to grab Xiaolong's collar and pull him away. "Run first." Xiaolong grunted as he was dragged away. After that, everything was chaos. A while later, it seemed the turmoil had passed. Xiaolong sat cross-legged on a rock, thinking, there's no way. I have to go against the wind to start a fire, but I'm stuck between the people from the four sects and the swarm of wasps. The golden-haired wasp king is a bit different from the bees, I know. Even from 30 meters away, I can still feel the sound of their wings beating. Even hornets aren't this bad. Just then, a voice called from behind Xiaolong. "Xiaolong, come here." Xiaolong replied, "Ah, Miss Huang An." Huang An approached with several calm wasps perched on her, explaining to Xiaolong, "It seems they've finished eating. They were just flying in circles, so I led them here." On her hand was an adorable baby wasp buzzing. "Bzz, bzz, bzz." Xiaolong replied happily, "Thank you, Miss Huang An. They've come down now." As they enjoyed the softness of the wasps, they sat looking at each other shyly. Huang An spoke up, "Have you gathered any more information?" Xiaolong replied, "I want to observe a little more." Huang An then said sincerely, "I'm sorry for rushing you all the time." Xiaolong, just take your time and think. There's no need to hurry. But those words made Xiaolong break out in a sweat from the increased pressure. "Ha ha, she's totally rushing me." Huang An looked towards the opposite side of the tree and replied, "Huh, Xiaolong, look over there. It's monkeys." Xiaolong said, "Are they fighting monkeys?" In the distance, there was clearly another troop of monkeys. They were roaring, "Hoo hoo, chuck chuck." Huang An watched worriedly. "Oh my, they must be furious." Xiaolong suddenly said, "Miss Huang An, I think I smell something." Huang An replied, this scent, could it be?" At that moment, Xiaolong asked himself, could it be pheromones? He turned and said frantically to Huang An, "Miss Huang An, we have to get away. In a moment, the wasps will go crazy and swarm over here." Huang An was also frantic. I know." With a start, Huang An had to pick up Xiaolong and fly to another spot. Something attacked the place where they had just been standing. After landing, Huang An saw it with her own eyes and said, oh my god." The swarm of wasps was furiously charging, buzzing, bzzz, bzzz. It turned out they were rushing to devour the monkeys that had intended to harm Xiaolong and Huang An. That was almost a disaster. Huang An, sweating bullets, asked Xiaolong, "But Xiaolong, how did you know the golden-haired wasp king would charge out and attack?" "You clearly told me to get away before we even heard the sound of the golden-haired wasp king, right?" Xiaolong explained, "It was because of the smell." Huang An replied, "The smell? Come to think of it, it smelled like night-blooming jasmine." Just then, Xiaolong thought, can Huang An distinguish the smell of pheromones? Xiaolong turned and asked Huang An, "Do you know what that scent was from before?" Huang An replied, "Yes, I do." The scent from before was similar to the scent of night-blooming jasmine. Xiaolong shouted with joy, "That's it." He accidentally pushed Huang An down, causing her to cry out, Xiaolong. Xiaolong collected his thoughts, stopped and panted. Ha, ha, ha. I have a way now. A way to wipe out the four sects and get the honey. The scene changes to the camp of the four sects in the forest. They were eating dinner together around a campfire. The scar-faced Taoist from the Wingate sect held a water flask and drank. Gulp, gulp. That's delicious. The man sitting opposite him asked, "Hey, when do you think we can go get the honey?" He replied, not sure yet. 3 days ago, they were running all over the place. Now it's suddenly dead quiet. They must be planning something. The other guy replied, probably. The scar-faced man asked again, "Hey, is the honeycomb really worth that much money?" The other guy said, "Have you been living under a rock your whole life to be asking that? If it's made from the golden wax of the king wasp, it's an extremely precious item. Only the royal family can use it. They will definitely just take the honey and leave the rest behind. Then the remaining hive will be ours. And if by some chance we fail and all die, ha 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 ha." Scarface also cackled with glee, ke. Then he remembered the silver flower and warned his comrades, "Oh, right, there's also that poisonous flower called the three martial flowers. We have to be careful not to get hurt by it." "That's not a bad idea at all. That look, ha 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 ha." The two guys across from them laughed triumphantly. Just thinking about it makes me antsy. You never know. What if one of us becomes their son-in-law? The other guy imagined it too. Oh, of course. A life-saving debt must be repaid after all. Suddenly he noticed something. Where's this sweet scent coming from? Wait a minute. Could it be the scent of that poisonous flower? Ha ha ha, it must be. The beauty and fragrance of that flower must be just as gorgeous and sweet as this. Suddenly a sound echoed through the air. The other guy asked, "Huh? What's that sound?" In the distance, a strange shape with a terrifying flapping sound was approaching. The gang of four finally panicked. Huh? What is that? It was the queen bee as a swarm of giant bees descended upon them. They scattered and screamed to each other, "Run, run, run for your lives." The adorable bees dove straight for them, feasting on those dogs amidst their screams. Ah, help me. Ah. Scene changes to Tiolong and Huangan. On the ground, crushed flowers and fruits emit a fragrant scent. The two are observing the bee colony. Huangan says, It's really happening. Jiang observed and said, "The bees are all flying to one spot." Huangan asked Tiolong, "What on earth did you do? I never expected the bees to go crazy over the scent of a flower like this." Tiolong replied, "That's because I gave the bees the order to launch an all-out attack." Huangan said, "An all-out attack, but I just crushed the flowers and fruits and spread them around." It turns out that very scent is the signal to order an all-out attack. Pheromones are chemical signals that animals of the same species use to communicate with each other. Highly social insects like ants and wasps in particular use pheromones very actively to communicate. The type of pheromone I used is the exact scent that bees release when they launch an all-out attack. It's called isoamyl acetate. Huangan replied happily, "You mean this ham-tew flower?" It emits the exact same scent as when the bees launch an attack. "It's truly amazing," Tiolong replied. "Even so, I think the fact that you, Lady Huangan, could distinguish that scent is even more incredible." Huangan explained, "My school specializes in poisons, so being sensitive to fragrances is only natural." Tiolong looked towards the swarm. "Yes, that's right. The queen has led the bees in an all-out attack. We should probably start heading in, shouldn't we?" At this point, there wasn't a single bee left in the hive. Tiolong whispered, "Time to get the queen's honey." The three of them snuck forward. Tiolong, it's dangerous. Let me go first and lead the way." When they got inside, all three were completely stunned. Jiang said, "Oh, look at that." Tiolong replied, "Good heavens, look how huge the hive is. It's massive." Above them, the honeycomb stretched layer upon layer, filling their entire field of vision. Jiang said, "Luckily it seems all the bees have flown out." Yeah, Tiolong asked. What's this? Is there no honey?" Jiang replied, "That's impossible." At that moment, Huangan asked, "Is there really not a single bee left, just like Tiolong said?" Jiang replied, "This has never happened before. It's so strange." Just then, Tiolong remembered, could it be this hive? There isn't a single egg left. Jiang asked, "What does that have to do with the hive having no honey?" Tiolong explained, "Perhaps the swarm was already preparing to leave. So it seems they've already consumed all the stored honey. The reason is probably that they've sensed too many traces of humans nearby recently." Huangan came to a realization. So that's it. Tiolong replied, "That's right. When a swarm decides to migrate, they stop laying eggs because they no longer have the time or ability to care for the larvae anymore." As he finished speaking, Tiolong suddenly realized something was about to happen. He gave a cunning smile and asked Jiang, "Sir, if you used your lightness skill continuously without resting, how long could you maintain it?" Jiang answered, "If I run at a moderate speed, I can keep it up for about half a day." "Why do you suddenly ask?" Just then, someone ran in from outside shouting, "Young Master Tiolong, the Queen, and the Golden Bee, swarm are returning. You must leave here at once." Jiang yelled, We have to go? Young Master Tiolong, just give it up." Tiolong, still trying to find honey, replied, "Wait, just a little longer." However, he was pulled back by Huangan. "Tiolong, hurry up." The person outside yelled, "Get out here." Everyone ran out of the beehive together, but inside Xiaolong's pocket was a large bee. Once outside, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. "Phew, that was a close call." Huangan said, "Phew, lucky we got out before the swarm returned." But she suddenly shouted, "Xiaolong, what are you holding?" At that moment, Xiaolong then pulled a very cute large bee from his pocket, saying, "This is the queen of the swarm. Since there was no honey, I brought back the one who makes the honey." Jiang was stunned. The queen bee, Huangan, asked, "Young Master Xiaolong, don't tell me." Then everyone suddenly panicked as the queen bee let out a buzz. Xiaolong said, "Hey, it won't be long before the swarm realizes their queen is missing and comes after us. Let's run." And so the dangerous chase began. The fight for their lives began. The group was running for their lives to escape the swarm. The queen bee buzzed, "Bee." At this, Xiaolong had to stroke and calm the bee. "Calm down a little, will you? I'll take you to a place where no one will bother you, okay?" Several days had passed since the deadly honeybee race began. During that time, the group had cut back on sleep to move with all their strength. The bees were always chasing after Xiaolong's group. Looking at their current state, it was truly pathetic. On the way here, the members of the poison blood team had all been left behind. Jiang thought to herself, "When I get back this time, I definitely have to ask someone to teach me Qigong properly." Someone fell flat on their face, crying out, "Ah!" Jiang said, "Another one left behind." The others kept running, only managing to shout, Dulong has fallen. Huang Dulong of the Poison Blood team was left behind. At that moment, Xiaolong thought, if they get far enough from the queen bee, they probably won't be attacked anymore, right? Everyone use your qinggong and run faster. Yue Jiang asked, Sir, Xiaolong, can we escape? Xiaolong replied, maybe we can 3 days later. At this point, Yue Jiang fell flat on her face. Koch, koch. I'm sorry, Sir Xiaolong. I can only make it this far. Cough, cough. Xiaolong and Huang An could only look on worriedly. Huang An offered, Xiaolong, let me carry you. Xiaolong replied, Miss Huang An, but I can run on my own. Huang An just covered her face for a moment, then brightened up and said, I can do it. The people of the Tang family never give up. Scene changed to the main hall. 2 guards saw someone's silhouette. One of them spoke up. Oh, the young miss has returned. From a distance, they saw Xiaolong supporting Huang An. Both of them were exhausted with dark circles under their eyes as they approached the gate. Young miss, what? The guard immediately summoned the head of the main family. He was resting inside but rushed out asking, is something seriously wrong? The other replied, it's young Miss Huang An, she has returned home. The head of the main family approached his daughter, who was completely exhausted. He shouted, Xiaolong, what is the meaning of this? Xiaolong replied, please calm down, father-in-law. Miss Huang An is just exhausted after 10 days of non-stop qinggong. But now is not the time to talk about this. Quick to the training grounds. The white-haired old man beside them asked, what? The training grounds? What for? Xiaolong reached into his shirt, pulled out the large bee, showed it to everyone and said, it's the queen of the golden-haired bee kings. The other bees will be here soon. We have to get to the ancient tree at the training grounds right now. The white-haired man laughed loudly. Ha ha ha! This kid really has potential. He's bound to do great things in the future. Xiaolong's father-in-law was stunned and asked, what didn't you say you were going to get, honey? And you ended up capturing the queen bee and bringing her back. The white-haired old man patted Xiaolong's shoulder. All right, let's go. With that, he used his qinggong and flew straight to the training grounds, gliding through the air. Xiaolong's mouth yelled, whoa, whoa. The old man asked, what's wrong? Xiaolong replied, old master, the bees are swarming in. The old man replied, huh, such a huge swarm. Did you bring all of them here? It's just ahead. Hurry up. Xiaolong let out a cry as he and the old master landed. The old man said, we're here. At that moment, Xiaolong holding the queen bee, ran straight to the ancient tree. He said to the queen bee, golden-haired bee king, the place I told you about. From now on, this is your home. After placing the bee inside the tree, Xiaolong carefully asked again, is this okay? The queen bee buzzed, bee, bee. It looked around and flapped its wings happily. Bee, bee. Xiaolong finally let out a sigh of relief. Looks like it's to your liking, huh? The old master called out to Xiaolong. Xiaolong, hurry and get out of there. The swarm is coming. Xiaolong replied, yes, old master. At that moment, the sky was completely filled with the approaching swarm. The queen bee in the nest buzzed, bee, 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 bee. The swarm rushed into the hole in the ancient tree's trunk. The old master said, honestly, in all my life, I've never witnessed a sight like this. Xiaolong replied to her. A notification appeared, golden-haired bee king successfully captured. Xiaolong thought to himself, perfect. I exhausted the golden-haired bee kings by making them chase a bit of sugar water, then letting them drink it to recover. They say that sharing a meal can nurture feelings and cultivate kindness. Luckily, we have something similar to sugar here. How fortunate. Like this. This should lower their guard a bit. It'd be even better if they recognize me as their master. Just then, Tiolong remembered something. That's right. His father-in-law asked, what's wrong? Tiolong said, what? What about Miss Huang An? His father-in-law broke into a sweat. You're just now remembering her. I already had her taken to my wife's quarters. Let her rest. And about Mokli, where you brought that swarm of bees from, did you use your lightness skill to get all the way here? Tiolong replied, yes, father-in-law. I only slept for about 4 hours each day. The rest of the time was spent running. His father-in-law responded, is that so? The old man beside them chuckled, but then he suddenly remembered something and asked Tiolong, and the Bloody Venom Squad? Where are they? Tiolong answered, they're probably collapsed somewhere on the road. We'll likely have to go pick them up. The old man chuckled. Later, the Bloody Venom Squad was brought back to the family. In Huang An's room, she and Tiolong were talking. Yes, Huang An said, it looks like the golden-haired bee kings have recovered their strength. That's a relief, Tiolong. Tiolong replied, yes, Miss Huang An. They're currently gathering nectar from the poisonous flowers in the Tang clan's mountains. Huang An said cheerfully, oh my, they look so adorable. Suddenly a voice called her from outside, Sir Tiolong, Sir Tiolong. Tiolong asked, what's the matter? The person outside replied, you need to come outside for a moment. The golden-haired bee kings are acting very strange. They look like they're searching for something. When Tiolong stepped outside, he looked up at the sky filled with bees. Are you serious? Seeing Tiolong, the swarm of bees flapped their wings wildly, buzzing happily. Bzzz, before landing all over him. He panicked. Hey, what are you guys doing? Huang An beside him grew worried. Tiolong, are you all right? The bees started tugging at Tiolong's clothes with their mouths, which made him realize something. You guys, why are you all acting like this? In just a moment, the swarm of bees had grabbed onto Tiolong and carried him away into the air. Huang An called after him, Tiolong, When they reached their destination, the bees dropped Tiolong, who landed with a thud. He suddenly noticed something was wrong. Your hive. What happened? A bee buzzed bzzz and pushed Tiolong inside. He replied, all right, I get it. You want me to go in? He looked up to observe. The hive is already pretty complete. They're also working hard gathering nectar. But then he saw the queen bee. It buzzed bzzz and moved closer to Tiolong. He asked it, you want me to lift you up? The queen bee replied, bzzz. The bees kept clinging tightly to Tiolong, making him think, these guys are holding on so tight I can't even move. Go on, Shu. Suddenly the queen bee, with sparkling eyes, stared right into Tiolong's. He panicked. Whoa, hold on. But the queen bee was determined, lunging forward to press a kiss onto Tiolong's lips. Tiolong quickly realized the problem. That thing is flowing into me. The queen bee kissed him for a moment before letting go. But Tiolong felt that there was something strange about his breath. He pointed at the queen bee and said, you queen bee, that was my first time. What in the world are you doing? But he suddenly felt something, Then he collapsed to the ground with a painful scream. Ah! In the midst of his transformation, he looked at the queen bee. All he could see were its glowing eyes staring right at him with a cunning expression. After receiving his first ever kiss from the queen bee, Tiolong felt a strange discomfort and an intense itchiness. He thought to himself, it's spreading all over my body. It was a suffocating heat. Tiolong's face flushed red, and the powerful beating of his heart made his eyes roll back in his head. Tiolong struggled to get up and asked the queen, what did you make me eat? The queen just buzzed innocently. Bzzz. After that, there were voices calling out, Tiolong, Tiolong. Grandpa, something's wrong with Tiolong. This boy looks like he swallowed some kind of powerful spirit medicine. It's too strong, Grandpa replied. Tiolong, wake up. I'll help guide your chi. Brother Tiolong, are you awake now? Huangan asked with concern. Waking up, Tiolong realized he was in the Tang clan's medical hall. When we saw you get dragged away by the golden-haired bee king's grandpa, and I hurried after you. But by the time we arrived, you were already unconscious, so we brought you here. Do you remember what happened? She asked. Tiolong just buried his face in his hands, devastated. My first kiss. Brother Tiolong, are you all right? Is there anything unusual with your body? Should I call Grandpa to come here? The young lady asked, still worried. The queen bee fed me its food. I think that's why this happened. What did you eat? She asked. I don't know its exact name, but if I had to give it one, maybe I'd call it royal bee jelly. Royal bee jelly. That's right. Men gather honey and pollen to live off them. But only the worker bees, the ones who toil their entire lives, actually eat the honey and pollen, Xiaolong said. So what about the queen bee? From birth until death, it only eats the royal jelly that the worker bees produce. So the royal jelly that the queen bee forced me to eat is the royal jelly, Xiaolong stated firmly. So that's how it is. The queen bee's food for its entire life. But the royal jelly has a special effect. What kind of effect? Huangan wondered. Normally a worker bee only lives for a little over a month. But the queen bee, by eating royal jelly, can live 60 times longer. How about that? Isn't that extraordinary? Xiaolong's face was incredibly excited as he spoke like a new father. Brother Xiaolong, calm down. But then the question was answered. The internal energy technique that Xiaolong practices is the 5 venoms origin technique. Although it's only a basic level, so he can't absorb all the energy from spiritual medicine. But the honey of the golden-haired bee queen is equivalent to 2 months of internal energy training, right? Xiaolong achieved exactly 60 times the effect. Brother, you've gained 15 years of internal energy. Congratulations, brother, on this fortunate encounter. 15 years of internal energy. Xiaolong was a bit surprised. And what's more, take a look in the silver mirror. It seems the royal jelly has other effects too. Huangan continued. Other effects? The silver mirror. But ever since he lost his first kiss, Xiaolong felt something was strange. Does royal jelly really have this kind of effect? Where did that country bumpkin from Hainan go? My features have become more refined. My skin is softer too, just like a woman's skin. As he said this, he pointed to his own cheek, looking very cute. The royal jelly that the queen bee eats. As he thought this, he imagined the incredibly cute little queen bee and thought he would turn into her. Startled, he frantically looked down at his family jewels and breathed a sigh of relief. Phew, it's still where it's supposed to be. That was almost life-threatening, but I was saved. Maybe I should go and thank them. Xiaolong walked through the neighborhood and felt people's gazes on him. Unfamiliar gazes. Could it be because my internal energy has increased? But I have to get out of here first. In the dining hall of the Sichuan Tang. Out to the Sichuan house. Xiaolong gently opened the door and peeked out. On the table were many delicious dishes. Oh, my son-in-law, your face looks much brighter. Is your body feeling better? His mother-in-law asked. Yes, mother-in-law. I'm sorry for making you worry. It's all right. You should be happy about such a fortunate encounter. His mother-in-law said happily, Oh my, look at this skin. Huangan will surely love it. As she spoke, she invited Xiaolong to sit at the table. Yes, after his mother-in-law, his father-in-law asked, Xiaolong, is your body feeling better? Yes, father-in-law. I'm sorry for making you worry. Thank you, grandfather. I heard you examine my body. Is that so? A fortunate encounter is worth celebrating. Now tell us what happened. I heard about the royal jelly from Huangan. What exactly happened? His father-in-law asked Xiaolong. Xiaolong hesitated. Well, it's probably because she was pleased with her new hive. The golden-haired bee queen was trying to repay my kindness. That's why I was pulled into the hive and fed royal jelly. I think everything that happened stemmed from this. Oh, an intermediate-level creature knows how to repay a kindness. How strange, everyone said with surprise. By the way, is it possible to find more of that royal jelly? If we could find it, it would be very useful for our Tang, the grandfather said to the father-in-law. The father-in-law replied, just the honey of the golden-haired bee queen alone was already quite useful. If it's royal jelly, it would surely be an immense help. Son-in-law, is it possible for you to find more royal jelly? Suddenly the mother-in-law spoke up, making the atmosphere tense. Huang An spoke up. Ah, that's right. Xiaolong, can you find it again? Xiaolong thought, if they were just ordinary bees, you would need to use many special queen cells, which people call royal cells, and exploit the worker bees to collect the royal jelly. But trying that with the intelligent golden-haired bee queen, young Master Xiaolong, isn't this a completely different matter? I'd definitely be turned into a human honeycomb instantly. Royal jelly is supposed to be food for larvae created by worker bees, but I was fed directly by the queen herself. After thinking it over, Xiaolong said, it's probably impossible. Impossible? Why is that, son? Why is it impossible? His mother-in-law asked. Even if you could get it, would anyone dare to eat it? It seems it has to be transferred directly by the queen bee. It's a method similar to kissing. Mouth-to-mouth contact, then it seems finding more is impossible. Unless it's Xiaolong who's favored by the golden-haired bee queen, it would be impossible for anyone else. Mouth-to-mouth contact. The young lady sitting right next to Xiaolong erupted in fury, asking, mouth-to-mouth contact with the golden-haired bee queen. In the dead of the quiet night, a sinewy hand rests on the railing. It belongs to the martial arts alliance leader, Quan Huang Chu Zhongshui. Alliance leader, I have brought your tea, a voice called out. It was a beautiful girl presenting tea to the alliance leader. I have prepared Sichuan white dew tea. Ah, the tea from my homeland? The alliance leader replied. Yes, this is the famous tea of Sichuan's southern mist. Thank you. I will savor this tea completely. With that, the alliance leader lifted the teacup. As he was about to drink, a voice called out, Zhongshui alliance leader, it is I, your strategist, Zhuge Hao. What brings you here so late at night? Come in, the alliance leader ordered. My apologies for disturbing your rest, alliance leader. But I've just received an urgent report from the Tang clan of Sichuan, and I felt it best to report to you immediately. It's fine. If you've come in such a hurry, it must be important. Speak. It's about the blood hand Jia Yunyang. The Tang clan has obtained his head, along with the secret manual for the bloody hand poison palm. The alliance leader slammed his hand on the table and exclaimed, What? The bloody hand poison palm, that terrifying martial art. How? And where did they recover it? Previously, Jia Yunyang was struck by the palm of the myriad poison's divine lord, and his whereabouts became unknown. He later drifted to Hainan and lived there in seclusion. Furthermore, there's a very interesting story. That great villain Jia Yunyang was taken down by a young hero and a poison user. What did you say? A young hero and a poison user, the alliance leader said, stunned. It sounds like a fascinating tale, doesn't it? It's a story I believe you will find very interesting, alliance leader. The strategist chuckled as he spoke. Meanwhile, at the Tang clan of Sichuan, the atmosphere was tense. That's right, clan leader. It turns out someone dared to sell information from our Tang sect to outsiders. How audacious to think someone would tarnish the honor of the Tang sect like this. They dared to damage the family's reputation, so even the elders of the clan are furious. I have asked the gang to verify the information about them, the father-in-law said calmly. We should have news soon. I plan to go to Yongchuan Prefecture myself. So how do you plan to handle this? He asked suspiciously. First, I'll use the soul-annihilating poison, the blood-melting poison, and the gut-rending poison. As their blood boils and their organs melt, they will be plunged into a pain so intense, it will feel as if their soul is being torn from their body. I will finish them off with the 7 treasures soul-severing poison. As he spoke, the father-in-law's face twisted into a sinister expression. Xiaolong was shocked. Is that a cocktail therapy? Good heavens, it sounds like a drink. He understood. Summon the poison annihilation squad immediately. I will depart at once. The father-in-law affirmed his words resolutely. Before leaving, he turned back and spoke affectionately to Xiaolong. Son-in-law, I'll be on my way now. You should rest and take good care of your health. I understand. Father-in-law, please be careful, Xiaolong said. Be careful. What do I have to be careful about? They are the ones who should be wary, the father-in-law replied decisively. Let's go. We will bring down upon them 100-fold retribution, 100-fold punishment. The father-in-law declared before all the poison annihilation soldiers. At that moment, Xiaolong turned and asked Hua Yin, are those people the poison annihilation squad? I've been here for a while. But this is the first time I've seen them. They're completely masked and look so sinister. The young lady replied, they specialize in handling vicious tasks, mainly dealing with and eliminating others. That's why they're called the Poison Annihilation Squad. Suddenly a cough was heard from behind the couple. Greetings, elders of the Tang clan. Yes, I heard you had a fortuitous encounter. Yes, Elder, Xiaolong replied. We've come to you because there is a favor we wish to ask, the Elder said. What is it, Elder? Xiaolong seemed slightly panicked. Is it about the honey of the golden-haired bee king? No, it's not about that. Surely you don't think we would be greedy for such a thing? Ah, yes, that's right. The spiritual medicines and treasures of this world all have their destined owners, do they not? Then what is it you need? Xiaolong asked, still puzzled. The Elder then whispered in Xiaolong's ear. Isn't it about the Jitan pill? I heard that it was something our son-in-law created, so the right to decide what to do with it belongs to you. Haha, I'm still trying to adapt to the Tang clan, and many things are still difficult. If the elders could offer a little support, then offering it up would not be impossible at all. Ah, that's right, our son-in-law is so sensible. From now on, we will support you with all our might. You can live in this clan with peace of mind. Everyone laughed and chatted with unusual cheerfulness in front of Huayin. From behind, the Grandmaster asked, What is everyone discussing so happily? We're just chatting to strengthen our bond with our son-in-law. Of course, elders. Ha 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 ha. It seems you all have finally realized Xiaolong's true worth. Of course, Grandmaster. Huayin looked speechless. From a distance, a frantic voice cried out, Grandmaster, there's big trouble. The Lord of Sichuan is on the brink of death. What did he not follow the instructions for its use? Everyone asked. About that? After the Lord of Sichuan saw the medicine's effects, he took on a new concubine and used a dose many times larger than instructed. Good heavens, I must get there at once. Or else he'll die from overexertion, the Grandmaster said. It's true what they say, even heroes cannot overcome the allure of beauty. Before leaving, the Grandmaster instructed Xiaolong, You are the only man left in the house. Protect the womenfolk, do you understand? Yes, Grandfather, Xiaolong replied politely. With that, his grandfather spread his arms and ran off. So cheerful and full of life, everyone thought there was nothing to worry about. As dusk fell on the path through the flowers, Huang'an asked Tiolong, So how is learning the 10 poisons twin origin technique going this time? Compared to the beginning, it's not so confusing anymore. If the 5 poisons unified origin technique felt like one large stream of energy circulating through my body, then the 10 poisons twin origin technique is like 2 streams. They work together like a 2-cylinder engine. Now, I'm sure I've developed a certain level of resistance to common poisons. What's more, I can even release my energy directly or channel it into objects. Seeing Huang'an's surprised expression, Tiolong said, For real? All right, let me give it a try. A perfect shot of our hero's side profile as he focuses his inner energy, a blue aura radiating around him. He shifts his inner energy from left to right, causing the 2 streams of energy to rotate in opposite directions. Once this energy fills his entire body, it's time to unleash it. Tiolong decisively hurls his weapon at the target, piercing it and embedding it right in front of the squad of guerrilla soldiers. Tiolong, that was amazing. You channeled your energy into the throwing dagger perfectly. The guerrilla soldiers from our sect whispered to each other in fear. Have we been discovered? Do we need to eliminate them?
No, it looks like it was just a coincidence.
Even though it's just a copy, we've obtained the Bloody Hand Poison Palm manual, he said, holding up the manual. Our mission is complete. We need to get out of here quickly and return to the sect before trouble starts. These idiots are so careless with security at this martial arts school. Thanks to them, we got out of here with ease. Suddenly, a sweet fragrance wafted down from above the soldiers. It was the golden-haired bee king. You're not getting away, boys. In the dead of night, the air was silent until it was suddenly shattered by piercing screams. Ah! Startling everyone, including the 2 people talking nearby. The frantic screams seemed to signal that something terrible was happening. Tiolong, who was talking with Lady Huang'an, jumped and yelled, What was that? Lady Huang'an, her face etched with worry, also stared in alarm toward the sound and said, It seems someone else was here. In the darkness of the deep forest, a group of masked strangers suddenly appeared. As if they were up to some evil deed that no one could know about, they ran in this direction. He screamed and shook his head constantly. Why are there bees? They're the intruders? Xiaolong and Lady Huang'an were stunned. Lady Huang'an shouted at him, Xiaolong, shoot your arrows. With that, she ran quickly towards the intruders. He panicked and shouted, Lady Huang'an. The intruders knew their identities had been exposed. They quickly said, Retreat. But one of them raised his hand, trying to catch the bee that was buzzing around his head. It kept him from escaping. You damn thing, help me get this off, he yelled to his comrades. Huang'an had caught up to them, shouting, Stop right there. With surprising courage, Huang'an swung her whip fiercely at them. But unexpectedly, they managed to dodge her attack. They dodged my whip, she exclaimed in confusion. In the chaos, the man being attacked by the bee suddenly swung his sword and lunged at her. Hey, die. Lady Huang'an, be careful, he shouted, filled with worry. Huang'an reacted instantly. She raised her whip to block the incoming sword and then lashed it hard across the intruder's face. He was thrown into the air and landed on the ground with a loud thud. Xiaolong rushed over and asked, Lady Huang'an, are you all right? Huang'an nodded, retracting her whip. I'm fine. But he was startled when he saw the man Huang'an had just taken down. His body was emitting thick black smoke. Who is this guy? Is he dead? He bit down on poison to kill himself. It seems he had something to hide. But just then, from the crowd, people realized they were intruders and began to shout, Intruders, get them. Huang An pondered and said to him, "We will immediately organize a pursuit team and start the chase. Xiaolong, come with me." And Zhuban, the captain of the blood toxin squad. Everyone had started chasing the intruders deep in the forest. They couldn't have gone far. "We must catch them at all costs," said the captain of the blood toxin squad. He also muttered to himself, "Let's go, my twin-cylinder engine." But suddenly he stepped on something, and half his body fell miserably into a pit. "Sir Xiaolong?" A squad member rushed over to ask, "Are you okay?" "Thanks, I thought I was a goner." Xiaolong replied, feeling as if he'd just escaped the Grim Reaper's scythe. Suddenly he turned around and was shocked. Behind him was a snake pit. Xiaolong was terrified, the captain said. "It seems to be a snake pit. Snakes often gather in places with strong yin energy, especially this season. They are unusually aggressive. Be careful," the captain advised him and the squad members. He turned to look at the snake pit as if pondering something, this is strange. Tiger-striped water snakes aren't usually this aggressive. He turned and said to the squad, "We've been delayed because of me. Looks like it's about to rain. Let's go quickly." "Yes, warrior Xiaolong," they replied in unison, and so they hurried off towards the intruders. By now they were closing in on them. "Get them over there?" The captain shouted, pointing towards the intruders not far away. The intruders were starting to feel scared. They were surrounded. In front of them was a cliff. And behind them was the Tang clan's army. "You have nowhere to run." A squad member said, his eyes filled with determination. Both sides were in a tense standoff, ready to fight at any moment. "Attack," the captain ordered, and the two sides began to clash. The sound of weapons colliding rang out with a series of clangs. One of the intruders roared in anger, "Tch, you bunch of ants." And so he kicked a nearby Tang clan member, causing that person to fall over. "Be careful," someone said, wary of the tense situation. In that same moment, the captain executed a technique called 3 illusory kills. Suddenly, 3 blades shot towards the intruder and 1 pierced his shoulder. "You lucky bastard. Consider yourself lucky that the rain washed the poison off my dart," the captain said, then quickly approached him. "Damn it." The intruder clutched his bleeding wound, groaning and screaming, "Damn it." Just then in the sky, and a golden light appeared along with a disgusting laugh. "Ha ha ha, you pathetic worms so many of you have gathered." A strange voice rang out, making everyone feel uneasy. The captain was alarmed. "Who's there?" At that moment, someone descended from the sky. Through the hazy dust, the figure of a man in a robe with long white hair could be seen. The captain seemed to feel the pressure of the newcomer and shouted, "He's a master retreat now." The man presumed to be a master was now laughing hoarsely. He said to the masked man behind him, "Did you get it?" The other man replied, "Yes, sir. It's not the original, but a copy recorded by the Tang clan." At that moment, Xiaolong immediately recognized the object. Once, while talking with his grandfather had said that only evil people would look at it. "It's the copy of that evil book grandfather was reading last time," he shouted. "Warrior Zhuban, that's the Bloodhand Toxin Palm Manual." The captain was also startled. "That's the copy. This manual, how he killed, it's filled with rage. What kind of wicked bastard would desire something so insidious? Quickly now reveal the identity of the master who is flipping through this copy. Tisk, tisk. Just as I suspected. Since it's a copy, it has the techniques but lacks the core principles. Still, this will be more than enough. It may be a bit rushed, but there's no better way to announce our return." He suddenly snapped the manual shut and said to the men behind him, "Huyet Vin, I permit you to use the techniques of our sect. Leave no one alive." That man said grimly, "As you command." He then walked over to the corpse of a fallen comrade. A red light carrying a sinister energy appeared from his hand. At that moment, everyone began to panic. "That technique, what is that? Is he absorbing his blood?" "Ha ha ha." That master laughed menacingly and said, "Yes, you guessed correctly. I am none other than the elder of the blood sect, Huyet Ung Tuan Chao, Ku Tran Ak." After speaking, he turned to look at Tiolong with a terrifying gaze. You look quite promising. Very good. It's been far too long. "Yeah, since I've tasted the blood of someone with your essence. Ha 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 ha." Then, the blood elder ordered Huyet Vin, his voice cold and full of confidence. "Huyet Vin, capture him. Nothing aids recovery better than the lifeblood of a youth." Huyet Vin, ever ready to obey, replied, "As you command." Then the two of them rushed towards his position, determined to capture him for his lifeblood, something they believed would bring them strength and recovery at this very moment. The captain desperately shouted with all his might, "Quickly form the 5 Venoms, fire, annihilating formation. Don't let him get to Lord Tiolong." The captain's voice echoed through the silence of the deep forest. It was a command that could not be refused. The blood elder laughed smugly, leaping into the air. "Ha ha, just try and stop me." The blood elder flew forward, unleashing his technique, and sending the men flying, creating a chaotic scene that made the air more tense than ever. Someone in the group yelled, "Lord Tiolong, get away!" Suddenly his head was grabbed. He was pinned by Huyet Ven, who said in a cold voice, "Time to take a little rest." "It seems the elder wants your lifeblood." Tiolong's face had turned pale from the lack of air. He struggled to say, "My children." The words escaped his lips like a plea for help, as if he were calling for aid from the creatures that he cherished. Suddenly, 3 centipedes appeared, biting into Huyet Vin's arms and neck. He seized the opportunity to break free from the man's hold. Like a bird escaping a net, a chirping sound rang out like a victory song. In the midst of the chaos, before the man could even process what was happening, he was struck down by a sword. A fiery force surged forward, sending Huyet Vin's corpse flying, far away, creating a shockwave. Captain Tiolong reinforcements have arrived, and that person was none other than Lady Huangan. Seeing the scene before her, Huangan froze, unable to believe her eyes. The 5 venoms, fire annihilating formation. What is going on here? Seeing Huangan appear, the captain said, Lady Huangan, an elder from the blood sect, is attacking. Startled, Huangan realized the gravity of the situation. The blood sect, everyone support Vice Captain Chin Bai. As you command, my lady, Lady Huangan said with a determined voice. Charge, turn the 5 venoms, fire, annihilating formation, into the 9. Venoms, fire, annihilating formation. With that, they all advanced and set up the formation around him. The man known as the Blood Elder, however, remained perfectly calm, stroking his beard as if nothing could trouble him. He said, so it seems that little Brad is the one who took down the blood-handed poison vulture Trak Van Duong. The blood-handed poison vulture was nothing but an empty title in the end. To think he'd be bitten to death by a centipede. Someone from the group shouted at the Blood Elder, Shut your mouth, you'll be buried in this place, just the same. He chuckled hoarsely. Ha ha ha. Is that so? Let's just see about that. He laughed maniacally, as if about to lose his mind. At that moment, the man's hair stood on end as a sinister aura erupted around him, as if he were preparing for an unavoidable battle. On the side, he was treating an injured team member, saying, Just hang in there a little longer. He thought to himself, this situation is extremely unfavorable. Our forces are losing more and more strength while that blood-sec bastard only needs to absorb blood to recover. As he was lost in thought, yet Lady Huangan was suddenly thrown through the air, slamming into a tree next to him. He screamed in horror, Lady Huangan, are you all right? Huangan coughed up a mouthful of fresh blood. Her eyes were filled with pain and worry, but she still tried to reassure him, I'm all right. Suddenly, Huangan grabbed his hand, her eyes filled with anxiety. Tiolong, go back to the clan and bring reinforcements. Right now, we're not strong enough to deal with them. He thought to himself, damn it, I'm completely useless in this fight. He felt a wave of helplessness wash over him like a great tide, sweeping away all hope. Just then, someone in the group cried out, Lord Tiolong, please do it for the clan. Please help us. Watching his men fight so tenaciously against the Blood Elder, he made up his mind. I will return as quickly as possible. However, my lightning skill is still lacking. I don't know if I can make it. At that moment, Huangan embraced him tightly and said, You'll be all right. You can do it. You've been training so hard all this time after all. And next time, let's go look for medicinal poisons together again, okay? With that, Huangan released him, her eyes full of hope. Tiolong, it's all up to you now. Then she quickly ran off, leaving him standing in the midst of the battle storm. But at that moment, the sky was still drizzling, each drop of rain falling like one of nature's tears. Tiolong was running for his life, his mind in turmoil. Suddenly, he tripped and fell to the ground. Chitter, chitter, chitter. The centipedes swarmed around him as if to protect him. At that moment, he seemed to have figured something out. It's strange. Even if he used all his power for his lightness skill, it would still take half a day. The clan's masters have almost all left. Even if I called for reinforcements, they couldn't arrive in time. They must have sent me away to save me. Why? He asked in a panic. Because I'm the youngest, because I'm weak, so I have to be protected. Is this the chivalry of the martial arts world? Suddenly, Tiolong remembered his grandfather's words. From now on, you are my family. He had never seriously thought about the word family before. He still thought he wasn't truly a member of the Sichuan Tang clan. But when he thought about the relationships around him, the people who had treated him so well, they all saw him as family, except for him. He let out a soft laugh. An assassination clan. How could it be so warm? He dusted himself off and stood up, saying with determination, Let's go save your mother. He wanted to save those people. He had to think of a way fast. Blood dries, blood recovers. That's it. The poisonous creatures nearby. Poisonous creatures, poisonous plants. He remembered the snake den. He ran straight to the snake den and placed the 3 little centipedes on the ground. He said to them, Wait here a moment, okay? It'll be all right. With that said, he ran with great speed and leaped straight down into the snake den. With a heroic voice, he declared, A righteous hero of the martial world must solve things my way. In his heart, a flame of hope and strength began to burn. He would never give up. He would never turn back. He would do everything to protect his family, to protect the ones he loved. Right now in the forest at the snake den, Tiolong had found this species of snake, the Zalieu Huet Mok, the snake that people often call the flower snake. It is a terrifyingly venomous species of snake. True to their name, these snakes are green with many alternating patterns arranged around their bodies. They look very beautiful. Tiolong was standing in the center of the snake den, and now thousands of snakes were beginning to swarm and crawl onto his body. Tiolong knew a little about the history of this snake. Unlike other venomous snakes that have hook-shaped fangs in the front of their mouths, this species has small fangs in their molar region, making it harder for them to inject venom. Tiolong was gritting his teeth and said, To the Zalieu Huet Mok snakes, that's right, bite down hard. In terms of venom potency, this is the most venomous land snake in East Asia. If it's even more venomous than a black mamba, then nothing more needs to be said. Many Zhalyo Huyatmok were swarming his wrists and legs. They were trying their best to bite Tiolong. He thought to himself, the Tang clan's internal energy cultivation technique helps me endure poisons. It should be fine. It should be fine. But suddenly from above the snake den came the anxious cries of the centipedes. Suru, suru, suru. The 3 centipedes had woken up. They were scared and were heading straight for the snake den. Tiolong quickly said, "It's okay, I'm coming out now. Calm down, my little ones." At this moment, Tiolong looked closely at his hands. They were now covered in many bite marks from the Zhalyo Huyatmok snakes. Tiolong thought to himself, this should be enough. It's time to slowly get out of here. But suddenly from the air, 3 small objects were approaching Tiolong. This wasn't part of the plan, Tiolong thought. My little ones? Before Tiolong could finish his sentence, Sururu, the centipedes, were now on Tiolong's shoulders and head crying out angrily at the Zhalyo Huyatmok. A tense atmosphere formed between the Zhalyo Huyatmok and the centipedes. The Zhalyo Huyatmok were not to be outdone, hissing back at the centipedes. Hiss. One of the centipedes on Tiolong's head was furious. It cried Sururu, then suddenly dashed forward. It lunged straight at a Zhalyo Huyatmok and bit down on the neck of the nearest one. The attacked snake shrieked and thrashed wildly. The centipede finished biting one and turned to bite another. Tiolong, terrified, shouted, Bibin ah. Sururu, the centipede, stopped its attack and answered Tiolong. Thank you, Bin, Tiolong said to the centipede named Bin. Then he turned to the other centipedes and asked, You were worried about your father too, right? Sururu, the centipedes, replied. Tiolong understood and said, Yeah, thank you. You're good kids. Let's go see Mom. Meanwhile, in the forest, Lady Huanggan was panting as she fought against the Blood Elder. She thought, if this goes on, everyone will die. At that moment, on the Blood Elder's side, an evil aura surrounded him. The Tang clan members were surrounding the Blood Elder, but he didn't seem to pay them any mind. Suddenly, the Blood Elder grabbed and twisted the head of a Tang clan member. The atmosphere was extremely tense between the two sides. Corpses were scattered everywhere on the ground, covered in blood and bodies. The Blood Elder laughed. Hoo, he said arrogantly. Too easy. As easy as turning my hand. Is there no one left who can withstand a single palm strike from me? Huanggan was furious. She was holding her whip ready to fight at any moment. She thought to herself, Tiolong must have escaped safely by now. Huanggan turned and shouted to everyone. Everyone keep him at a distance as much as possible. I'll hold him off. Send a signal to the warriors nearby. The Tang clan members replied in unison, Yes, my lady. But at that moment, the captain stepped in front of Huanggan and said, Huanggan, you retreat too, just like Tiolong. She asked in shock, What? I can't do that. How could a direct descendant of the Tang family abandon their kin who are fighting and flee alone if we can't even save our own people? How could we possibly face our master again? The captain shouted, Go now. Huanggan refused to leave, shouting, Enough with the useless talk. The Tang family will never abandon its own. The Blood Elder, now very annoyed, quickly said, Stop. My prey just keeps running like this. Isn't it making me lose interest? He chuckled and continued. But then again, this is more fun. At this point, if I'm still not satisfied, leveling the Tang sect to the ground sounds amusing. To signal the return of the Blood Cult, a terrifying greeting like this is necessary right now. The Blood Elder was imagining the scene of the Blood Cult raising the Tang sect, and the Tang sect being wiped out. The captain gritted his teeth. Damn it, he has no intention of sparing any of us. Then Huanggan, standing beside her whip, said, If that's the case, even if we all die here, Tiki, we must take at least one of his arms. All the members of the Tang sect, standing beside Lady Huanggan, replied firmly, Yes, milady. The air was thick with tension. A conflict could break out between the two sides at any moment. Just then, a voice suddenly echoed from the forest, just as Lady Huanggan of the Tang family said. The Tang family will never abandon its kin and flee. Everyone was stunned. That person was none other than Tiolong, who had left earlier. Huanggan was terrified. Tiolong, why did you come back? Tiolong said calmly, I told you the Tang family never abandons its own. Tiolong said this while stroking Guchong. Suddenly, Tiolong ripped off the shirt he was wearing and shouted, I'm also a member of the Tang family. In his hands, Tiolong was holding weapons and suddenly rushed towards the Blood. Elder. The Blood Elder was very excited, sneering, I spared your life, yet you deliver yourself right back to me. You fool. Huanggan screamed, Tiolong no. But Tiolong was still determined to fight the Blood Elder to the bitter end. Tiolong had now leaped into the air, raising the 2 small blades in his hands and aiming straight for the Blood Elder. Huanggan screamed in fear, Tiolong. Meanwhile, his 2 swords were knocked away by the Blood Elder and Tiolong was now being held by him. The Blood Elder was gripping Tiolong's neck tightly and lifting him into the air. The Blood Elder said, Oh, offering up your own essence, blood, I like that even more. Let me have a taste. With that, the Blood Elder reached his hand towards Tiolong's chest. Tiolong immediately raised his hand to block. The Blood Elder said, You reacted fast enough to block with your hand in that instant. What a fool. But don't you know that blood flows through the arm as well, he said. His hand clamped down, piercing his own hand into Tiolong's. Blood began to flow more and more. The Blood Elder's hand was now soaked in fresh blood. Ah! Tiolong screamed in agony. Huang An shouted worriedly, Tiolong, save young Master Tiolong. The members of the Tang sect also yelled out, Ha! 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 The Blood Elder's inhuman laughter echoed. Huang An, the captain, and everyone from the Tang sect suddenly rushed towards the Blood Elder to save Tiolong. So sweet, so exquisite. Ha ha ha. How long has it been since I've tasted the essence blood of a youth like this? The Blood Elder was extremely satisfied. But before the captain and Lady Huang An could get close, the Blood Elder stomped his foot hard on the ground and began to unleash a technique called Blood Scale Wave. Everyone was thrown far away. Huang An managed to catch Tiolong. She hugged him tightly and they both rolled on the ground. She asked urgently, Tiolong! Tiolong coughed up a mouthful of blood. The Blood Elder sneered, He he he. I was getting annoyed by that pest who kept throwing hidden weapons like a fly. But thanks to this kid, I've taken care of it all at once. I'll send you on your way without any pain. Huang An quickly shook Tiolong. No. Tiolong, wake up. Tiolong woke up, cough. But surprisingly, something was happening to the Blood Elder. He was foaming at the mouth, a sign of being poisoned. The Blood Elder panted heavily. You. What did you do? This is a poison attack? The Blood Elder was terrified, sweat starting to bead on his forehead. His body began to tremble uncontrollably. This can't be. How could my internal energy technique be affected by a poison attack? This is impossible. The Blood Elder clutched his face and screamed. His eyes had started to turn bloodshot and he was salivating more and more. Who in the world are you to be able to do this? Over here? Tiolong had started to sit up. You ask who I am. I am your natural enemy, Tiolong said, and pointed his hand straight at the Blood Elder. The battle was not over yet, and the two sides were still in a standoff. The Blood Elder was trembling. What did you say? He said. Huang An and Tiolong were sitting to one side, observing the Blood Elder. Huang An was supporting Tiolong's shoulder. The Blood Elder continued speaking of a natural enemy. Huang An turned to look at Tiolong in surprise. Meanwhile, the Blood Elder's face had gone pale, sweat starting to bead on his forehead. He raised his hand and said, What have I been hit with? Ever since I used that brat's blood energy to circulate through my meridians, my own blood no longer obeys my will. The blood cult's dominion over the world was right within my grasp. The Blood Elder trembled as he moved, saying, I can't fall here. He had gone mad. As he spoke, he began to advance, his eyes bloodshot, his mouth wide open as he screamed, Die! Meanwhile, Huang An tightened her grip on her whip and grunted. Huang An lashed out with her long whip, and it immediately and precisely wrapped around the Blood Elder's neck. He let out a choked sound. Huang An was stunned. She thought, did the attack succeed? Her whip was wrapped tightly around the Blood Elder's neck. She continued to think, how could a monstrous demon like him fail to dodge that? The Blood Elder's eyes were bloodshot. He glared furiously at Huang An and Tiolong and said, You little brats! Even devouring you whole wouldn't be satisfying. What did you do to my blood meridians? I'll kill every last one of you. With that, the Blood Elder struggled up, tightening his grip on the whip and advancing. Bovatasi! Towards Huang An and Tiolong. As he ran, he screamed, The blood cult will rule the world again. On the other side, Huang An yelled, Shut up and die. She pulled the whip with all her might. The Blood Elder only had time to say blood. Blood splattered everywhere. The whip, pulled with full force, severed the Blood Elder's head. His head fell to the ground next to Jubai, who had been watching from the side. He was completely stunned. Jubai exclaimed joyfully, I won. The young miss has beheaded the Blood Cult's elder. Everyone from the Tang clan jumped up and cheered. The Blood Elder's body lay motionless on the ground. Huang An, still in shock, asked, Tiolong, what just happened? That monstrous Blood Cult elder. Tiolong replied, Huang An. Still in disbelief, Huang An asked, Who was it? Just then, Tiolong's face began to turn pale, sweat poured down, and he started foaming at the mouth, a sign of poisoning. Tiolong said, Looks like I need to treat the poison from the tiger keelback snake bite. Huang An asked anxiously, The tiger keelback snake? But isn't the tiger keelback snake non-venomous? By now, Tiolong's face was completely ashen. His eyes glazed over. Terrified, Huang An screamed, Quick, bring the antidote. Tiolong has been poisoned by a tiger keelback snake. Artovai. People started murmuring, Hu Tiolong. Meanwhile, in a room, Tiolong suddenly woke up. He found himself lying face down, still drooling. Tiolong asked in confusion. Opposite him, Grandpa said, You can't move just yet, Tiolong. Huang An, standing to the side, also said, Tiolong, don't move. Tiolong asked, Whoa, what's going on? Tiolong lay on his stomach on the bed while Grandpa was treating his wounds. Huang An watched from the side and said, You're lucky to be awake. Grandpa added, You've been unconscious for 10 days. Tiolong started to get scared. He yelled, 10 days. Huang An then described how the people of the Tang clan had rushed him back for treatment. Huang An said, Thanks to you, we were able to defeat the enemy. After that, everyone hurried to bring you back to the clan. You were severely poisoned. If Grandpa hadn't returned in time, you would have been a goner. Remembering his hand being bitten by the snake, Tiolong thought to himself, oh man, bitten by a snake twice. I almost died. Just then Grandpa finished treating Tiolong. He said, all right, now that you're conscious, you should be fine. Tiolong started to sit up and thank Grandpa. Thank you so much. Grandpa suddenly held him and asked, but wait a minute, the tiger keelback snake is venomous. And how did you two manage to take down the Blood Elder? As he asked, Grandpa shook Tiolong's shoulders forcefully. Hoang-an, standing nearby, looked frightened. Tiolong coughed, ahem, ahem. I'll explain right now. First, the tiger keelback snake is indeed venomous. In fact, it has 2 types of venom. Tiolong explained, rubbing his head. He continued, one type is inside its mouth. The other comes from venom glands on the back of its neck. This snake can also raise its head and flatten its neck just like a cobra. Hoang-an asked, 2 types. Grandpa also asked, I never knew that. Tiolong, sitting on the bed, replied, they're naturally very timid and run away from people. Their fangs are also very small. In fact, it wasn't until 1980 that people even knew this snake was venomous. Grandpa wondered, so the disruption of the Blood Elder's internal energy is related to this. What? But the blood cult is clearly immune to poison attacks. Tiolong answered, this is just a theory, but it was probably due to the tiger keelback's venom. The main component of this snake's venom is hemotoxin, a blood poison. This is a hemorrhagic venom. Hemorrhagic venom destroys the membranes of red blood cells, along with the walls of blood vessels, tissue cells, and many other structures in the body. It can destroy many internal organs. So what happens if you make the blood cult vampires who manipulate blood ingest a hemorrhagic venom? As he spoke, Xiaolong pictured the Blood Elder and continued, this idea really worked. Perhaps that's why the source blood of their martial arts was affected. And that led to this situation. Oh, Grandfather mused. Xiaolong continued, it's just that people don't know that the tiger-coiled serpent is a venomous species. Its venom is 5 times stronger than a 6-step snake's, if it's also affected by a hidden weapon, making the venom even more potent. At that moment, Grandfather turned and said, I never expected that around the Sichuan region, there would be such a terrifyingly venomous snake. Huayin also stood up. That's amazing, Xiaolong, you've achieved a great victory. Grandfather said thoughtfully. Now that I think about it, I heard from Huayin that the blood cult elder called you their natural enemy, didn't he? Xiaolong started to feel a bit awkward. That sounds a bit arrogant, doesn't it? Did I really say something like that? As Xiaolong hugged his blanket and thought Grandfather's laughter rang out. Ha ha ha. That's right, Xiaolong thought. If I can completely seal their martial arts, then I really am their natural enemy. Meanwhile, Grandfather said, Xiaolong, thank you for protecting our clan. They dared to move against our clan while I was away. Grandfather clenched his fist and continued, this time I will definitely uproot them completely. Xiaolong agreed with his grandfather's sentiment. That's right, Grandfather. We must wipe them out. Now that we know their weakness, all that's left is to collect a large amount of the tiger-coiled serpent's venom. Those damned pests. As Xiaolong thought, he seethed with anger and added, we have to wipe out even their very souls to do what's right. Outside, people were bustling about. Ever since the blood cult appeared, the Tang clan has been on high alert. Many of the Tang clan's martial artists have been injured, and some have even lost their lives. The scene shows someone putting a letter in a pigeon's holder, a carrier pigeon, and so the righteous sects of the martial arts world are flocking to the Tang clan to help. Even so, facing top-tier masters, our losses have been minimal. It was Grandfather who had just sent the letter. Grandfather continued, to think that the martial world will once again be plunged into a sea of blood because of the blood cult. My heart grows heavy. Those damn pests. They don't just capture innocent people to drain their vital essence. A memory flashes back. 35 years ago, they caused a great massacre and became the common enemy of the martial arts world. This time, the situation is even more serious. As he spoke, Grandfather patted Xiaolong's shoulder and added, but this time things will be different. Because the Tang clan of Sichuan is the natural enemy destined by the heavens. Grandfather was beaming with pride while a blushing Xiaolong thought, Grandfather, are you doing this on purpose? Grandfather smiled and continued, Xiaolong, I have a request. Can you help me? Xiaolong replied, yes, Grandfather. If it's something I can do, I'll give it my all. Grandfather said gravely, the people from the Martial Arts Alliance will be here soon. There will be soldiers from the Alliance with them. I want you to show them the poison you discovered. Now that we've found the blood cult's weakness, I want to share it with everyone. At this, Xiaolong was taken aback and said, I understand. If it's for the greater good, of course, we must do it. Grandfather laughed. Ha ha, I knew you'd say that. And then Grandfather added, by the way, Xiaolong, I have some news that will make you happy. Xiaolong was startled and asked, what is it? Grandfather answered, the renovation of the Hall of 10,000 Poisons is complete. From now on, Xiaolong, you will officially manage the Hall of 10,000 Poisons. Xiaolong asked excitedly, is that really true? The day has finally come. He had always dreamed of living among animals. Grandfather continued, just as you said, I've also prepared a special hall for raising animals. To raise the tiger-coiled serpent, you must first have a suitable place, Grandfather said with a smile. At this, Xiaolong became incredibly excited. Oh, thank you so much, Grandfather said. Think of it as doing this for the martial arts world. And do your best, Xiaolong replied immediately. I understand, Grandfather. Xiaolong clenched his fists. This was truly earth-shattering news. Elsewhere, Xiaolong and Huayin were walking together. In front of them was the poison garden. The poison garden, Huayin said. Xiaolong crossed his arms and said, this place was created to collect all the poisonous creatures in the Central Plains. Huayin replied, I see. So you plan to collect all the poisonous creatures? Xiaolong looked up and answered, of course. Later on, I also want to collect the 10 great poisons of the Central Plains because I made a promise to Lady Huayin. At this, Huayin's face turned beet red. She turned away and said, I'll be cheering for you. Xiaolong stood beside her, puzzled. Then Huayin ran off, calling back, look, there are a lot of people gathered over there. Let's go see. Xiaolong was suddenly stunned and called out, huh, Lady Huayin. Just then, a man in black was standing before the two of them. Oh, you've arrived. Standing at a distance, Xiaolong asked, huh, the former vice chief. The speaker is the former vice chief, Nine Bai. Nine Bai said, yes, great master, Nine Bai of the venomous creature hall is present by Sul. Xiaolong wondered, a venomous creature squad. Nine Bai replied, yes, this is a new squad established by the family head under your orders. From now on, they will be your assistants, young master, helping with both finding and raising venomous creatures. Please leave it to us, your subordinates. Xiaolong thought to himself, even a dedicated staff for venomous creatures. The family is really investing a lot in me. Just imagining it got Xiaolong excited. This is a huge step towards realizing my dream. Meanwhile, in another scene, a carrier pigeon reached its destination. A woman took the letter and read it. Amitabha Buddha, the blood cult has resurfaced. Just when the Central Plains were at peace, another bloody storm is about to rise. In another scene, a group of people was passing a lake. An old man said, strategists, we're almost there. We can finally rest at the Tang residence today. A young voice rang out, finally we can stop sleeping under the stars, what a relief. The speaker was a young man. He thought, I have to bring back some good news at the very least. If only I could find even the slightest trace of the blood cult. Just then, the old man walking ahead said, I can finally see the Tang residence. On the other side, a guard hurriedly asked, might you be guests from the Martial Arts Alliance? That's right, I am Yahello, the strategist of the Martial Arts Alliance, the young man replied. The guard bowed and said, thank you for coming all this way. Please wait a moment, there's something else. When you enter the Tang residence, there are a few things you must be careful about. Both the old man and Zhuge Hao were startled. Zhuge Hao asked, things to be careful about. The old man also asked, has the Tang family established a sword cleansing pond? Note, a sword cleansing pond is a body of water at a sect's entrance where visitors must leave their weapons to show respect. The guard scratched his head and said, this might surprise you, but please listen to me. No matter how small a living creature is, you must absolutely not take its life. As they were inside the Tang residence, an image of the Buddha flashed through Zhuge Hao's mind. He said, don't tell me the entire Tang family has converted to Buddhism. The guard explained that you'll understand once you go inside. You must remember this. Zhuge Hao started to fan himself. Huh? He asked doubtfully. Just then a voice called out, you've arrived, strategist? Zhuge Hu said, oh, Xiaolong and Huaiyun arrived and began to greet Zhuge Hao. Greetings, strategist of the Alliance Master. It's an honor to meet you. Zhuge Hu returned the greeting. He said, Lady Huaiyun, it's been a long time. Huaiyun replied, yes, it's been a full year since we last met at the Martial Arts Alliance. Zhuge Hao replied, is that so? Then, where is the elder, the divine lord of Mandang? Huaiyun bowed her head. Grandfather has left to search for traces of the blood cult. Please forgive our inadequate reception. Zhuge Hao laughed and said, not at all. Assessing the state of the martial world is a necessary task. There's no need for such formalities. And who is this young warrior beside you? Xiaolong looked up and replied, it's my first time meeting you, Lord Strategist. I am Wei Xiaolong. As he spoke, Xiaolong bowed to the strategist. At that moment, Zhuge Hao was surprised. Wei not Tang, Huaiyun beside him hesitated. Well, this person is my beloved. As soon as she finished speaking, both of them, Zhuge Hao and the old man, were startled and asked, her beloved? The two men following Zhuge Hao were also shocked. What one of the three flowers of the martial world has a lover? Another man clutched his head and continued, wow, this can't be happening. Where did this little punk crawl out from? Damn it, the world is so unfair. Ahem. Please lead the way. Zhuge Hao intervened thinking, if I don't step in, they're going to demand a duel with him. Suddenly, Zhuge Hao and the old man noticed something and spoke. Do you all hear that sound? Two men shouted, up there, isn't that a golden-haired hornet king? With that, they all looked in the same direction. There were three strange objects flying towards them. Why is there such a dangerous, venomous creature in the Tang residence? Be careful, some of you stay and protect Lady Huaiyun, they said. Two men drew their swords ready to fight. Oh, that person is... Everyone lower your swords. Xiaolong said, it must be because of the new rule in the Tang residence, Abe. Before Xiaolong could finish, one of the men brushed his hand away, interrupting, young warrior, get out of the way. The golden-haired hornet king is an extremely dangerous creature. An ordinary person could easily lose their life to them. At that moment, Xiaolong was squeezing between the two men. Xiaolong said, so it's a golden-haired hornet king. Finally, Xiaolong broke free from the two men and shouted, The golden-haired hornet king is a venomous creature I'm raising. Everyone calm down. Everyone there, except for Hua Yun and Xiaolong, were horrified. Why you're raising it? Just then, the golden-haired hornet king flew over and hugged Xiaolong's face. Bzzz, buzzed the golden-haired hornet king. Xiaolong said, "Oh, so you guys came looking for me? Then again, I have been missing for a while." Huang An on the side chuckled to herself. There were now 3 more golden-haired bee kings on Xiaolong. Xiaolong instructed them. "You guys better not sting the guests you hear." At this moment, all the visiting guests seemed to become frightened. He was treating golden-haired bee kings like they were children. The fiery atmosphere among the young martial artists immediately deflated. Right now, they were in the valley and starting to move. Zhuge Hao thought, this character. I can't believe he's the one Tang Ganyi loves. Even though he's an outsider, I guess he's considered a son-in-law of the Tang family. Zhuge Hao seemed to have noticed something. Huh? What's this now? There was an argument happening on the opposite side. A poisonous creature like this. Hey. Wouldn't it be a better fit for the Tang family? One person said. What are you talking about? Look how brilliantly it shines. The other person argued back. Zhuge Hao placed a hand on Xiaolong's shoulder and asked, Young hero, Xiaolong, why are those martial artists gathered around that creature? Xiaolong replied, they're the ones affected by the poisonous creature companion punishment. Zhuge Hao was shocked. Poisonous creature companion punishment. Did they do something wrong? Xiaolong thought for a moment. Wrong? Yes, it was a mistake. This happened a few days ago. Xiaolong began to recount the story. At that moment, in the dark of night, Huang An was teaching Xiaolong how to channel his energy. Huang An said, There, feel the internal energy pushing outwards. Is it like this? As he spoke, Xiaolong thrashed around on the ground. Huang An quickly explained, Xiaolong, that's not it. Suddenly, someone appeared saying, Great hero Xiaolong. Both of them were puzzled. Xiaolong asked, Ninth Master, what's the matter? The Ninth Master bowed his head in apology. I am truly sorry, great hero Xiaolong. This time, more than half of the fish we caught to feed the coiling tiger traveling snake have, Xiaolong asked, they died. It's hard to avoid. These 2 fish are naturally very sensitive. If there's a loud noise, the mothers might kill their own young. Xiaolong crossed his arms and said, No, the martial artists used them as bar snacks. They ate them as bar snacks. After the Ninth Master explained, Xiaolong was completely stunned, as if struck by lightning. Xiaolong said, What? No way. You're saying they ate the fish as bar snacks. Why would they eat them? Huang An, observing from the side, said, 3 squeaks is a dish where they dip live baby fish in sauce and eat them. Xiaolong was completely dumbfounded. The Ninth Master bowed his head and said honestly, My apologies, great hero Xiaolong. A few people from Henan in the poisonous creature pavilion said they were homesick and just ate them. That's what happened. The young 2 fish that I caught to feed the coiling tiger, traveling snake, were eaten clean by these guys. I can't let this stand. Creatures that need to be raised must be cherished. And so a new rule appeared in the Sichuan Tang family, the poisonous creature companion punishment. That's why the martial artists in the Tang family now each have to take care of one type of poisonous creature, Xiaolong explained to Zhuge Hao. I see. So that's why everyone has their own poisonous creature, Zhuge Hao said. Then Zhuge Hao looked at Xiaolong and thought to himself, he's clearly no ordinary person. At that moment in a room, 3 people were sitting and talking. So that's how it is, just as I predicted. The mysterious young hero that the Tang family had met on Hainan Island is indeed young hero Wei Xiaolong, Zhuge Hao said with a laugh. What do you think, isn't he a treasure of the Tang family? Grandpa spoke up, then continued, Just calling him mysterious isn't enough. The golden-haired bee kings truly surprised me. Xiaolong on the side thought, This is embarrassing, but I still have a worry. We still haven't found a single clue about the blood cult, have we? Zhuge Hao asked. Then Zhuge Hao continued, We can't just stand by and watch the blood cult's power grow stronger. At this moment, Grandpa said, Xiaolong, take that thing out. Yes, Grandpa, Xiaolong replied. Zhuge Hao was now bewildered. Grandpa raised his hand and said, We can't let any sound escape. I will cast a sound barrier. As he spoke, a barrier appeared enveloping the 3 of them. Zhuge Hao was shocked, thinking, a sound barrier too? Over here. Xiaolong placed a tightly sealed jar on the table. Xiaolong said, This is it. Zhuge Hao picked it up to examine it and asked, What on earth is this thing that you even need to put up a sound barrier for? A poison powder, Grandpa answered. If it's just a poison powder, there's no need to go so far as to cast a barrier. Zhuge Hao thought to himself. Both Xiaolong and Grandpa smiled together. But what if this type of poison powder only works on people from the blood cult? Grandpa replied. At this, Zhuge Hao was truly terrified. He shot up from his seat. Is that true? Grandpa calmly replied, Haha, yes. Is it so hard to believe? Zhuge Hao continued, If that's true, so this is a truly shocking discovery. The blood sect is still acting normally. Just how potent is this poison? The Grandmaster continued. According to Huang An, it weakens the victim's body to the level of an ordinary person. Huang An took down a blood sect elder with it. Poisoned in just one move. Zhuge Hao was stunned. Just one move. The Grandmaster confirmed it truly has the exact same effect as a poison attack. Zhuge Hao imagined Huang An defeating the Blood Elder and said joyfully, "Thank you, Divine Lord of a myriad poisons. Senior Divine Lord, truly, I never expected such a gift." With this, the Alliance leader can finally have some peace of mind. Zhuge Hao bowed to the Grandmaster. The Grandmaster replied, "Haha, if you want to thank someone, it shouldn't be me, but this kid here. Because it was Xiaolong who discovered it. This boy intentionally poisoned his own body and then lured a blood sect elder into drinking his blood. As a result, that old man hovered between life and death for 10 days. Zhuge Hao's eyes widened. What? Not only is he cunning, but he's also brave enough to sacrifice his own body. Just then, Zhuge Hao suddenly placed a hand on Xiaolong's shoulder. Xiaolong asked, "Huh?" Then Zhuge Hao continued, "Young hero, with whatever you desire, I will grant it. If there's anything you wish for, I will report it to the Alliance leader." Xiaolong hesitated. "In that case, I was wondering if I could receive information on poison arts." As Xiaolong stammered his request, the strategist's eyes widened. "What did you say? Information on poisons, not secret manuals, elixirs, or treasures." Off to the side, the Grandmaster started to chuckle. Zhuge Hao thought to himself, "You truly are a strange one. In the long history of the martial world, I doubt an eccentric like this has ever appeared before." Zhuge Hao said to Xiaolong, "In that case, while it may not be the kind of poison you're looking for, are you interested in the mystical stone gecko?" Zhuge Hao's group then traveled to a waterfall. Water cascaded down the falls. Sunbeams pierced the stream, casting brilliant reflections. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves. Suddenly, a young man who was standing there and turned to face Zhuge Hao's group and said, "Uncle, it looks like everyone has arrived." It was Tianer, Zhuge Hao's nephew. His face lit up as he looked at him and reported, "According to the ancestors' map, both the waterfall and the turtle stone statue have appeared. In the distance, the peak of Gongjia Mountain is also visible. This place was known as Gongjia Mountain of Sichuan." Zhuge Hao slowly reached out and touched the water. Feeling it, he said softly, "As expected, the water is from 10,000-year-old snow. It's freezing." Then he turned to instruct his subordinates. "Everyone wait here. Tianer, follow me closely." The subordinates complied with his order. "Yes, Lord Zhuge Hao." Tianer also replied excitedly, "Yes, sir." And with that, the two of them quickly channeled their energy, kicked off the ground, and leapt up. Using their swift movement techniques, they zipped across the raging waterfall and began to ascend to the top. Suddenly, Zhuge Hao stopped on a ledge, one hand gripping the cliff face above as he observed carefully. Zhuge Hao said to Tianer, "Past the turtlestone statue and up along the waterfall's cliff face. You'll find a cave entrance next to a fist-shaped boulder." Tianer also turned to look, then confirmed, "It matches the records perfectly." Zhuge Hao glanced at his nephew, a small smile playing on his lips as he nodded, confirming they were on the right path. Then Zhuge Hao gave the order, "I'll go in first. You follow behind me." Tianer replied, "Understood, uncle." Above the path was a treacherous steep cliff, and the roar of the waterfall only added to the sense of danger. Zhuge Hao and Tianer quickly stepped onto the trail. As they walked, carefully observing their surroundings, Zhuge Hao suddenly looked up and saw something inside. His face filled with surprise, and he let out a soft, "Oh." Before them lay a large, silent boulder. A magical golden light emanated from behind it. Tianer spoke up, "I never imagined there'd be such a magnificent sight inside this cave." "How mystical," Zhuge Hao said, delighted. "This is indeed a perfect place for a spirit herb to grow." His eyes suddenly lit up with joy, as if he had discovered something priceless. "It's here." Before them was a small plant about 15 centimeters tall. At its tip was a red raspberry-like fruit, radiating a vibrant life force that you could feel just by looking at it. "This must be a rare species," Zhuge Hao called out the plant's name. "The 100-year snow ginseng, a spirit herb that absorbs extreme yin energy." Seeing it, Tianer also exclaimed, "Now, all we have to do is trade this snow ginseng for the Namgung clan's black Heshowu." Zhuge Hao replied calmly, "That's right, with this, the Namgung clan's young ladies' blocked meridians can surely be healed. In return, we'll obtain a black Heshowu that's over 200 years old." He then closed his eyes and made his decision. Well then, he reached out to pluck the 100-year snow ginseng from the ground, but suddenly recoiled with a shout. "Ah!" A blast of energy erupted from the nearby rock, pushing him away from the ginseng. He thought anxiously, something just shot out from that crevice. With that thought, he swung the fan in his hand, like blocking the force rushing toward him. It seemed quite powerful, forcing him to take a small step back as he struggled to defend. Clang. Then he dodged to the side. The force grazed past him and shot behind them. Tianer asked worriedly, "Uncle, are you all right?" Then the force began to dart all around them. It moved with incredible speed, prompting him to call out a warning. "I'm fine." "Be careful, that thing is incredibly fast." Then the force reversed course and shot back to attack him. Seeing this, he quickly moved to block the attack. He put his whole body into blocking it and was pushed back a short distance. He looked in shock at the fan he'd used to block the attack. Its tip was now covered in a thin layer of ice. He wondered, is this cold energy? Tianer quickly approached and asked, "Uncle, what in the world is that thing?" Jia Kat Hao stood there silently, not yet having recovered from what had just happened. Then he gave an answer confirming the origin of that thing. Tak Tik Tinyi, surprised, stammered, Huh. Jia Kat Hao continued, That's Tak Tik, a blue Tak Tik. So the source of the power that had just attacked them both was a Tak Tik, and an unusual blue one at that. Back with Tiolong and the old clan head, after hearing Jia Kat Hao's story, Tiolong exclaimed, A blue Tak Tik, and thought to himself, naturally blue, this is a rare species. The old clan head casually spoke up, Blue Tak Tik aren't poisonous, so is there a problem? Tiolong's eyes lit up with desire, drooling greedily as he replied, Ha ha ha, no problem at all. He was thrilled, smiling mischievously. A poisonous Tak Tik in my eyes. The old clan head didn't know what Tiolong wanted, but he laughed along and replied, I don't understand what you're saying, but let's go with that. Jia Kat Hao just sat there. Watching Tiolong's expression, he thought to himself, what an eccentric. Then he added, if I get any more information about other poisonous creatures, I'll let you know first. Hearing this, Tiolong's eyes widened with joy as he quickly thanked him. Wow, thank you, elder brother. Seeing this, the old clan head could only sit and laugh at his attitude. The next day, the father-in-law returned. Tang Shan rushed over, calling out, son-in-law. The old clan head Jia Kat Hao, Hua Yin, and Tiolong were all sitting properly at the tea table chatting. Seeing Tang Shan run over and call his name, Tiolong quickly replied, Father-in-law? Hua Yin also chimed in a father. He paid no attention to anyone else, just rushing over to twist and inspect Tiolong's body, asking, Your body, are you okay? Tiolong could only let him inspect his body and replied, Yes, I'm fine, father-in-law. Tiolong stood up smiling cheerfully to show he was healthy and said, I woke up after 10 days. My arm has a scar, but at least I'm still alive. Hearing this, Tang Shan's face filled with anger as he growled, What, those bastards from the blood cult? Only then did he remember his precious little daughter. Then with that same expression, he turned to ask Hua Yin, Hua Yin, are you okay? The girl was startled and quickly said, Father, please calm down. She gently explained to her father, I'm fine too. Tiolong saved me and the whole family. The old clan head sitting there also spoke up. That's right, Tiolong performed a great service. He didn't forget to recount with a tone of praise. When he defeated that elder, what did he say again? The natural enemy of your kind is me. That sounded a bit off, so Hua Yin corrected him. I am your natural enemy. Tiolong's face showed a hint of pride as he said, It was just my plan that luckily succeeded. Ha ha ha, so much for that. And we even discovered the blood cult's weakness. At this moment, Jia Kat Hao finally spoke up. Chietson, I'm here too. Hearing that, he turned to greet him. Oh, you've been well, I hope. The two shook hands in greeting, and Tang Shan added, Ever since you were promoted to county magistrate, you've contacted me a lot less. I guess it takes something like this to happen. For me to get to see you. Jia Kat Hao replied shyly. Oh, is that so? My apologies. Seeing Tiolong's bewildered face, not understanding what was going on, Hua Yin explained, the two of them have been best friends since childhood. Ah, so that's it. Tiolong began to understand their relationship and thought, that's crazy. Jia Kat Hao quickly said, Brother, it's been a long time. Sit down and let's talk. Anyway, please have a seat. We have a lot to discuss regarding the blood cult. Tang Shan smiled in agreement. Haha, of course. Yes. Then he turned and said to Tiolong and Hua Yin, You two sit down as well. I need to hear everything in more detail. Tiolong replied, Yes, father-in-law. Tang Shan spoke up first, asking, So what's the situation with the spy? Tiolong asked, uncertainly, A spy? Then he mulled the word over in his head. A spy? You mean a mole, like an inside man? The Tang clan head stroked his beard, preparing to continue with his question. He asked everyone, The people from the blood cult infiltrated with the purpose of stealing the Bloody Hand Poison Claw secret manual. Right, Tiolong replied, Yes, they seem to value it greatly. His eyes suddenly turned serious as he continued, All right, if that's the case, then how could they have known that the Bloody Hand Poison Claw was in the Sichuan Tang clan? Tiolong's face suddenly darkened, startled and afraid upon hearing this question. Then he stood up and said, This is serious. Could it be that someone in the family or one of our martial artists sold the information to the blood cult? The expressions on Tang Shan and Jia Kat Hao's faces were dazed with a hint of helplessness when Tiolong voiced that suspicion. Jia Kat Hao burst out laughing, putting an arm around the Tang clan head's shoulder and said, Looks like you need to educate your son-in-law a bit. He's still a new member, so he's quite naive, isn't he? Hearing this, Tiolong was also confused, thinking, Am I the one who's wrong? Hua Yin quickly explained the situation to Tiolong. Tiolong, there absolutely cannot be a spy in the Tang clan. He asked in surprise, Really, why? Tang Shan recounted, Even when choosing a single servant, we investigate their entire family and direct ancestors. If we find no issues, we take in their entire family and relatives into the Tang clan. He continued, When their entire wife, children, and family are within the Tang clan, how could anyone dare to be a spy? Hearing this, Tiolong was stunned and impressed. Wow, they control them to that extent. His expression shifted from having a slight clue to having no idea at all, and he asked everyone, Then who is the real spy? The teacup on the table was also broken in two, with shards lying all around. The tea slowly spilled from the cup, held by a girl whose neck was being squeezed so tightly by a man with muscular arms that she couldn't breathe. She could only desperately grab his wrist in a weak attempt to resist, her face trembling in fear. Saliva streamed from the sides of her mouth as she clenched her teeth. The man choking her had a ferocious face with thick eyebrows and eyes gleaming with intense killing intent. Zhuge Hao calmly revealed the spy's identity, a servant of the Martial Arts Alliance. He was the one choking the girl. In the Martial Arts Alliance, only 3 people knew about this, and now the Alliance leader has caught him. Meanwhile, as things were coming to an end, an uninvited guest appeared at the Sichuan Tang clan. A gatekeeper, his face drenched in sweat, trembled. Looking at the person before him, that person spoke, "So we've arrived." Running all the way from Hebei to the Tang clan without using lightness skill. That's quite interesting. He thumped his chest, preparing to speak to the gatekeeper. He said, "Go and announce to the Tang clan head that the head of the Pang clan, Pang Wuhua, has arrived." At the imperial palace, an arrow shot high into the sky. Below, 2 people were speeding along to the astonishment of the servants. By a lake, someone was engrossed in a book. "Lady Huayin, will it be all right for us to sneak out like this?" The blonde-haired person asked. The girl in red replied, "Yes, since everyone is discussing important matters." "Yes, Xiaolong, you're also the son-in-law of the Sichuan Tang clan. You should be more confident." The young man replied happily, Yes, it's probably just a guest from another sect." The guard thought, "There's no need to be afraid." Behind him, Xiaolong pushed the door open, about to step inside, where a group of large men were turning to look at something. Another man looked surprised. Ha 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 ha. "Who is this? Isn't it Lady Huayin?" The 3 large men said, laughing as the girl in red raised her hands in greeting. "Tang Huayin of the Sichuan Tang clan pays her respects to the clan head of the Hebei Pang clan. It's been a long time. The last time I saw you, you were only this small. Now you've grown so much I can barely recognize you," the man said with a laugh. Lady Huayin also replied cheerfully, "It's been 5 years already. Time really flies." Then the man looked at the young man and asked, "And who are you?" The young man, flustered and sweating, remained silent. With sweat still pouring down his face, he raised his hands in greeting. "Wei Xiaolong, son-in-law of the Sichuan Tang clan." The man was surprised, raising a hand to his chin. "Oh, is that so, the son-in-law?" The man stepped closer and pinched the young man's cheek. Lady Huayin covered her mouth and giggled. "He's my husband." Once again, the man was surprised. Xiaolong smiled, sweat still dripping endlessly. The man fell silent, observing him. Her husband." The man kept his hand on his chin as if in thought. "What is it? Let me see." The man suddenly reached down and grabbed Xiaolong's crotch. Both the young man and the girl gasped in shock. Hey, haha. At first I thought you were a child, but you're definitely a man down there." The man laughed, putting his hand on the young man's head. He blushed, his eyes wide in silence. The girl covered her face with her hands. "Xiaolong," Lady Huayin called out. "Ha, in a few more years, he'll be magnificent," the man said. Another man laughed and said, "The people of the Hebei Pang clan don't care for formalities. The Pang clan head just wanted to size up Xiaolong in his own way." "Is the clan head really that amazing?" someone asked. "That's right," the man replied, his hand still on Xiaolong's shoulder. Another person sat deep in thought. "So that's his type?" As expected, it takes a real man to recognize another real man. "Thank you for your praise, clan head Pang," Xiaolong said with a smile, clasping his hands in a salute. The man let out a hearty laugh. "Ha ha 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 ha. Completely different from those pampered pretty boys from other famous clans, that's right. I am Pang Wuhuan, head of the Pang clan. I look forward to your guidance," the man said, while slapping Xiaolong hard on the back. Xiaolong winced and replied, "Ugh. I look forward to your guidance." Huayin, standing to the side, looked over worriedly. "Lord Pang Wuhuan." The man turned in surprise. "What is it, Lady Huayin? Did you really travel all the way from Hebei to get here?" "Just to help our clan?" Lady Huayin asked. So fast help with what other man asked back. "Did something happen to the Tang clan?" "Then why did you come here?" "What's going on?" the man asked, grabbing Xiaolong's hair. Xiaolong winced and replied, yes. Lady Huayin felt confused. When the blood cult appeared, a voice called out from inside. "They've already been eliminated," clan head Pang Zhuge Hao said. The Pang clan head replied, "Disc, I should have come a little sooner." Lady Huayin smiled at the Pang clan head. "Clan head Pang, what brings you here?" Tang Zishan asked. The Pang clan head seemed to suddenly realize, I forgot to say. The blood cult made me so mad I nearly lost my mind. Actually, I came here to ask the Tang clan for help. Everyone was very surprised. Old Master Tang spoke up, "Help?" The Pang clan head scratched his head and sighed. "Bring him in here to greet the elders." The Pang clan head called out loudly to the surprise of the Tang young master. The door creaked open, and a large, fierce-looking man stepped inside to the surprise of many. "Greet the elders," Huayin gasped. "I'm not a child anymore." Xiaolong, standing beside her, looked at Lady Huayin in surprise. "Please, just get down," the large man said as everyone watched curiously. "Young miss, you must greet the elders of the Sichuan Tang clan." "Young miss, I'm scared," the young lady said, hiding behind the man. Xiaolong's mouth and eyes were wide open in astonishment. Both Huangan and Xiaolong were stunned by the sight before them, a small, beautiful young lady eating candy. "Ah!" The little girl let out a small cry when she saw the head of the Bang family. Everyone in the room turned to look at her. "Greetings!" The girl clasped her hands in a formal bow. "Bang An of the Bang family pays her respects." The head of the Bang family picked the little girl up and said cheerfully, "This is my daughter." Huanggan was shocked. Huh. Xiaolong was just as surprised. A daughter? She's the spitting image of him. Huanggan covered her mouth, saying, "It's the miracle of bloodlines." Xiaolong's eyes and mouth were wide with amazement. The head of the Bang family let out a hearty laugh. "Ha ha ha. Because we look so much alike, everyone can tell. Anyway, this child is the reason I've come to the Tang family," the head of the Bang family said, stroking his daughter's head. "My daughter isn't well. I was hoping you could take a look at her if you would," the head of the Bang family said. The little girl just stood there innocently eating her pastry. "Where is your daughter unwell?" the head of the Tang family asked. Xiaolong, sitting beside them, couldn't help but be curious. Unwell. But Xiaolong seemed to be pondering something. Meanwhile, the young miss of the Bang family was holding a handful of pastries to eat. That evening in the bedroom, Huangban scurried all over Xiaolong. After hearing about and examining Bang An's symptoms, he still couldn't determine the cause. Xiaolong played with Huangban. The head of the Bang family's explanation was as follows. Occasionally, she gets short of breath and large red patches appear on her body. When it's severe, she even faints. An continued to eat her pastry, paying no mind to anyone. After some time, she wakes up, but we have absolutely no idea what the cause is. I've searched everywhere. I even took her to a disciple of the medicine saint, but they said she's perfectly healthy. It's driving me mad. One of them even said some bizarre things. I almost gave him a beating for it. The head of the Bang family recounted angrily. The head of the Tang family said, "Bizarre words." The head of the Bang family replied, he said these were symptoms of poisoning, that someone was poisoning her, but there's no one like that in the Bang family. Xiaolong asked in surprise. Poisoning. Huanggan was silent, as if in thought. "Indeed, if it really is poisoning, it's very likely the problem is internal," said Old Master Tang. The head of the Bang family shouted angrily, "I can assure you that the people of the Bang family are absolutely not the kind of people to do something like that." Meanwhile, Bang An was still sitting carefree, eating her pastry. Let's not speak of this anymore. I don't want to suspect my own family," the head of the Bang family said, putting a hand to his head. Young Master Tang continued, "That's right. Since nothing is certain, let's not jump to conclusions. Poisoning isn't always caused by an assailant. For now, I will have an empty courtyard house prepared for you. Please stay for a while so we can monitor the child's condition," said Old Master Tang. "First, I think we need to determine if it's poisoning or a strange illness." All the while, An never stopped eating her pastries. "Thank you, Master Tang," said the head of the Bang family. "We'll be in your care for the time being. No matter how I look at it, this seems like type 1 diabetes in children." Xiaolong thought to himself, another piece of candy appearing in his hand from who knows where. Does diabetes cause rashes? I wonder. Xiaolong sat upright, concentrating. If the symptoms were clearer, it would probably be easier to recognize. Suddenly there was a frantic knock on the door. "Sir, Xiaolong, something terrible has happened." A soldier's voice called from outside. Xiaolong opened his eyes. "Huh. What is it?" Xiaolong asked. The soldier replied, "It's... the young miss of the Bang family has fainted." "The young miss of the Bang family?" Xiaolong asked, surprised. "What happened tonight at the Tang estate?" Xiaolong rushed over and asked, "Xiaolong," Huanggan called out. "I heard she was sitting in the pavilion, coughed once, and then suddenly collapsed." The head of the Bang family and everyone else were extremely worried for Bang An. "If she fainted right here, then you can rest assured," said Old Master Tang, "that there is no traitor in the Bang family. Could it be?" The head of the Bang family raised his fist furious. Old Master Tang cried out in alarm, "Master Bang!" Suddenly, a fist slammed hard into the head of the Bang family's face, to everyone's shock. "Master Bang!" A tooth fell to the ground. Blood splattered everywhere. "I'm sorry," the head of the Bang family said, holding his cheek. "Even though I said those words just for momentarily suspecting my own family, I cannot forgive myself. If An collapsed here as well, then there must be another reason." The large man sobbed as he spoke, to Xiaolong's surprise. "Even though we were present, we still couldn't prevent the young miss from fainting. We have committed a great sin." The two men cried repeatedly, punching themselves in the face. Old Master Tang shouted in alarm, "Everyone, please calm down." Huanggan, flustered, placed a hand on Xiaolong's shoulder and said, "Xiaolong, do something." Xiaolong scratched his head and replied, "I don't know what to do." "Everyone, please calm down." "Everyone, please calm down," Xiaolong shouted, to Huanggan's surprise. The two men suddenly stopped a storm of emotions in their minds. "We just need to find the cause of the symptoms. Then we can prove with certainty that everyone is innocent," Xiaolong said. The head of the Bang family asked loudly, "What is this method?" The head of the Tang family, who had been silent until now, waited expectantly. Xiaolong knelt down beside Miss An and said something that left the entire group utterly shocked. "First, let's take off Miss Bang An's clothes," Xiaolong said. Both Huanggan and Old Master Tang were stunned beyond belief. Old Master Bang, his anger flaring, demanded, "What did you say? What words did you just utter?" The head of the Bang family's eyes widened as he asked. Old Master Tang was equally shocked, his mouth agape as if he wanted to say something. Xiaolong remained silent and still his eyes wide. It was as if he didn't understand the gravity of the situation. "I mean, take off all of Miss Bang An's clothes." Before he could finish his sentence, a fist like a thunderbolt crashed into his face. "What?" How dare you speak of taking off my beloved daughter's clothes? The head of the Bang family, enraged, landed another punch on Xiaolong's face. He cried out in pain. Wait! Hold on! Don't be so hasty! Huang Ban, defending its master, leaped out and bit the head of the Bang family's hand hard. Xiaolong quickly shouted, That's not it. Get inside. Master Bang, if my son-in-law said such a thing, he must have his reasons. Please, master, don't be so quick to anger, old Master Tang quickly spoke up. Miss Huayan also chimed in to de-escalate. That's right, Master Bang, please hear him out first. Master Bang still had a tight grip on Xiaolong's collar. Still seething, Master Bang continued to lift Xiaolong up by his collar. Huayan was both amused and worried for Xiaolong. Fine. You with your cunning eyes dare to tell my beloved daughter to change her clothes. When she's not even of legal age, I really want to hear what reasonable explanation you can offer for that. Master Bang said, angrily letting go of Xiaolong. He let out a sigh of relief. Phew. Ha ha. Master Bang, please calm down and listen to what he has to say. Master Bang sat down waiting. Humph. Xiaolong knelt before Master Bang. When I said strip off the young lady's clothes, I meant take them off and change her into a different set. Xiaolong said, is it possible that the clothes or items brought from the Bang family are the very reason the young lady collapsed? Master Bang exclaimed, so that's the reason. How could I, Bang Wuhuan, have dared to doubt the words of a young hero like you? Master Bang raised a fist to his own face. Xiaolong waved his hands frantically. Wait, it's all right, Master Bang. Xiaolong said, your dear daughter just collapsed, of course, you'd be distraught. Master Bang laughed and said, I never expected you to be so forgiving of another's mistakes. Thank you, haha. By the way, from now on, we of the Tang family will take care of Miss Bang. Therefore, for a while, I will forbid her from seeing anyone from the Bang family. Master Bang pointed to himself and said, what? Even me? Then the cause must not be from the people of the Bang family, Xiaolong said, but from something else. The method of elimination and the method of addition. This is the method used by those who raise poisonous insects. Snakes or amphibians? If only the creature being cared for could open its mouth and say, I'm hurting right here. Then we wouldn't have to struggle with guessing. Unfortunately, they can't converse with humans. Could you try mixing a little vitamin D into the food? The young man was surprised to hear the animal speak. That's why we have to change the environment or surrounding items like the food bowl, the food, the bedding in the enclosure, or the decorations to trace the source of the illness. Right now, the method I'm using for Miss Bang is the method of addition, that is completely changing her surroundings. Then we gradually reintroduce each element to determine what the real cause is. Miss Bang is still unconscious. We can't just let her keep collapsing without finding a solution. Indeed, doing it this way might take some time, old Master Tang said, but we will surely find the reason for her illness. Old Master Tang laughed and said, excellent son-in-law. Both Xiaolong and Hua-Un stood there smiling shyly. Master Bang said, all right, old master, please. Master Bang said while crying as he hugged his daughter, take good care of my child. You can trust me, Master Bang. Xiaolong said, I've raised countless creatures before, you know. So what's one child? It's a piece of cake. Sub. It's not a small deal at all, Miss Bang said, crying. Wah, wah, wah. Miss Bang's crying made Xiaolong very flustered. What? As soon as she woke up, Miss Bang burst into tears. Xiaolong was flustered and didn't know what to do while his big sister and mother-in-law had already left to prepare the necessary things for childcare. And so Xiaolong was left alone with a mischievous child with no idea what kind of trouble she would cause. Are you hungry, Sleepy? Xiaolong asked, but Miss Bang didn't answer, just sat there crying. What am I supposed to do? Wah, wah! It's gone. Hoo, wah, wah, Miss Bang said while crying. Xiaolong said, oh my goodness, young miss, are you crying because Master Bang isn't here? Master Bang has gone to find medicine for you. There. Stop crying, Xiaolong said. He'll be back soon. Miss Bang fell silent. It's not that. I don't have any candy, Miss Bang said. Xiaolong thought, so it's not her father but the candy. Now that you mention it, I heard that the young lady's clothes have many small secret pockets for hiding candy, right? My candy. It's all gone. Bang Ying Ying is all alone, Miss Bang said while crying. Now, Miss Bang, please calm down, Xiaolong said with a smile. You just fainted, and you've only just woken up. You can't eat candy right away. First, let's have some porridge. If you eat nicely, this big brother here will make some candy for you, okay? Miss Bang stopped crying and looked at Xiaolong asking, Sniff, you'll really make it for me. That's right. If you eat your porridge like a good girl and listen well, I'll make a really delicious candy skewer for you, Xiaolong said. Miss Bang asked happily, Really? Of course, but you have to promise me. The young lady said happily, Yes, I promise. People of the Bang family always keep their promises. If you don't keep your word, I'll punch you in the face. Xiaolong was flustered and said, What, you can't do that. What on earth do the Bang family people teach their children? Morning at the Tang residence. Oh, Ying Ying, father is here. Master Bang stood hidden behind a tree, his eyes welling up with tears. Lately, the head of the Bang family, Bang Wuhuan, has been full of worries. Master Bang cried and said, sob. Can I only watch Ying Ying from afar like this? In the courtyard, Lady Pang was playing happily with Lady Huayin. But because of the order forbidding the Pang family from approaching, he couldn't even see his own beloved daughter. Master Pang, what are you doing here? Xiaolong asked in surprise. Pang Wuhuan, as if caught red-handed, fell silent. You come here for a moment, the Pang master said. Before Xiaolong could recover from his surprise, he was dragged away. Yes, sir. How has little Ying Ying been lately? Master Pang asked. Lying on the ground, Xiaolong's eyes widened as he answered, yes, sir. The young lady is eating very well and is very obedient, sir. Xiaolong said, What? The girl is willing to eat? Master Pang asked in astonishment. Yes, sir. Yesterday, the young lady even ate a lot of pork. How did you people get her to eat? The young lady just started eating on her own, and with quite an appetite. Master Pang was extremely surprised and said, Impossible. Something even I couldn't do. How could you? The two of them suddenly looked in the same direction. Greetings, Master Pang. Lady Hua Yin bowed respectfully. Master Pang said cheerfully, Lady Hua Yin, thank you for taking care of my daughter. Xiaolong Lady Ying Ying is looking for you. She's asking where her big brother went, Hua Yin said. Xiaolong's eyes widened in surprise. Master Pang shouted in shock, What big? Brother, I've never even had a single conversation with her. Since when did you two become so close? Master Pang said angrily. Xiaolong was flustered. Speak up. Since when did you get to be called Big Brother, huh? Master Pang furiously attacked Xiaolong to Hua Yin's surprise. Xiaolong, however, had already run off and vanished. Well, then I'll be taking my leave. Xiaolong, are you going to the training grounds again today? Hua Yin asked cheerfully. Xiaolong replied, Yes, I have to play with the Golden Mane Bee King for a bit. Otherwise, Lady Ying Ying won't be obedient. Master Pang was completely stunned by what was happening. He clutched his head in confusion. And it seems the Golden Mane Bee King is also very fond of the young lady. Xiaolong continued. Xiaolong ran straight to Lady Pang. Ying Ying. Lady Pang, who was hugging the Golden Mane Bee King, suddenly turned around. Big brother. Lady Pang hugged the Golden Mane Bee King and said happily, Hurry up. The sky was clear and beautiful. Lady Pang played happily with the Golden Mane Bee King and Xiaolong. That tickles the Golden Mane Bee King and Lady Pang played together. They were having a great time, and Xiaolong standing nearby was just as happy. Lately, thanks to these little guys, Ying Ying and I have become close so quickly. These adorable Golden Mane Bee Kings seem to absolutely love Ying Ying. Maybe it's because she's always eating candy and dripping sugar water on herself. Xiaolong angrily carried the Golden Mane Bee King away. Lady Pang watched sadly as they left. Don't tell me they think she's food. In any case, Ying Ying realized the swarm of Golden Mane Bee Kings was very fond of her, so she insisted on visiting them every single day. Big brother, there's a queen bee over there, Lady Ying Ying said cheerfully. The Golden Mane Bee Kings are so cute. There's one that seems like it can talk. Yes, we get to have fun, and it helps her be obedient. It really kills two birds with one stone. The queen bee is very busy. We can't bother her to play with us, Xiaolong said. Ying Ying happily held the Golden Mane Bee King and replied, Okay. If I had a little sister, I bet she'd be just like this, Xiaolong thought to himself. I've gotten used to taking care of kids. Big brother, there are bees over here too. Anyang called out cheerfully. Xiaolong asked in surprise, Bees? And other bees might sting you. You have to be careful. An cried out, Ouch! Xiaolong alarmed, said she's been stung. And little sister, are you okay? Xiaolong rushed over to Miss An. Miss Bang, he asked. Miss Bang stood there crying, holding her arm. Sob, you should have been more careful. Xiaolong said, First, we need to go to the clinic. An held up her stung arm and said, It's nothing, but let's put some medicine on it just in case. Bee venom can sometimes cause intense pain, you know. Xiaolong took An's hand and spoke. Miss Bang obediently replied, Yes. Xiaolong seemed to notice something. Miss An was showing strange symptoms. An clutched her chest with both hands and called out, Big brother. Miss An collapsed. Xiaolong rushed to catch her. Miss An, hey An. Her breathing became rapid. Large red patches appeared on her skin. In severe cases, one can lose consciousness. Everyone was worried about An. Xiaolong suddenly remembered. That's right. I know this reaction well. The reason An has been fainting all this time. Xiaolong looked at An with a tense expression. Anaphylactic shock. Anaphylaxis. Anaphylaxis is a type of allergic reaction. It occurs due to an overreaction of the immune system. Xiaolong was analyzing anaphylactic shock. Normally, when harmful foreign substances enter the body carries out the task of fighting them. Excuse me, mind if I wreck this body a little? The toxin speaks. The cell membranes flee in chaos. It's a toxin. Our cell membranes are all being destroyed. That task is inflammation. The toxin is surprised. Histamine is released, causing blood vessels to dilate. The cell membranes are happy to receive help in destroying the toxin. White blood cells and antibodies flock through those widened passages to destroy the enemy. The problem is, in some cases, there's an overreaction to certain substances. Dilate the blood vessels more. Hurry up, I'm in a rush, said the histamine. A white blood cell panicked. Hey, old man, snap out of it. When an excessive immune response causes the systemic histamine that dilates blood vessels to be released in excess or to malfunction, all the blood vessels in the body will dilate. This leads to a sharp drop in blood pressure. Is there no oxygen getting through? Am I about to die or something? The brain speaks up. Hey guys, I feel really weird. Breathe. My hand is dying. All the organs in his body sound the alarm. During this process, symptoms like difficulty breathing and itching due to edema will arise. If severe, it can lead to death. Xiaolong was using all his strength to carry Miss Bang back to the manor. There's no more time. Just hang in there a little longer and Xiaolong said as he ran. They finally made it back to the Tang manor. Xiaolong and Bang An made it inside. Father-in-law Miss An has collapsed. Xiaolong shouted. Old Master Tang shot to his feet. What? Again? What on earth happened, Xiaolong? The two family heads rushed outside. The Bang family head asked. Xiaolong looked intently at Anna, unworried. Oh my god, An. It looks like she's having trouble breathing, Xiaolong said. The Bang family head placed his hand on An's chest. All right, I'll transfer my internal energy to her. Old Master Tang was just as worried. Bang An seemed to regain consciousness. Gasp. Ha. Phew, what a relief. Xiaolong breathed a sigh of relief, and An was still in her father's arms. This thing called qi is truly extraordinary. The basic principle in treating anaphylaxis is to control blood pressure and ensure the airway is clear. A syringe is being injected into a body. Normally you would use epinephrine steroids, antihistamines, and intubate to maintain respiration. But here they can solve everything with just qi. It's extraordinary. The Tang family head said, her symptoms this time seem similar to the last. You were right beside her, so you must have seen it clearly. So, have you identified the cause of her collapse? The Bang family head asked. Old Master Tang also looked at his son-in-law expectantly. Yes, esteemed elders. This junior saw it very clearly. Miss An fainted because she was stung by a bee, Xiaolong said. A bee? The Tang family head said in surprise. The Bang family head also spoke up. You're saying it was a bee? That's certainly rare. But there are cases where a bee sting can cause this. But the reason Miss An faints so often can't just be because of bees. The Tang family head spoke. The Bang family head said, that's right. If she had been stung by bees from the very beginning, I'm afraid she wouldn't have even made it to the Tang manor. So the real cause still hasn't been identified. The Tang family head said, because we couldn't find any connection. Xiaolong smiled and said, father-in-law, actually, I've already found the cause. The Tang family head asked in surprise, what is that true? It's precisely because Miss Bang An was stung by a bee that I was able to find a clue, Xiaolong said with a smile. Old Master Bang said loudly, whoa, what do you mean by that? Explain it to me quickly. First, both of you family heads, please be quiet and listen, Xiaolong said. To begin, I'm afraid we'll have to remove the young lady's clothes. He got thoroughly scolded inside the lady's chamber. Model. Just as Xiaolong said, Miss Huang Gan came out and explained that it was hard to tell because of the spots on her body, but she did have a few old sting marks. And the newest one was found on her back. The head of the Tang family crossed his arms and chuckled, oh, ho, ho. Xiaolong stood silently with a huge swollen head as the head of the Pang family asked, is that really true? Everyone, please keep it down. The child isn't fully awake yet, Madame Tang said as she came out. Understood, Madame Tang. Yes, understood, Madame, both family heads replied. Ahem, the head of the Pang family said in embarrassment. Just as you said, they're not spots, but some other kind of mark. The head of the Tang family stood silently while Xiaolong was furious from being hit. Then why has my daughter been unconscious all this time? The head of the Pang family asked worriedly. Xiaolong replied, it's due to be venom poisoning. The Pang family head was surprised. Didn't the head of the Tang family just say that it wasn't bee venom? If she was really stung by a bee, there's no way we wouldn't have noticed. The Pang family's backyard has no flowers, and the ground is all stone. There's no reason for a bee to fly there. So what makes you so sure it's bee venom? That's right. If she was really stung by a bee, there's no way we wouldn't have found it. However, Xiaolong said Angan's symptoms are clearly an anaphylactic reaction caused by bee venom. Xiaolong thought intently. What I need to find is a venomous creature that isn't a bee, but carries a similar toxin. Xiaolong continued to think. Something that causes edema and difficulty breathing. A venom containing melatonin or peptides. If we're in northern China, then Hebei province has a temperate continental climate. Xiaolong kept thinking. The venomous creatures likely to appear in this region are the white-lipped cobra, the white-headed cobra, the Chinese cobra, and the Chinese scorpion. The red-chested ant, the Chinese red fire ant. Xiaolong observed each one in his mind. Snakes are ruled out. Scorpions are ruled out too, Xiaolong mumbled. Now, what is he doing? The head of the Pang family asked curiously. Shh, let's see, said the head of the Tang family. An environment where one could be stung frequently. Pang An was standing there eating a cake, a common habit of hers. Miss Pang is eating a cake. She has a secret pocket in her clothes to hide sweets. Xiaolong seemed to have found the answer. I've got it. Xiaolong smiled and said, yes, it is indeed bee venom. You can all trust me on that. Huang An stood there surprised and confused. The head of the Pang family said, ha ha, what on earth is going on here? There isn't a single bee to be seen in the Pang residence. We of the Tang family are all well aware of that. But Xiaolong replied, venom doesn't always have the same effect on everyone. For some, a tiny drop the size of a pinhead is enough to take them down. But there are also people who would be fine even with 10 times that amount. The head of the Pang family was stunned. The head of the Tang family said, what Xiaolong says does make sense. The Pang head repeated the same venom with different effects, depending on the person's constitution. An was born with a weak constitution and is especially sensitive to bee venom more so than a normal person. You confirmed that yourself just a moment ago, Xiaolong said. The head of the Pang family replied, yes, that's true. Not to mention An's constitution has always been weak against bee venom, yet she's never been stung by a bee at home. Xiaolong said, in that case, I can guess one possibility. What is it? The head of the Pang family asked nervously. It's a bee, but a very special kind of bee. The sun began to set and the moon began to rise. Everyone lit lanterns as if searching for something. Is that thing really in here? The head of the Pang family asked. Xiaolong replied, yes, I'm certain it is. The head of the Tang family remained silent, observing. First, Miss Huanggang, could you please shine a light over here for me? Holding a lantern, Huanggang replied, of course. A swarm of insects was gathered around the cake. Suddenly, one bit another of its kind. It's being eaten. This little devil. The creature was lifted off the ground. This is the culprit. Everyone looked at the creature Xiaolong was holding up. The head of the Pang family said, isn't this an ant? An ant isn't a bee. Please take a closer look. In a way, it's a variant of the bee species, Xiaolong said. The head of the Pang family asked in surprise. A variant of the bee species? This? The head of the Pang family stammered. The head of the Tang family was just as surprised. It has a stinger on its abdomen, Xiaolong said, holding the ant up. What? An ant with a stinger? The head of the Tang family said, this is unbelievable. So that's why you called it a variant of the bee species. The head of the Pang family also said, I never knew an ant could have a stinger. This is the variant that took down Miss An. It's called the king stinger demon ant, Xiaolong said, holding up the ant. This is the culprit that caused An to lose consciousness. It belongs to the order Hymenoptera family Formidae. Both family heads stared at the ant in amazement. Its name is Pachycondyla chinensis, the king stinger ant, order Hymenoptera family Formicidae. It's an insect belonging to the Ponerinae subfamily of ants. You might be wondering how an ant can have a stinger. In fact, this species of Ponerinae ant evolved from the same ancestor as wasps, so it still retains many characteristics of wasps. That's why in studies on the venom of Ponerine ants, and wasps patients who suffer anaphylactic shock from Ponerine ant stings show a similar reaction to wasp venom, according to published research. Anyway, I believe it came to hunt the demon insects trapped in the sugar cakes and happened to sting An in the process, Xiaolong said, pointing at the ant, because this king stinger demon ant species survives by hunting and eating other demon insects. Furthermore, the mark left by its sting looks just like a rash, so it was impossible to identify what had stung her at the time. A few days after An woke up, she probably just thought it was a common rash, Xiaolong said. The head of the Pang family exclaimed, oh, is that really so? To think An would fall to such a lowly vile insect. Master Duong, is it possible for you to prepare an antidote? Master Bang asked, worriedly. Master Duong closed his eyes in thought. An antidote for the bee venom does exist, but for someone with a highly sensitive constitution like Miss An, the antidote will struggle to be effective, Master Duong said to the surprise of Huanggan and Master Bang. Bang Wohua said, impossible, then what about An? In any case, it's good that we found the cause. Now we can take precautions before she collapses again, Master Bang said with concern. So that's what it was. Master Bang couldn't help but let out a sad sigh. Come to think of it, I haven't even thanked you yet. My thanks, young hero, Master Bang said. Xiaolong smiled cheerfully. Please don't worry, Master Bang. It may take some time, but there is still a way to cure An. There really is a way, Xiaolong said. Master Duong asked doubtfully. Master Bang asked hastily. Tell me quickly, what is it? The method is called desensitization therapy, Xiaolong said to Miss Huanggan's surprise. Desensitize, as in to remove sensitivity? Master Bang frowned and asked, does she have to take something off again? No, it's not like that. It's a method to reduce her sensitivity to the toxin by injecting An with extremely low concentrations of the bee venom, little by little, Xiaolong explained. Of course, it will take quite a lot of time. Miss Huanggan frowned, looking annoyed at her husband. Xiaolong continued, if the treatment goes well, she won't collapse from the bee venom anymore, said Master Duong. That is indeed a viable method. Even in the Duong sect, we have a method of injecting poison little by little to train resistance. So after the treatment is complete, An won't collapse anymore, Master Bang asked. Master Duong replied, well, it will take a fair amount of time, but the probability of success is very high. Master Bang laughed joyfully. Ha ha ha. Thank you so much. Master Bang happily patted Xiaolong on the shoulder and said, you've saved my daughter. Everyone was happy. Master Bang was overjoyed, smiling non-stop. After receiving such help, how could I let it go unrewarded? Do you have any wish? Master Bang placed a hand on Xiaolong's shoulder and said, whatever it is, as long as you want it, I will definitely grant it. For some reason, whenever someone gets help around here, they just throw out a blank check. Xiaolong thought to himself. Xiaolong respectfully clasped his hands in a salute. An is now like a blood sister to this humble one. How could I dare ask for a reward? Ahaha. Hey, brother. We of the Bang family don't believe in modesty. Speak up. Master Bang said, while patting Xiaolong on the back. He yelled loudly, Akak, wait! A broken bone! If I don't think of something right now, I'm dead for sure. No, Xiaolong said loudly. Well, since you've come from afar, would you like to accompany this humble one to visit a famous mountain? Xiaolong said with his hands clasped. Master Bang said in surprise, a mountain. That evening at the entrance to Gongjia Mountain in Sichuan, everyone was admiring the beauty of nature. It truly is a famous mountain, said Master Bang. Yes, I heard it also has magnificent cliffs, Xiaolong added. Yes, according to the strategist, this is the right place, Miss Huangan said. Xiaolong also said, yes, that must be the waterfall and the rock that were mentioned. Xiaolong turned and said, but how do we get to the cave behind the waterfall? Master Bang hesitated. About that. You only just started learning the lightness skill not long ago, right? Then you probably don't know about the flying swallow across the waves technique, Master Bang said. Xiaolong asked blankly, what's that? Master Bang just smiled without a word. He seemed to be concentrating intensely. With a single swipe, Xiaolong was sent flying behind the mountain in the blink of an eye. Whoa! With Master Bang's help. Miss Huangan called out in alarm, Xiaolong. Just as Xiaolong landed, Master Bang arrived as well. Ha 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 ha. Your movement is quite agile, Master Bang said with a laugh. Brother Xiaolong, are you all right? Miss Huangan asked worriedly. Xiaolong replied, I haven't quite caught my breath yet, but thanks. Anyway, this seems to be the entrance to that cave, Miss Huangan said. Xiaolong continued, an entrance behind a waterfall. How mysterious. Master Bang remained still observing. Well, first let's go inside and see. Master Bang said, once we're in, there's bound to be something. The majestic natural scenery was breathtakingly beautiful. The three of them were entering the cave. Xiaolong seemed to have noticed something. This is a bit strange, isn't it? Xiaolong said. Miss Huangan added, yes. There's no way the strategist would lie. Below was the scene inside the cave. The inside of the cave was completely different from what we had imagined. Miss Huangan and her husband focused on observing the entire cave. According to the description of the old senior, the strategist of the Martial Arts Alliance, Juge Hao Light, would pour down into the middle of the cave like a waterfall, and on the ground, 100 flowers would be in bloom. All of them flowers with unknown names, utterly strange and mystical. Isn't it just like a paradise on earth? The three of them observed as they walked. Xiaolong said, this doesn't look like any paradise to me. It's true there's light shining down from a crack in the rock, but there are no flowers and grass growing everywhere. The three of them talked as they walked. On the contrary, it looks like everything is about to wither and die. A spirit creature for real. The entire surrounding environment has been changed, Master Bang said. It seems a cold energy is radiating from that rock over there. Yes, Old Senior was probably right about that. The Bang clan head drew his weapon. All right then, stay behind me, and be careful. Xiaolong followed the Bang clan head toward the large rock. The clan head said, just as I thought, the cold energy is terrifying. He gripped his weapon tightly as if ready for battle. Show yourself. A terrifying sound echoed out. Huangan and Xiaolong were stunned. Get behind me and stay close, the Bang clan head ordered. Xiaolong added, that's a truly chilling scream. A creature with two large glowing eyes appeared. It continued to roar, much to Xiaolong's shock. Isn't that a genuine fat-tailed Greco lizard? A blue creature with brilliant golden eyes was approaching. It was about 1 chi in size, roughly 30.303 centimeters. Its round golden eyes sparkled, and it even had a chubby tail. I can't take it anymore, it's just too cute. Xiaolong thought to himself, drooling without even realizing it. This little blue lizard is so adorable. Seeing Lady Huangan's delight, Xiaolong grew possessive. The Bang clan head said, as expected of Lady Huangan, you know a real treasure when you see one. The clan head seemed to have noticed something. There's another one in there, the Bang clan head shouted, swinging his blade to point towards the creature. Xiaolong and Huangan standing behind him were shocked. Xiaolong said, you mean there's another one? A pair of twins. Fantastic, that means we can breed them. Xiaolong said, clan head, we absolutely must capture them alive. Where's the other one? The creature slowly moved forward. Another one appeared. Huh? Xiaolong, is something wrong? Lady Huangan asked. Xiaolong replied, yes, I only caught a glimpse. But something isn't right about this at all. Xiaolong stared intently. It doesn't seem to be breathing anymore. The creature looked furious. I'm leaving Commander Gupea in charge, Xiaolong said. If anything happens, report to me immediately. The soldier remained silent, sweat beading on his face. Of course, you can count on me, he replied with a laugh. If that rock shows any unusual signs, I'll report to you at once. Xiaolong didn't answer. We've decided to temporarily withdraw, Xiaolong said as he walked out of the cave. First of all, we know absolutely nothing about this creature's habits. Late that night by the waterfall, the group lit a fire to rest, and acting rashly could further injure the one that's already hurt. Sorry, come down and eat, Lady Huangan said. Chewy. It's a little sweet, isn't it? It's honey. Dad's home. A happy family scene flashed through Xiaolong's mind. Everyone was cooking. Any progress today, by the Bang clan head asked. Xiaolong replied. Lady Huangan sat nearby with a pot of half-cooked food next to some sleeping bees. Xiaolong said, it still hasn't moved an inch. I've checked on it, but that one is completely motionless. The Bang clan had said, but living creatures have to eat and drink at some point, right? Exactly, Xiaolong said. Normally geckos or lizards will stop eating for a few days when they're stressed, especially fat-tailed geckos. They store energy in those big tails. If it hasn't eaten anything, it must be living off its stored energy. It's time for us to make a decision, Xiaolong said. I think we should check on the injured one. Oh, so you plan to capture it? The Bang clan head asked. Xiaolong replied, not exactly. I just think I need to examine its wound. Who knows while we're at it? And if it's hungry, it might go find food on its own. It would be best if you could lure the healthy one outside. The Bang clan head replied softly, wouldn't it be easier to just knock it out? That way we'd get both the healthy one and the injured one. The Bang clan head said, pointing to his own bulging muscles. Xiaolong started sweating and replied, if you hit it with those muscles, it would die on the spot. If you were to get serious, even that living rock that repelled General Jango Hu's army would probably shatter to pieces. Boom, it would explode like a bomb, Xiaolong said with a laugh. The Bang clan head laughed proudly. Aha, that's right. No wonder a desk jockey like him got sent flying by a monster like that rock. You're absolutely right. If I really let loose it would definitely die, the Bang clan head said, laughing and slapping Xiaolong hard on the back. You're right, sir, Xiaolong replied awkwardly. So we'll stick to the plan then. Just restrain it gently, the Bang clan head said. Xiaolong spoke up. Sounds reasonable? First you'll lure the healthy gecko out, Xiaolong explained, drawing illustrations on the ground. Meanwhile, Lady Huangan and I will take the opportunity to check on the injured one. That is indeed the optimal plan. Is there anything else I need to watch out for? The Bang clan head asked. Xiaolong replied, just make sure it can't climb the walls. If it climbs over, it might get to us. Clan head Bang placed a fist on his chest and spoke clearly. Let's go, my hands and feet are itching for a fight. Clan head Bang added, go easy, go easy. Xiaolong called after Clan head Bang. If that gecko is really sick, Miss Huangan, I think it might not have much time left. The group followed Clan head Bang towards the lizard. Seeing strangers, the creature prepared to attack. Let's begin, Xiaolong whispered to Clan head Bang. Right, he replied. Clan head Bang raised his blade, assuming an attack stance. Just stick to the plan, he said, wildly, brandishing his blade. His subordinates ran after him, replying, yes, Clan head, roll! The creature began to attack fiercely. Clan head Bang countered with his own move, parrying the creature's blow. Oof, that's got some weight to it. You truly are worthy of being the Bang clan's #1 warrior, Clan head Bang said with a laugh. The creature seemed to have been hit. Man and beast clashed with neither side gaining an advantage. Clan head Bang gave a slight smile, his eyes glinting as if he was plotting something. He launched a move at the creature. The creature flew into the air nearly motionless. This is our chance, Clan head Bang said. Both sides readied themselves. The creature launched a counterattack over here. Xiaolong and Huangan also got ready. Huangan said, sorry you hurry up, now's your chance. Yes, milady, the couple Huangan and Xiaolong made it inside the cave. This is... Xiaolong was stunned by what he saw. Xiaolong, is it really injured? Miss Huangan asked. Xiaolong replied, looks like it. Its head and tail are becoming necrotic because it couldn't shed its skin completely. The creature is lying still asleep. It couldn't get all the old skin off, and now its eyes are festering with pus. So what do we do now? We have to treat it immediately, Xiaolong said. Huangan wondered, but there's no medicine here. It's okay. I'll just peel all its skin off, Xiaolong replied with a smile. Huangan fell silent, thinking. Lately, all Xiaolong does is peel. What's with that? Huangan glared at Xiaolong annoyed. He looked flustered. But this time is really the right method. The creature sat still watching the couple. It's okay. I'm going to heal you, so don't move, all right? Xiaolong said, gently stroking the creature's head. It lay still without moving. Xiaolong picked it up to Miss Huangan's surprise. Good, just like a queen bee. It seems to understand words to some extent. It's calmed down. Miss Huangan was astonished. Oh my goodness. Xiaolong continued to peel its skin. Creatures like this shed their skin just like snakes. However, wild, fat-tailed geckos usually eat their old skin, so it's rare to find their shed skin. Miss Huangan watched with fascination as Xiaolong peeled the skin for it. This is so interesting. But more importantly, this skin is unbelievably tough, Xiaolong said, still stroking the gecko. Using just my bare hands, this isn't going to work. Xiaolong continued to treat it. Huangan sat beside him, watching quietly. Wow, Huangan exclaimed. It looks just like a gemstone. The color is so beautiful. Xiaolong peeled the skin off its foot. The foot looks so beautiful now that the skin is off. Mr. Xiaolong, it looks like a glove. It's so cute, Huangan said, pointing at the piece of skin. I knew it. Even you can't resist it, right, milady? Back when I was a YouTuber, videos of me peeling skin for these guys got a ton of views. So now it's just the head and tail left, huh? The creature was still lying quietly as if asleep. Wait, let me hold it. We have to be extremely careful around the eyes, Xiaolong said. Miss Huangan watched in silence. Just as I thought, its eyes have been sealed shut. Xiaolong picked the creature up to observe it. Because it couldn't shed its eyes are severely inflamed. Then Xiaolong continued to peel the rest of the skin for it. There. How's that feel better? Xiaolong asked as he peeled. It opened its eyes, Xiaolong, Miss Huangan exclaimed. Xiaolong, what's wrong? Miss Huangan asked, seeing him staring intently at the gecko. Xiaolong replied, Miss Huangan, I'm not sure what to do about the tail. Xiaolong pointed at the tail and said, To stop the necrosis from spreading, we might have to cut it off. Xiaolong was worried, but in its current condition, if we cut it off, it might die on the spot. Be careful, young hero. Before Miss Huanggan and Xiaolong could understand what was happening, a voice suddenly said, "We've lost track of the rock gecko." When Xiaolong looked back, he saw it was right behind him. The gecko prepared to attack. Xiaolong shouted, "Calm down! I'm just trying to help you. I'm treating your friend." Xiaolong held the injured gecko in one arm and raised his weapon with the other. Xiaolong looked down at his so-called weapon. The gecko attacked in a rage. The gecko's shriek echoed throughout the stone cave. After the gecko's cry echoed through the cave, it suddenly unleashed a powerful bolt of lightning. Wei Xiaolong became anxious and fearful, thinking to himself, "The monster is furious now." The gecko suddenly leaped into the air. Duong Ganyi quickly pushed Wei Xiaolong behind her, warning, "Xiaolong, it's dangerous." From the air, the gecko curled into a ball and hurtled towards them. Luckily, the two managed to dodge in time, but the impact seemed to shatter the ground. Afterwards, the gecko was still not appeased. It was about to continue its attack on Wei Xiaolong. He quickly shouted, Wait, I told you it's not like that. Wait, let me explain." Suddenly, the female gecko in his arms cried out, "Kek, kek, coo, coo, coo." The other gecko, which was in an attack stance, abruptly looked towards the female. It then cooed as if answering him, "Coo, coo." And just like that, they seemed to resolve their misunderstanding through sounds only they could understand. Coo, goo, goo, Wei Xiaolong thought to himself. Are they talking to each other? Just then, still reeling from the gecko's attack, Bang Wuhuan and his men rushed over to Wei Xiaolong, asking worriedly, "Are you all right? Are you okay, Wei Xiaolong?" Bang Wuhuan said loudly, "That little brat is fierce and fast. I can't believe it slipped right between my legs." The other geckos saw the strangers, and immediately took a defensive stance, baring its sharp fangs. Wei Xiaolong quickly spoke up, "Whoa, hold on. We're fine, sir. Please step back a bit. I'm going to try talking to it for a moment." Bang Wuhuan looked confused and asked, "Talking? You think that monster understands human words?" Wei Xiaolong looked at the gecko and replied, "Yes, Lord Bang. It seems to understand some of what I'm saying. Maybe it won't attack us again." Then he turned and called to Tang Yinher. "Miss Tang, could you bring some dry grass from over there?" Tang Yinher quickly replied, "Oh yes." Then she and the green-striped centipedes gathered a few handfuls of dry grass for the female gecko to lie on. There we go. Wei Xiaolong knelt down to examine the female gecko, speaking to the male. "I'm not going to do anything bad, don't worry. I've peeled off the old skin that couldn't shed properly. The stuff covering its eyes has been removed too. For now, just make sure to wipe its eyes regularly, understand?" Hearing this, the male gecko went closer and licked the female's eyes a few times. Wei Xiaolong continued, "There's still one more problem. The eyes will probably heal, but the tail is more than halfway rotted. Even if we try to save it, it might not recover. So we'll probably have to amputate the tail." The male gecko shuddered at the thought of the female's tail being cut off. It became enraged, growling at Wei Xiaolong, and then suddenly lunged to attack him. Wei Xiaolong screamed in fear. Later, while Bang Wuhuan's men made a campfire and rested, Tang Yinher was disinfecting Wei Xiaolong's wound. He complained, "You ungrateful little thing. I was just trying to treat you." Tang Yinher told him, "Sit still, Xiaolong. I'm applying the golden healing salve. If you're not careful, it'll leave a scar." Seeing this, Bang Wuhuan laughed heartily. "Hehehe, you're finally looking like a man. You've earned a glorious battle wound." Hearing that, Tang Yinher whipped her head around to glare at Bang Wuhuan, her eyes as red as blood. She radiated such a powerful dark aura that Bang Wuhuan could only shut up. Wei Xiaolong thought to himself, well, at least the misunderstanding has been cleared up. And he turned to look at Tang Yinher with the 3 green-striped centipede larvae, seeing how those centipedes reacted to her killing intent and became so docile. Yeah, maybe that gecko, he never intended to harm me from the start. Suddenly, Jubai spoke up. Sir Xiaolong." Wei Xiaolong replied, "Chief Ju." Jubai said, "It looks like that thing wants to say something." The gecko nodded, showing it really did have something to say. Wei Xiaolong stammered, Are you mentally prepared now?" The gecko lowered its body and chirped. Wei Xiaolong bowed his head and said sincerely, "All right, I'll do my best. But first, I want to ask one thing. Can you show me what you two eat? If we have to amputate the tail, you'll need something nutritious." The gecko hurriedly ran off to find food. Wei Xiaolong quickly chased after it, shouting, "Hey, wait up. Where are you going?" The male gecko stopped beside a small seed and chirped, "Cook, cook, cook, cook." Seeing this, Wei Xiaolong looked surprised. The gecko picked up the seed in its mouth and gave it to Wei Xiaolong. Tang Yinher, who was nearby, saw the seed and said to him, "Xiaolong, can I take a look at that for a moment?" Wei Xiaolong answered, "Yes, here you go." He then handed the seed to her. Tang Yinher examined the seed carefully and said, "Although it's a bit weak, spiritual energy is slowly radiating from it. This is definitely the seed of a spirit herb. One that used to grow here." Wei Xiaolong said in shock, "A spirit herb, this seed?" Bang Wuhuan, who was also there, said, "I've heard of them before. They say that wherever a spirit beast resides, a spirit herb will always grow." Tang Yinher continued, "If that's the case, then these two, just like the centipedes, might have been absorbing spiritual energy from the herb to survive." Wei Xiaolong suddenly realized something. Whoa, wait a minute. If the spirit herb has already been dug up, isn't that a disaster? We have to replant it right away. And just like that, he kept digging at the dirt and rocks. Seeing this, Bang Huan said, it's useless. Once a spirit herb has been touched by a human, it won't grow back in that spot. That creature must have known that. That's why it dug it up for us to see. Even if you replant it, it won't be able to grow any further. And Gui Tiolong looked regretful and heartbroken. No way. Humans are truly at fault. Oh, you poor little things. Bang Huan turned to ask Kubai. By the way, what is the spirit herb that grows here called? Kubai replied. Yes, I believe I remember people calling it snow ginseng. Bang Huan looked confused. Snow ginseng. Suddenly he had an idea and said, in that case, we just need to find something with a spiritual energy similar to snow ginseng, right? Gui Tiolong's eyes lit up and he immediately wondered, oh, does such a thing really exist? Bang Huan smiled smugly and said, of course it does. It's ice jade. It absorbs cold energy just like snow ginseng. But the problem is, how do we find ice jade? This item is extremely rare. It's not easy to buy even with money. Duong Nganyi spoke up. If it's ice jade, I know a place that has it. Ngui Tiolong and Bang Huan's eyes lit up at Duong Nganyi's words, and they quickly replied, Miss Ngan, you know where? Oh, that's fantastic. Ngui Tiolong suddenly moved closer to Duong Nganyi and asked, you know of something similar? Duong Nganyi stammered again. How should I put this? The thing is... Then suddenly she gave a cold, meaningful smile and said, they're another type of weed. I suppose you could call it that. The other two looked surprised and asked, a weed. Duong Nganyi sighed again. However, an indescribable look of confusion appeared on Ngui Tiolong's face as he thought, what? After hearing Duong Nganyi's explanation, Bang Huan asked, a confused, a weed. But Nganyi and Tiolong had incredibly hard-to-read expressions on their faces. Then Ngui Tiolong remembered something from the past and thought, oh, father-in-law. Seriously, why did he have to go and say all those things back then? Bang Huan asked again, who is this other weed that has ice jade? Seeing that Bang Huan still didn't understand the issue, Ngui Tiolong shouted, clan head bang. After a moment, Duong Nganyi finally spoke. She's one of the three flowers of the martial world, the Flame Empress Peony. She's Nam Kung Tuyet, the daughter of the Nam Kung clan. From what I've heard, she possesses ice jade, but doesn't really need it. Hearing this, Bang Huan and Ngui Tiolong were overjoyed. The gecko beside them suddenly cried out, Kaka u gu guk. Duong Nganyi wondered, what is it saying? Suddenly the gecko's eyes filled with tears. Seeing this, Ngui Tiolong immediately understood. It seems it wants us to quickly treat the injured one. Let's treat that lizard first, then we can continue our discussion. Duong Nganyi replied, all right, Tiolong, that poor little thing looks like it's in critical condition. This is for the best. After that, Tiolong examined the injured lizard and sighed. Nganyi spoke again. I heard that lizards can detach their own tails. So why did it keep it letting its condition get this bad? Ngui Tiolong answered her, that's true, but there are also some that aren't like that. Duong Nganyi said in surprise, oh, really? Ngui Tiolong explained, when a lizard detaches its own tail, it's called autotomy or self-amputation. And depending on the species, this characteristic differs. There are species that can detach it but can't grow it back. There are also species that can do both, and the rest can't do either. So you can't just make an assumption. You have to conduct a proper examination. Then he pointed at the lizard's tail and continued, once we've identified it, we'll find the fracture plane and press our finger on that spot to separate it. Duong Nganyi asked in confusion, the fracture plane? Tiolong continued to explain, although it may look like this lizard's tail can be cut at any point. In reality, that location is predetermined, so we call it the fracture plane. Duong Nganyi replied, I don't know much about lizards since they aren't venomous. But how do you know so much? You're really amazing, Tiolong. Outwardly, Ngui Tiolong just gave a wry smile, but he thought, that's easy to say, but its tail is already badly decomposed. So I'm not sure if the surgery will go smoothly. But he was still determined to try at all costs. He grabbed the lizard's tail and said to himself, even so, and I still have to try to find out. You can do this. Off to the side, Bang Huan was talking to the male gecko. This is taking longer than I thought. The lizard, seeing the other two approach, cried out, Kakao, kakao, goo, goo. Bang Huan also turned his head and asked, young hero, how is the lizard? The two of them replied with joyful faces, telling the clan head that it was true and that thankfully they had succeeded. From now on, as long as we take good care of it, it'll be fine. Hearing this, the lizard was overjoyed and tears of happiness streamed down. Seeing this, Ngui Tiolong asked, you're that happy, huh? Bang Huan, witnessing everything from the side, thought to himself, the more I look at this kid, the more impressive he seems, especially after that successful surgery. They decided to stay nearby, to monitor its condition for a few days. A few days later, Ngui Tiolong and Duong Nganyi excitedly went to visit the two lizards. Tiolong called out loudly, hey little guys! Seeing them, the two lizards chirped happily, kaka-oo, kaka-oo-oo. Tiolong was thrilled to see them healthy and welcoming him, thinking to himself, oh my god, they're not even kittens. But they're the most adorable lizards ever. If this were my past life, they'd be famous all over the internet by now. He carefully observed the lizard that had been injured and said, looks like this little one has gotten some of its strength back. All right, we should get going. Hearing that, the lizard cried out as if asking a question. Kaka-oo, guk. and Gui Tiolong quickly reassured it, "We're not leaving for good. We're just going to find some food for you. We'll be right back. Until then, take care of the seed's spiritual energy." Got it. The two lizards chirped in unison, "Kaka-oo, kaka-oo-oo." Seeing this, Tiolong couldn't contain his delight, thinking, "So cute." Then he turned to Duang Nganyi. He said, "All right, let's head back to the main path to get the ice jade." After they returned, leaving the two little lizards behind, a lot of news had arrived. And among it, the biggest event, without a doubt, was Duang Chitson said, "It's about the blood cult. After the identity of a spy in the Martial Arts Alliance was exposed, our people followed an owl that was raised by the mole. And guess what happened? Turns out it led them straight to the blood cult's hideout. Coincidentally, that squad had just returned to the Martial Arts Alliance. We sent a dose of the coiling serpent on a tiger plate poison there. I heard that poison played a huge role in the raid on their hideout. So the Alliance leader personally sent a handwritten letter to thank us. I'm truly proud of you, Tiolong." Hearing this, Ngui Tiolong just gave an awkward laugh. Duang Chitson continued, "Oh, by the way, have you caught that mysterious lizard yet? I should stop by the Garden of Venomous Creatures to see what it looks like." Ngui Tiolong stammered, "Oh, about that? You could say we've caught half of it." Duang Chitson looked confused. Duang Nganyi quickly spoke up. "Father, let me explain." After she recounted everything that had happened, Duang Chitson listened and then said, "I see. So it's about the ice jade." Nganyi then asked him, "For that reason, we were planning to go to Anhui province to visit the Namgung clan. Is that all right?" Duang Chitson answered bluntly, "Go ahead. Coincidentally, there's a shipment heading that way. It's on the way and the timing is perfect. It's not because of the blood cult, but because my son-in-law is going with you. I'll finally be able to relax a bit, haha." Ngui Tiolong thought to himself, "Is he secretly pawning off work on me?" Suddenly, Duang Chitson remembered something and said, "Wait a minute. Now that I think about it, there have been some nasty rumors about the Namgung clan recently." Tiolong and Nganyi looked at each other confused. Rumors. Scene changes to a night near the Namgung clan at Mount Huang. Two men were walking together in the forest. The bald man asked nervously, "Are you serious?" The other man affirmed his words, "I told you it's true. That young lady of the Namgung clan, she's actually..." The bald man quickly shouted, Stop spouting nonsense. Such a filthy, scandalous rumor," the other man replied. "But even if it is true..." Suddenly he noticed something unusual. Both of them screamed in alarm when they saw another man lying face down on the ground. "Wait, what the hell is that?" They rushed over to help the man up, asking worriedly, "Hey, friend, there's an unconscious person here. Hang in there. Is he dead?" But when they looked at the man's face, they were shocked to see his face was bright red like a tomato with blood streaming from his nose, yet he was smiling bizarrely. They didn't understand what was happening, but they still tried to take the man back with them to figure things out. However, they didn't know that from behind a tree at the edge of the forest, a woman exuding a dark aura was watching them. The bright moonlight shone down on the bamboo forest. A woman's silhouette could be seen practicing her swordplay. She swung her sword powerfully, slicing through the leaves. Immediately after, the hand holding the sword trembled. She panted, then blamed herself. "Not all the leaves were cut. Does this mean my training is still not enough?" Suddenly, from a distance, a girl with her hair in two buns called out, "Big sister, hurry and come inside. If we're any later, we'll definitely be discovered. That is Namkung Ngan of the Namkung family." Namkung Ngan continued, "If father finds out, this time, you'll get scolded too. The sword is fine, but you are the eldest daughter of the Namkung family, so please cherish yourself more." The woman was silent for a moment, then took off her hat and answered Namkung Ngan. "I know Nganyi. This person is Namkung Tuit, the eldest daughter of the Namkung family, Fire King Peony." Suddenly, Namkung Tuit let out a loud cough. A panicked and worried Namkung Ngan shouted, "Sister, that's the flowing meridian condition." At first, the entire clan thought it was a blessing. All the meridians in the body expand, so accumulating internal energy is also very fast. Because the circulation of true qi and the reception of qi face no obstacles whatsoever. The physician told Namkung Tuit's father, "The meridians in her body have been opened too much. This child's innate qi that is being used up too quickly." Her father panicked and shouted, "Isn't there any way to fix this?" The physician thought for a moment, then said with a fearful look, "We need yin qi. We must use yin qi instead of her innate qi. If this continues, she will surely have a short life." The scene changes back to the present. Namkung Tuit is panting. Namkung Ngan, beside her, is constantly worrying about her. Kung Tuit quickly reassures Kung Ngan, "I'm fine." "Let's go home now." Kung Ngan, still unable to shake her worry, asks, "Are you really okay?" "Right, sister." Suddenly, Namkung Tuit notices the lantern in Namkung Ngan's hand and thinks to herself, "A lantern. I am a small flame in that oil lamp. When the oil runs out, I will cease to exist. One day, I must complete the Emperor's sword form before this body burns out and disappears." The scene changes to the morning. Wei Tiolong and Dung Nganyi are on a boat. Along with a few soldiers steering the boat, they are floating down the Yangtze River. Suddenly, a boatman speaks up. "Master Tiolong, look over there. That's a baiji." Hearing this, Tiolong thinks, "If it's a baiji, is it a real Yangtze River dolphin? I can't believe I'm seeing an animal they said was extinct, even though I really like insects and reptiles. What, T? I still have to admit dolphins are amazing. Nganyi says if we follow the Yangtze River, we'll reach Wuhan. The martial arts alliance is there. Tiolong replies, Miss Huangan, the task my father-in-law gave me was to stop by Wuhan and deliver the willow bloodwood. Right. Then we just need to get off the boat at Anqing. Nganyi says, that's right. At this rate, we'll arrive very soon. But Tiolong says to Nganyi with a worried tone, but Miss, thinking about it again, I'm a little worried. Nganyi asks, what's wrong? Tiolong answers her, if the ice jade is as precious as you say, according to you, Miss with the Namkung family really give away the ice jade so easily. The more I think about it, the more uneasy I feel. Nganyi quickly reassures him, haha, just trust me. Like I said before to Miss Namkung Tuyed, the ice jade isn't very useful because it needs to be something that can be eaten. But ice jade can't be eaten. Since we have that thing, if we trade, they will definitely give us the ice jade. That thing can be eaten after all. But Tiolong, understanding the situation, replies, Ma'am, for now, that's the case. But then he thinks again, that ice jade, I wonder if it'll be okay. My salamander is a cold-blooded animal. They usually don't like the cold. It might get a little angry. And if I have to feed it something, I don't even know what it is. Thinking this, he immediately asks Dung Nganyi, Miss Huangan, the ice jade is said to carry the coldness of yin. I've heard about yang qi and yin qi before, but it's still hard to understand. Hearing this, Nganyi enthusiastically explains, since it's also useful for martial arts training, I'll explain it to you. Now, remember this well, okay? Yin qi is the energy that creates yin transformation. It's a type of energy that accumulates in the natural world. Usually it's an energy that suppresses the activity of living things, dampness. Fear, darkness, and cold are all forms of yin qi. Although I said yin qi carries coldness, in the end it's just one form of yin qi. Wei Tiolong asks her curiously. So yin qi isn't necessarily bad, right? Nganyi replies, not exactly. The opposite of yin qi is yang qi. Yang qi creates yang transformation. If there's too much yang qi, it will excessively stimulate life's activities, causing the body to age quickly. And its strength to be depleted. The reason those two children need yin qi is because their bodies are naturally cold, so they need to absorb yin qi to grow. But Tiolong thinks, like charging a battery. He continues to ask, but I thought it was like male and female, yin and yang, in harmony. If they are entirely yin, how can they achieve yin-yang harmony? Hearing this, Nganyi blushes and stammers. I don't know. Later we can check how they achieve yin-yang harmony. But Tiolong sees her embarrassed expression. He realizes he went a bit too far. He also blushes and quickly says, Miss Huangan, I didn't mean it like that. Just then a boatman shouts, the boat has docked. Everyone prepare to disembark. After they get off the boat in Wuhan, Dung Nganyi politely introduces herself to the soldiers. I am Dung Huangan of the Sichuan Dung family. I have brought the item you requested. A soldier replies to her, the strategist is waiting for you outside. Then he leads them away. On the way, Wei Tiolong is constantly amazed by the grandeur of the martial arts alliance. Suddenly from a distance, a girl's voice rings out, let go of me. When Tiolong looks over curiously, that girl is pinching the ear of the young man next to her, causing him to cry out in pain. That's enough, Kianfeng. I was going to teach that guy a lesson. The girl retorts, you said you were going to duel with a martial artist, but what did you end up doing? The brown-haired man with them also speaks up. That's right. You acted without verifying what they said. Cheng Ho, you were far too rash. What's he yelling about being rash for? In any case, it's for the honor of our young lady. As Cheng Ho was arguing, he suddenly saw Tang Nganyi and called out. Dok Hua and Nganyi immediately recognized the three of them. They were Dolong Kianfeng and Jung Tan Ho. Tung Long and Nganyi greeted each other. It's been a long time since the Dragon Phoenix gathering. Is everyone well? Cheng Hao became extremely excited, his face flushing as he said loudly, what a coincidence to meet like this. Dok Hua sighed, long time no see. Wei Tiolong, watching from a distance, thought to himself, only those with outstanding skills in the martial arts world are granted titles like Dragon or Phoenix. They are all elites. Kianfeng said to Nganyi, perfect timing. I had a question, and I can't believe I ran into the right person. I've heard some strange things about Dok Hua. Nganyi asked, curiously, about me. Kianfeng continued, they say Dok Hua has someone she's in love with. I knew it had to be a ridiculous rumor. Nganyi replied, flustered, someone I'm in love with. Tung Long quickly recounted the story to Nganyi. Yes, the martial artists were all gathered and couldn't stop talking about it. I was about to challenge those who sullied Lady Huanggan's honor to protect her reputation. I had no other intention. After all, we're friends. So I just wanted to protect the young lady's honor, that's all. Hearing this, Tiolong thought to himself, he's definitely got a one-sided crush. Tang Nganyi bowed her head and said, that rumor is false. Thung Long quickly tried to justify himself. See, just as I thought, I'm going to find that martial artist again and teach him a lesson. Nganyi spoke up again. I'll correct the rumor. Then she pulled Wei Tiolong by the hand to stand in front of her and said, he's not just someone I'm in love with, he's my fiancé. While Tiolong blushed, Nganyi introduced him with a radiant smile, saying, this is my fiancé, Tiolong. The three of them looked as if they'd been struck by lightning. Kianfeng asked in surprise, fiancé, but he looks so young. Nganyi stammered, I should have introduced him earlier. How rude of me. Tiolong clasped his hands and bowed respectfully to everyone. It's a pleasure to meet you, fellow martial artists. I am Wei Tiolong. I hope for your guidance in the future. Immediately, Thunglong's eyes fixed on Tiolong, radiating a powerful, intense aura as he walked towards him and said, Young Master Wei. Tiolong trembled in fear, his voice stuttering. Yes. Suddenly, Thunglong knelt, looking at him with a sharp gaze, and said, Thunglong of the Divine Spear, Yang Clan. I, Jung Tanho, wish to test my skills against the young master. Jung Tanho knelt on one knee. I humbly request a duel, Kiem Fung and Dolong's side. Here we go again. Wei Tiolong asked, a duel? Jung Tanho's eyes seemed to flash. That's right, a proper head-on confrontation between men. Someone from behind suddenly grabbed him by the collar. Pulling him to his feet, Tang Ganyi said angrily, A duel? What kind of nonsense are you talking about? Kim Fung also shouted, That's right, that's enough. Wei Tiolong gave a helpless smile. What's with wanting a duel the moment we meet? Why have I been running into so many weirdos lately? A voice approached. What's all this noise? Everyone was surprised. Grand strategist Wei Tiolong respectfully clasped his hands. Wei Tiolong of the Sichuan Tang clan pays his respects to the Grand Strategist. Jung Tanhao also smiled, paying my respects to the Grand Strategist. Before he could figure out what was happening, a fan immediately came down straight on his face. Jia Kat-hao loudly reprimanded Jung Tanhao. What do you think you're doing to our honored guest? Jung Tanhao stammered, Grand Strategist. Then Jia Kat-hao quickly smiled at Tiolong. He said, I've been waiting for you all for so long, I thought my neck would fall off. The alliance leader is waiting at the Tianwu pavilion. Please come with me. He also replied, yes. Watching the three of them walk ahead cheerfully, Jung Tanhao pursed his lips, his eyes burning with resentful, murderous intent. Wei Tiolong. Kim Fung and Dolong looked at each other helplessly and said, Let's go. At Tianwu Pavilion, the scenery was like a paradise. Tang Anganyi spoke thoughtfully to Tiolong. Tiolong, I'll wait at the reception hall. He quickly replied, yes, I understand. Lady Hoangan, a young boy stammered, this way, please. No. First you must pay respects to the alliance leader. Wei Tiolong wondered, is he new? He seems really clueless. Jia Kat-hao covered his mouth with his fan and chuckled. He's the child brought in to replace the previous servant. The one who was discovered to be a spy. He must still be clumsy because he just arrived. Tiolong also chuckled, ha. The boy said to the person inside, A alliance leader, the grand strategist and the young master from the Tang clan have arrived. A voice from inside replied, Very well, let them in. As they entered, a sturdy man was admiring the view. Tiolong clasped his hands and introduced himself. Wei Tiolong of the Sichuan Tang clan pays his respects to the alliance leader. Chu Chonghok turned around. Oh, so it's you. Come in. The journey from the Tang clan must have been long and hard for you, young master. His eyes looked as if he had seen something shocking. He pointed towards him and asked, Those little things on your wrist and waist? They don't just bite anyone, do they? Tiolong was a bit surprised but answered, Of course not, alliance leader. He thought to himself, It's no exaggeration to call him one of the greatest masters in the martial arts world. He recognized that I was carrying centipedes on me with just one look. Chu Chonghok sat down. First, please have a seat. Let's start with the most important matter. Did you bring the venom of the patent ghost spider? Wei Tiolong replied, Yes, I did. He said proudly, We were preparing it right up until our departure. We have a total of 3 vials. Jia Kat-hao was surprised. 3 vials. He said, I've seen pictures of that poison's distillation back when I was training in Sichuan. Not only is it difficult to attack with, but collecting, it is also no easy task. Please convey my deepest gratitude to them for sending so much. Chu Zhongshu began to inquire. I heard you've become the son-in-law of the Sichuan Tang clan. Xiaolong answered honestly, Yes, alliance leader. He continued to ask, And what of your parents? Xiaolong was taken aback. This humble one is an orphan alone since birth. Zhuge Hao spoke up. I heard that the young master lost all his past memories due to an accident and was taken in by the Tang clan's master. He used to live alone on Hainan Island, making a living by catching snakes. Chu Chongshui was surprised. Oh, is that so? The young master must have endured much loneliness and hardship. Xiaolong gave a gentle laugh. Ha. He scratched his head. It wasn't quite that lonely. Chu Chongshui continued. In any case, the reason I called you here today is to reward you for the great service you performed in the blood cult incident. Wei Xiaolong was surprised. A reward, but I already told the grand strategist everything I needed last time. Zhu Jihao said, What you discovered could prevent the filthy leeches of the blood cult from ever setting foot in the Central Plains again. A contribution of this magnitude is difficult to reward adequately. Xiaolong, slightly flustered, said, That was something I just happened to find while risking my life to save my family from them. The promised gift is more than enough for me. What Zhuge Hao and Chu Zhongshui were surprised. They asked, You found it by chance while saving your family. He laughed heartily. So that's how it was. I was always wondering why I felt such a sense of familiarity with you. It turns out we have something in common. Wei Xiaolong was surprised. Something in common. He explained, I'm not talking about our looks. Chu Zhongshui became serious. I once lost my entire family and my beloved at the hands of the blood cult. He recalled, I also struggled in despair, hoping only to save the one family member I had left. And it was from that desperation that I attained enlightenment and broke through in my martial arts. Yes, sir. He looked at him. I heard that in order to save the Tang family, you threw yourself at the blood cult elder while you were poisoned. Wei Xiaolong replied, yes. Chu Zhongshui looked out the door. You're truly no different from the me of 35 years ago. He walked towards him. Though you were helpless, you must have gambled everything you had. With a desperate heart, you charged forward recklessly. One of Chu Zhongshui's hands rested on Wei Xiaolong's shoulder. He smiled with great spirit. My clan's secret martial art, the Iron Ghost art. I will bestow it upon you as your reward. Wei Xiaolong was stunned. Zhuge Hao was clearly just as shocked. Chu Zhongshui crossed his arms and said, This is a martial art I have never taught to anyone. So when I die, it will be lost with me. I have no intention of becoming your master. So tell the Tang clan not to worry about it. Zhuge Hao shot to his feet. Alliance leader. For a moment, Wei Xiaolong didn't know what to say, just standing there with his mouth agape. After a moment, he clasped his hands together. Thank you, Alliance leader. I swear I will not tarnish the Alliance leader's reputation. Chu Zhongshui stood there still smiling. That's right. I'm counting on you. Night had fallen. Wei Xiaolong was hugging a heavy pile of books. This is too much. He looked at the book in his arms. For the Alliance leader to pass down his own martial art, it's truly hard to believe. For now, keep this a secret from outsiders, except for the elders of your family. He recalled Zhuge Hu's words. If word gets out, I fear you will become a target for the blood cult. That makes sense, Wei Xiaolong said as he walked. Let's head back to the reception hall. Miss Huayin will surely be delighted when she hears I've been taught a new martial art. A voice came from behind. Hey, young Master Wei. He turned around. Yang Chengho was holding a large blade. Flames seemed to radiate from around him. He stammered, Young Master Yang? He also said, Young Master Wei. It's an honor to meet again. Yang Chenghao's face was dead serious. I heard the young master had visited the Tianwu pavilion, so I rushed over. I still haven't received a response to my request for a duel? Wei Xiaolong was surprised. He's so persistent. He said loudly, Please show me if you're worthy of being the man to stand beside the poison flower. Please convince me that you're worthy. Wei Xiaolong still intended to refuse. That's too dangerous. I'm afraid it's not convenient. Yang Chengho pointed to his blade. Please don't worry about that. I won't draw my real spearhead. Besides, I'll go easy on you. He cut him off. That's not what I meant. Wei Xiaolong looked at him. I can't agree because I'm afraid that you, young Master Yang, will lose your life. A silence fell over the two of them. Yang Chengho was obviously furious. He grabbed him by the collar. What did you just say, you bastard? Yang Chengho suddenly noticed something on his body. Huh? A swarm of insects flew out from Wei Xiaolong. He tried to hold them back. Wait, you can't bite him, my little ones. I'm all right, Xiaolong kept reassuring them. Did that weird old man scare you? But it seemed Cheng Hu was the one who was truly terrified. He was dumbfounded. What are those things? Wei Xiaolong let the creatures crawl on him and smiled. Young Master Yang, he continued, I told you, didn't I? It's very dangerous. Wei Xiaolong leaned down. Yang Chenghu tried to back away. He was panting, his face filled with fear. Wei Xiaolong smiled, a terrifying look on his face. And I just saved your life. One of Wei Xiaolong's hands rested on Yang Chenghu's shoulder. He thought to himself, he's not kidding. If young Master Wei hadn't intervened, I would have been killed. Looking at the person before him, Yang Chenghu shuddered. He's a truly terrifying man. In Yang Chenghu's eyes, Xiaolong looked like a monster. Xiaolong held out his hand. Young Master Yang, are you all right? A pair of feet stepped up right behind them. Hua Yiner was radiating killing intent. Xiaolong! Shanglong! She gave a smile that wasn't a smile. What is going on here? Shanglong, don't tell me you were trying to do something to Xiaolong again. Killing intent. Xiaolong was horrified. Miss Hua Yin, I'm sure this is all just a misunderstanding. When I left the Heavenly Dance Pavilion, I got lost, and just when I was wondering what to do, Kang Long appeared and offered to guide me. That's all that happened. Hua Yin asked again, guide you then? Why are the little centipedes so furious? Yes, Little Long also chimed in to explain. We were just chatting for a little while, and I wanted to show them to young hero Yang, so I told the young hero to release a bit of his killing intent just as a joke. And then things ended up like this. He was still trying to explain it was supposed to be a harmless joke, but it seems young hero Yang got genuinely scared. Isn't that right, young hero Yang? He quickly agreed. Yes, that's right. Hua Yiner fell silent and said no more than turned away. All right, you showed him the way. Let's head back to the reception hall, Little Long.